Let's do that. Good morning. Welcome to the Opie and Anthony Show. I think eventually this show is just going to be franchised. I think it's just going to be called Opie and Anthony, but it's going to be completely different people. I think eventually the three main players just fade out. It'll be three guys, and we'll just insist they call themselves Opie and Anthony and Jim Norton.
Travis, Danny, and Mars.
Probably. I say that because today Anthony's out. So as long as you get 2 out of 3, I think it's a show. I'm fucking tired though, man. I don't have the new rhythm yet. I gotta get it into a rhythm. You have a kid waking up every 2 hours.
Feeding it? Him?
No, man. I mean, she wants to do all the breastfeeding. I'm like, I'll do a bottle. I'll give you a break. Because if I do one bottle, then she gets 4 hours of solid sleep instead of waking up every hour and a half. Something like that. So, and the damn kid makes all sorts of animal noises. You learn so much. And I'm reading Jay Moore's new book. Jay Moore's new book came out perfect. Perfect. I have a kid, and Jay Moore has this freaking book about being a parent. It's perfect for me.
It's good, right? We had him in, and some of it was really funny, man.
Honestly, his new book, 3-4 chapters in, I'm loving it.
Yeah.
But then again, it's hitting close to home because they just had a kid. But it also explains your parents a little bit, and you know, Jay's a good writer and a funny guy, and he's helping me sleep better at night because the first few nights I had the kid home, I'm hearing all sorts of animal noises through the monitor. This means nothing to you, Jimmy, and I understand that.
No.
But out there in Radio Land, people will be like, "Holy shit, that happens to you too?" You actually hear animal noises coming from the baby monitors. Like, what the hell? Is he choking? Is he turning blue? What's going on tonight? And Jay Moore explains in his book, that's exactly what kids do. They make all sorts of noises, and they don't tell you this when you bring the kid home from the hospital. You know, you have a kid, and you're in the hospital 2 days where they have around-the-clock coverage with, like, expert nurses that have been watching babies for, 20, 30 years. And you sort of see the kid while you're in the hospital for 2 days, and then they say, okay, you're ready to raise this thing. You know, that situation. But they don't tell you within that little time you have with the experts that the kid is going to make animal noises. And it's perfectly fine. And I had to learn that from Jay Moore's book. And then I did a little research on my own and said, yeah, it's going to sound like a fucking zoo coming from the nursery or wherever you keep the kid at night. So that was helpful.
I held a baby yesterday. Steve and MJ brought their baby in.
You're holding his baby, but you haven't seen mine?
That you happen to bring in. It's a little older.
You don't even like Steve.
His incompetence as a producer. Apparently his sperm does work.
That's not true, is it?
But I'm fucking jealous. Jimmy held your baby before mine, Steve.
I would have to go to your place for your baby, and I hadn't been feeling well.
God forbid you walk across the street.
No,
you make it sound like you live, I don't know, on the other side of town.
No, but if they brought the baby in, I figure that means that the baby is okay to be around people.
Yeah.
But I'll go over there today. I feel okay today.
You feel all right?
Yeah, I just don't want to be like, you don't want to get the kid. There really is something to be said for a 2-day-old baby or a week-old baby. It's like,
I got the sanitizer all over my house. I think I'm going to force you to take a shower.
No, I'll just,
You're going to walk in the door. I'll lead you to a shower, and we're going to hose you down.
I would be too nervous holding a week-old baby. His baby, MJ just kind of said, you want to hold it?
My kid's not a week-old baby.
2 weeks.
I mean, technically, I guess. It's pushing 10 pounds already.
That's true.
Most babies go home at 6.5, 7 pounds. I think that's about average. Mine's 9 and something.
It's weird.
I never felt like I was holding a newborn with my son.
It's really weird. Like, I don't really move. I just kind of sit there and hold the kid. I always do it seated because this way you can't.
Yeah, and all your muscles just tense up, and you feel like you're going to drop it.
Yeah, and you're afraid that the head.
Yeah.
But you can't tell by the facial expression. We couldn't tell if the kid was really having fun.
Yeah.
Or if he just hated it. There's no way to tell.
I also learned from you're right. I also learned from Jay's book that don't even bother doing anything significant with your kid until he's about 8. Because that's when he basically starts remembering things. Do you remember anything past the age of, let's say, 7?
Not really good things, I don't think. I don't think I remember anything great.
I think I sort of remember kindergarten. Sort of. So that's what, 5? Yeah. So I think my memory starts at 5. So whatever my parents did with me before the age of 5, that was a waste of time. And I just want to tell my mom, who's probably listening, a complete waste of time.
When I was 5, Mrs. Slavic pinched my ear and yelled at me for, like, she would pull my ear and she yelled at me for picking my nose, an idiot. I do remember that.
You do remember that?
Yeah. I remember her hairdo and everything. Yeah, she was a fat lady.
And how old?
Whatever kindergarten is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have very weird memories of that age. So yeah, I have, but nothing significant until about 7 or 8.
Right. I also learned from Jay's book, and this is very early on. I don't want to give away all the punchlines, though, but I want to help promote his book for him because I'm liking it. That he and that lovely bride of his, Nikki Cox, they wore adult diapers for a goof.
Wait.
Exactly.
For like how long?
Just for a night, I guess, just to see how it feels, and then, you know...
Did they piss in them? Or?
Well, I'm not going to give away the whole story. But basically, Jay was diaper shopping, and you do learn when you go diaper shopping that there's a whole aisle of diapers. Not just a few brands, it's a whole aisle. And in that aisle is also adult diapers. So he figured, you know what? I want to see what the big deal is.
Wow.
And he's all for wearing adult diapers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, especially if you have a long, car ride. Because it does soak up things nicely.
I always wondered that. I'm like, how well could it keep you dry?
The absorption is amazing on diapers.
Is it?
Yeah.
How nice would it be just to lay in bed and piss?
Yeah. Well, that's what he says. He says, we'd get a lot more sleep. Because a lot of us get up in the middle of the night to take our leaks, right?
I don't know if I could do it, though, but I would like to try it once. Like that crazy astronaut who drove cross-country to stalk her ex-boyfriend, pissing and shitting her pants across the country.
How about in honor of Jay Moore's book, we do it today? What else are we going to do? We don't have STP.
I don't care about that band at all. I really don't. I literally, if you put a gun at my head and said, name me an STP song, I know who they are, but I cannot name you one STP. They just never were relevant to me.
Well, I tweeted yesterday because, and I think you tweeted it too. I'm officially following you. You know that, right?
Are you?
Because, there's controversy out there because I wasn't following you guys, but you're part of my list called Funny Peeps. You can make lists on Twitter, and you're in the Funny Peeps section.
Okay.
But we were supposed to interview STP, or we thought we had a good chance of interviewing those guys, and we learned that they are going to be too tired to do our radio show today. They're going to do Howard, they're going to do the King's show. And then after that, I think they're doing Alt Nation. And they're going to be too tired to do our show. And I'll tell you right now, we have a hell of a lot more people listening to us than Alt Nation.
Absolutely.
So I don't know what the fuck they're thinking.
Doing Stern is one thing, because that's like, if that's a relationship they have, they did that and we're leaving, all right, whatever. That's that they wanted to, they're willing to get up for that guy they like, Howard, fuck it. But when they're going to do Alt Nation, which has a lot less people than this channel, it's like, fuck, then they're going to be staying, so fuck them.
Right. And it hurts me because I am a big STP fan. I know a lot of their songs. I've seen STP easily 10 times. Easily. And we've supported them over the years. The DeLeo brothers came in with a shitty side project, and we supported that. Does anyone remember Army of Anyone?
I like them.
Oh, you like it?
Yeah, the single's actually really not bad at all.
You and what, 100 people, though? The band never took off.
I know, but you know what?
Hence why they all had to get back together and do the STP thing again.
I did give it a shot, because it sounded really good. I mean, DeLeo Brothers plus the dude from Filter. I can't remember his name.
I forgot his name, too. I love that guy.
And the
lead singer of Filter is, you know what? I probably shouldn't have said that, because he's a really cool dude. But he will surface again, because he's too talented to keep down. What's his name, though?
Patrick. Yeah, there you go. Richard Patrick.
Richard Patrick.
I think they got back together. Travis, do you know anything about that?
Filter?
Did Filter get back together?
Yeah, I think they opened for STP at that.
That's right.
The PNC show about 2 years ago.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, Patrick.
They sounded great. Too.
Patrick is a great vocalist, man.
And the guy from
but the Army of Anyone, it just didn't go where they wanted to go, and we supported that project for him.
Who's the guy from Rage who was in that? Wasn't that guy from Rage Against the Machine there, or no?
Did they have a Rage guy in there, too? I know they had the DeLeo brothers. They had
Are
Patrick.
you thinking of Tom Morello?
Yeah, what was he in?
He was in Audio Slave.
Oh, Audio Slave.
Okay.
Yeah. No, that was, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, Audio Slave I liked a lot, too. So they've passed on us.
And this is the same,
and it's like their album needs all the help it could get.
Absolutely.
It's not doing that well. And somebody on Twitter was telling me that they've already released 3 singles from the new CD, and it's going nowhere. So it needs all the promotion it could get.
So instead of doing this at Alt Nation, they're doing 90 minutes on Alt Nation. Good.
This isn't 97, 98, 1998. Where you don't really have to promote because they're fucking huge. At this point, they need all the promotion they could get. So fuck them.
This is the band in Boston.
I'm tired of this bullshit.
This is the band in Boston that blew us off. Scott Weiland was supposed to do an interview, and we were fucking on the air, and he's just like, he's a cunt. He didn't want to come in. He's a twat. I bashed him in my book, and fuck him.
We went all the way up to Boston just to interview the band, if you remember. And we're sitting there on leather couches at the last minute, like, yeah, they're not going to come out. They're not, they're whatever. They're whatever. Because whatever excuse they use, I know is a bullshit excuse. And then the debauchery at the PNC show, where, there was an hour. How long was it? Hour and a half, 2 hours in between the bands? And me and Kenny watched one of the DeLeo brothers yelling and screaming at the bus, screaming at Weiland, going, "Come on, Axel, come on." Calling him Axel and stuff.
Wow.
And then there was yelling and screaming, and the word cunt was used a couple times, and then and then he wandered on stage finally and put on a mediocre show at best because there was something going on with him that day.
I hate temperamental musicians. Hate. I really do.
There's not many of them anymore, though. There really isn't a lot of them
Did
left.
Mick Jagger pull that shit?
I don't know.
Of course not.
He just got people killed in the front of the stage.
That was their fault. That's what you get. That's a white man's concert.
Fucking Jagger rules. He fucking rules.
But I mean, guys like that who really are professional. It's like, I hate the fucking baby rock star. It drives me nuts.
Yeah.
It drives the baby performer. I fucking hate it. It's like they just need to be coddled, and everybody's around them. It's like, oh no, you're right. No one has the balls to tell them, look, you're just being a dick.
And then you and I in Boston on that stage, and we weren't allowed to be on the stage, even though we were tucked away in a corner, and Scott Weiland and the rest of them wouldn't even have noticed if we were on the stage. They're like, I know, they requested that the stage is completely clear before they walk off their buses. And that drove you nuts.
Yeah, it did, because the show was being the station was presenting the show. We had gone up there with BCN and we should interview them. They blew us off.
We should talk about that for a second, though, because I've done radio a long time, and when you guys, meaning you out there, you hear a local rock station talking about, well, we're presenting STP. It's really not a give and take. It's like the radio station kisses the band's ass, sells out the venue for them. Maybe they'll give you the bass player to do a 10-minute interview with their afternoon jock, and that's it. That's the interaction you get, even though it sounds like, you're doing this together with the band.
Right, and
that's exactly what happened in Boston. That's why I interrupted you.
There was no band came in, no Weiland came in, but then just to be such twats about it, which was no one backstage in the area. You can't watch them get off the bus or walk on stage. I've been backstage before. They were being twats. It wasn't rational. It was just they wanted the whole backstage area cleared.
Right.
It put a bad taste in my mouth. I don't know the music. I know that they're supposedly great. Fuck them. I don't care. I would if they broke up and never got back together. I wouldn't even know it unless you tap me and go, "Oh yeah, they broke up again." Who fucking cares?
Right.
Well, how interesting is Scott Weiland going to be? Yeah, man, it's the music. We got back for the music. Did you?
If he even comes in. Yeah. I think he's tormented. We even had his fucking ex-wife in here promoting her shitty book. Remember, she handed out chocolates to everybody?
Vaguely, yeah.
A nice enough woman.
Yeah, she was
I don't
nice.
want to trash her, but we even supported that. And even though they're not married anymore, they're still, together. They got a kid together and all that, so they're doing the right thing. So we did the right thing by having her in as well. Holy shit. Kevin in White Plains. What's up, Kevin?
Hey, how you doing?
All right.
Now, I was at that show that you were talking about, the PNC Center show 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember it was one of my friends. I was there when they were an hour and a half late to the stage, and Scott wouldn't come out, and he saw ambulances pull up to where they were, supposedly backstage, and everyone was talking that he had OD'd back there and was dead, and then there was going to be no show. So he rushes out to the parking lot trying to get into his car because he's trying to beat it out there. Missed the entire concert. They came out 5 minutes after he walked out. They wouldn't let him back in. He was just screwed.
Well, I saw something completely different because I'm sitting in my seats, and I don't know, it was at least a half hour, 45 minutes between the two bands, at least. Probably closer to an hour at that point. And I said to the people I was sitting with, I got to go backstage because I had a backstage pass. I'm going to try to check out what's going on. And I brought Kenny with me, And me and Kenny watched a whole scene outside Scott Weiland's bus. And it wasn't ambulances. It was one of the DeLeo brothers, because I don't know who's who. And he's yelling and screaming and pacing up and down outside the bus. Some woman came out, and she's giving the DeLeo brother some shit. And then the word cunt was used. And then he's screaming, oh, here's Kenny. And then he's screaming, come on out, Axel, come on out.
Didn't he have a bodyguard in front of the bus that wouldn't let him on?
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that part. Thanks, Jimmy. So, yeah, the DeLeo brother, a big part of STP.
The bass player.
The bass player, was it? Okay. He wasn't allowed on Scott Weiland's bus because Scott Weiland had his personal bouncer or bodyguard guarding the entrance to the bus. So as a band, they're not really even together, it seems to me. It seems like they're separate parts that come together on stage, do their thing, and then they split and go their own way. And Howard should ask him about that, because that's a big thing that a lot of people know about. What else did you see that night, Kenny?
I guess it was his girlfriend that he was yelling at and called her a cunt, and they were screaming at each other.
Yeah.
And DeLeo was screaming to the bus, come on, Axel, you're not embarrassing me in my hometown.
Oh, I forgot about that, because the DeLeo guys are from Jersey, so they're playing at the PNC. So this is a hometown gig for them. So he's like, that's right. He goes, you're not going to embarrass me in front of my hometown crowd and my family, my friends. Come on, Axel. Come on, Axel.
Right. Yeah, it was a whole big scene back there.
Me and Kenny were loving it.
Yeah, and then he finally comes out.
Yeah, like 10 minutes later, he came stumbling out in some outfit.
Some outfit.
Yeah.
some I'm from the 70s rock star outfit.
Like a velvet jacket and some fedora and like leather pants.
That's how a rock star should dress. Yuck.
Yeah. So, thanks, Kevin. That's what we saw. We were right on the scene there. All right. Thank you. So it's just annoying that people are blowing off our show for the dumbest reasons.
Yeah, I mean,
we have a real problem with the booking of this radio show, but I'll try not to bitch, but we have serious issues as far as this radio show goes. Not with us in studio here. The bookings suck for this radio show. Suck. We got George Wendt coming in today. And I'm not trashing George Wendt, but what year is this? What is he coming in to promote? And I'm sure he's nice enough guy. I've talked to him a few times over the years, but it's like, where's the people from this century? When are they going to start doing our show?
Well, he's promoting a book. It's supposed to be very good. So if they ask Anthony and I, we're like, yeah, we'll talk to George Wendt.
I don't mind that we're talking to George Wendt. I'm actually excited. But what are we going to ask him about Cheers?
Was he on Cheers?
George?
Yeah.
What, he's not?
I think he was. I never watched Cheers.
You never watched Cheers either?
I've seen moments of it, but no, I didn't.
Of course George Wendt was on Cheers.
That's just my good acting. I know who he was. Fucking Mars is mumbling Norm in the back. I know, Mars. I'm kidding.
I got to be honest. I wasn't sure myself.
Yeah, no, I was joking.
Okay, that was some good acting.
Yeah, you know how it is.
So we're going to talk to Norm. What are we going to do when he walks in and go, Norm?
Hey. He'll probably sit down and go, well, it was a great experience. But,
Drinking with George, the name of his book.
It's, I know what you're saying is that
I'm not trashing George Wendt.
It would be nice to have them as well. I know what you're saying.
Well, yeah, it would be a nice combo. I mean, STP has a new album out. All right, so that's kind of a newer guest that's still doing it. And George Wendt has nothing else going on, so he's writing a book.
Tomorrow we have Slash, who's not a twat. Slash has been great.
Slash rules.
Slash is one of the coolest musicians I think I've ever met in my entire life.
Remember he hung out and just played Guitar Hero with us?
Yeah,
for hours?
He was totally cool.
I have nothing to do. I'll play some fucking Guitar Hero right now.
I had no problem, making small talk and making sure that, you had your Slash time or whatever you want to call it. Like a lot of these guys, they just don't give a fuck. They would just be like, hey, what's up? And just leave you alone. And he was totally cool.
Yeah, I've been talking to Slash for, I don't even know at this point, 15 years easily.
And that guy's been on top of the world for 24 years already, whenever Appetite came out. I mean, you think the guy would get jaded or just not care anymore?
Right. No, he's always been cool.
He's right there.
Always been fucking cool. I've never had a bad experience with Slash ever.
Well,
he's always given us his time.
He empathizes probably with people who have to deal with those fucking babies, because he dealt with a way bigger fucking Axel. Look, that guy's great, but it's like, ugh.
fuck Axl.
Well, he dealt with Axl, and then he dealt with Scott in.
Oh my God!
in Velvet
Yeah,
Revolver.
yeah.
Maybe we'll talk about Scott Weiland with Slash tomorrow. We'll get some nice stories out of him.
That's
but
right.
Slash is too nice of a guy. He's not going to go down that road, probably.
Imagine those guys back to back.
What a nightmare.
One fucking guy who cares only about himself, then another one.
And I was a huge Guns N' Roses fan. Huge. I remember getting that first album way before radio was playing it, going, holy shit, is this going to set the world on fire? You know, because when you work in radio, you get to see some of these bands before it goes mass appeal.
What do you think
And it was
Chinese democracy?
Huh?
Chinese democracy.
I haven't even checked it out. You know, being a huge Guns N' Roses fan from back in the day, you think I would at least check it out to see? I don't care. He waited way too fucking long to put that piece of shit out.
But then he blew off like most U.S. promotion, I think.
Oh, good for him.
Like his little tantrum.
Yeah.
Throwing a little tantrum. Good. Go to Europe and promote it. Good.
Is that what he did?
I think so, yeah. I think I could be just talking out of my ass. Maybe somebody knows. But I heard he blew off all U.S. promotion. It's like...
And he barely promoted that album.
Yeah, exactly.
He did a long Billboard interview, and then I think he did one more interview, and that was it.
What do you consider a long Billboard interview?
It was probably... It took me about a half hour to read, and I'm a pretty fast reader. I can't remember how long it was, but it was a very lengthy interview, and that was about all he did.
Well, it's a lovely picture of Slash and Ozzy having tea. Ozzy looks much more refined than Slash, though. Ozzy at least has striped socks in this photo and some gentleman's shoes. Slash is on sneakers and his fucking hat. Slash looks more like a rock star in that photo.
Slash is all right in my book, and his book was great. What was the name of that? I read that thing in 2 days.
It was just Slash.
It was just called Slash.
Great book.
It was a great rock book. Did you read Slash's book?
No, I haven't.
It's well worth it, man. Well worth it. Yeah, it's just called Slash. That's okay. I would suggest you check that out.
It's amazing how many of these guys come out with books, though, right? Like fucking now, Ozzy finally had one. Slash had one.
How was Ozzy's book?
Honestly, I know I'm a jaded fan. I fucking loved it. I read it in 3 days. That was one of the books I could not stop reading.
You just wanted to see if he mentioned you.
I didn't. No, I just looked at the back through the bibliography
hoping?
at the end.
Were you secretly hoping?
No, unless it was there's got to be another Jim Norton, because they did do a song many years ago called "A Song for Jim."
Oh,
nothing
yeah?
to do with me, of course. It was 1968. It's funny how I had to say nothing to do with me, of course, like somebody might.
I wasn't even going to ask that. It didn't even cross my mind.
But honestly, it's the best rock biography I've ever read. It's completely honest. He talks a lot about drugs, about abusing his ex-wife. I mean, really fucking great, man.
My favorite was, Hammer of the Gods.
Motley Crue was good, too.
Yeah, I was going to say that I think I would have to go Motley Crue and Slash was right up there, right next to Motley Crue.
I should read his. Kiss and Make Up was good, a Gene's book, but it was more just a cool history of the band for a Kiss fan. Like, I like the ones that are like reveal like the really fucking ugly, which
Ace Frehley's writing his memoirs.
Who wouldn't love to? I just want to read it as he's writing it.
Came out over the weekend.
It's already out.
No.
No, he means it came out. The news came out, not the book.
Right.
And Steven Tyler's is coming out at the end of the year, I think, which I'm really interested in reading because they were all sorts of messy back then.
I think he might have he was living in the building actually for a little while and then just wasn't around anymore.
Just disappeared?
Apparently had to go somewhere.
Oh, really?
Is
that the rumor?
Don't know, yeah.
Yeah, I never saw him in the neighborhood. I heard he was living in your
Everyone said he
building.
was a nice guy, too. They said he was very friendly.
Right. Oh, he's the greatest. When we did time in Boston, he came by a few times. He was the greatest. That whole band was awesome. They were always really, really nice, down-to-earth guys. And remembered us, which was crazy. Because then we would see him at a show, like, hey, Opie and Anthony, doing his Zuzi Bops.
His what?
His whatever, what he does.
What's he do?
He does a lot. He does some Zooty Bops.
What are those? What is Zooty Bops? What are they?
I don't know. I made it up on the spot.
Oh, yeah, all right. That's more acceptable than actually that he did it.
Nah, he does. He does some cat calls or whatever you want to fucking call them. Let's go to Tony in Brooklyn. Tony.
Hey, Opie. I had a kid 10 months ago, and that was the best week of my life, the week between, after he was born. So, congratulations, buddy.
Hey, man, thank you. It's a life changer.
It's unbelievable.
I like it, though.
Yeah, it's nothing like it. Hey, I think everybody's got a story, and I would be more interested in George Wentz than I would be in douchebags from STP, because you know what? you're only really interested in the train wreck, and it's always the same story. So, hey, maybe George has got something interesting to talk about other than just his Norm days. So who knows?
Yeah, we'll try to get into it with George today.
The thing that's
Mr. Went.
interesting to me about Stone Temple Pilots is that they're obviously a huge band. I mean, but as far as if I had to be very honest and say, okay, guys that I love, they mean absolutely nothing to me. And again, not because I think they suck. I'm not aware of any of their songs.
Well, most of them will let you down. You realize they're just jerks.
Some. I've had some luck though, man. Most of them have been the guys I love.
Yeah, have all been cool to you.
Me and Gene had a weird one, but aside from that, now it's nice. Mm-hmm. I know Ant doesn't care for him.
I don't like him either. He's whatever. He's whatever. I actually like doing radio with him, though.
Yes.
Because I like doing radio with people I don't like, too, because it's kind of fun.
And he definitely gets
the time he reached over and grabbed Danny's hand, because Danny was typing too loud while he was talking. God forbid that Danny does his job while Gene's in studio. He couldn't handle the loud typing and actually grabbed his hand.
Do you remember in NEW, the first time I met him, I was so starstruck I couldn't talk.
Yeah.
And I was sitting next to him, my chair was creaking, which would just happen in a radio studio, and he kind of was like, your chair is creaking. And I was like, rough.
It's probably his OCD.
I wonder if it is too.
Because it's just too weird that he can't handle that. But, all right, why don't we say hi to David in Pennsylvania. David.
Yeah.
Good morning, David.
Good morning. I was at that STP show, and it was seconds away from a riot.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, it was midnight when they went on.
Yeah.
Midnight.
And
you guys were like, at about 10 o'clock, you were like, hey, here's STP. And we're like, all right, yeah. And,
oh, you know what? I forgot that we did the stage announcement.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Did you? You forgot you announced them?
Yeah, I don't know. I've done hundreds of those. But, yeah, me and Ant went out on stage. Amazing. And they said, okay, you don't even have to say coming up. Just say, here's STP, and they're going to take about 5 minutes just to let the crowd build with, excitement or whatever. So that's what we did. We did just that or something similar to that. And I believe it was close to 2 hours later.
It was almost 2 hours, and we were at the exit, afraid for our lives.
Yeah. And then he finally came out. I bet you he was oblivious that he was making everyone wait 2 hours. I guess because it's worth it for everybody out there, fucking on the lawn, and it was worth it to them to wait 2 hours for his greatness. It's just
to top it off, they stunk. I was so upset. It was the first time I ever seen them.
I've seen them, like I said, at least 10 times, and that was easily the worst they ever sounded. Not even close. No doubt in my mind.
What's their biggest song? I know it. I just can't pick a name.
Fuck, you just put the whole, Plush is up there.
Yeah, it's got to be Plush, Interstate Love Song, Sour Girl.
Sour Girl was a little, yeah.
Sure, I've heard them.
Vaseline, I mean, you put up their
Wicked Garden.
Wicked Garden, there you go. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Sex Type Thing, that was like their one of their first singles.
Yeah.
It's amazing how
they have a million songs,
Yeah, I'm very ignorant of any type of, are they grunge or alternative?
They started out in that whole grunge alt.
Like, I can name maybe 2 Pearl Jam songs. I can't, that whole genre of music, I can't really name any music from.
You don't like it?
I don't know that I don't like it, no, not really, but.
Yeah. All right, hey, thank you, Charlie. Thanks for the congrats. I heard that.
So whatever, it's just annoying that a band is going to be here. We know our audience is larger, and it's not to knock Alt Nation, but the audience of this show is a lot bigger, and it just makes what dummies publicists are.
By the way, I just got an email from someone that we love, someone who knows how to book a radio show, who did a great job booking this particular radio show, Roland. Here are the people that are in town this week alone. Russell Brand, who's done our show at least 2 or 3 times. Are we having Russell Brand in?
Probably not, because our connection to him was Roland.
Jonah Hill. Are we having Jonah Hill in? We've had him on before. Is he coming in this week? This is what... See, I don't just say that we have a problem with booking the show. Then I give you proof that we have problem booking the Opie and Anthony show. These are guys that have done our show in the past, had a great time. We consider sort of like friends on a radio level. Russell Brand, Jonah Hill did our show. He loved doing our show. Joel McHale, who used to call our show almost weekly, he's in town. Is Joel McHale doing our show this week? Will Fort, we've never had him on. Jorge Garcia from Lost.
He's in town?
Yeah. Yeah. George Lopez, Michael Emerson we've had on the show. Are we having Michael Emerson come by this
I would
week?
love to get fucking...
All of those names you're rattling off have been requested and have all gotten no response or a sorry, not available.
See, that's what I'm talking about. We have a problem booking the Opie and Anthony show. Who do I have to talk to? I can't talk to these guys because they get nothing done. Is there people upstairs I could talk to? Who do I talk to? These are all guys that have done our show in the past.
Probably Ross.
All right, I'll talk to Ross.
Yeah.
That's what I got to do. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4 of these guys have done our... well, George Lopez has done our show, too. So 5 of these names that are in front of me have been on our show. So any of them coming in this week? No. We got George...
Actually, I shouldn't say that. We haven't got a final response on Russell Brand yet, but he's been on the request list for months. And
So wait, so is Garcia, Georgie Garcia doing, what's his name?
Jorge?
Yeah, Jorge Garcia. Is he doing any press or, I was just promoting The Last Lost.
they have an exclusive with ABC. The whole Lost cast has an exclusive, so you're going to see them all on Kimmel. We have Nestor, Carbonell calling in at 10 o'clock today.
Okay.
And we may have the guy who plays, I don't know the actor's name, but Desmond calling in on Friday.
All right, Desmond's a big one,
that's
too.
Not, yeah,
that's two of the main guys.
That's not confirmed yet, but we may have
There's
that.
a lot of names here that
I agree.
have done our show, and we never had a problem with. Actually, a lot of thank yous after their interview. So, here, let's start booking our own show. Could you guys bother Joel McHale on Twitter and say, hey, Opie is looking for you to do the show this week. We know you're in New York City. They would love for you to stop in and say hi. Please. We'll get Joel McHale booked. This stuff is easy. And why would they hire Roland? Roland's unemployed, and they have a position open here. What are you doing? Make us happy for once. Hire Roland. But George Wendt is coming in.
Watch him be the fucking... I don't know much about the guy. I'm going to say it would be ironic. We think he's probably going to be like a really nice guy. Mm-hmm. Watch him just be a complete twat who's trashing everybody.
That would be good.
It would be great.
That would be wonderful.
You do know the Jade Vixen story? Were you here? And wasn't here for Jade Vixen.
I read your emails in between, waking up and stuff. What happened? Like, she was in? And who is she, by the way? Penthouse?
She's in Penthouse. She's a very cool girl. And we had her in one of the days I was here. And I knew her name from somewhere. I knew the name Jade Vixen. I know that name. But I'm thinking, no, Anthony took out Taylor Vixen from Penthouse, so you're mixing up the Vixens. Like, okay, that's where I know it from. She's an Asian girl. I'm like, I'm fucking... And I had to leave for a flight. It was driving me nuts. As I'm going to the airport, I remember where I know her from. She was a dominatrix, I believe, at the Nutcracker. We were talking about domination stuff.
What's the Nutcracker?
Nutcracker Suite was like a dungeon here in New York. Okay. It's closed now. So she did Golden. I kind of wanted her to piss on me at one point. And
I love how you say that just casually.
Honestly, it's not even, I guess it is weird, but for me, I really did. I was like, for years, I was like, I'm going to go see Jade Vixen get a golden shower. I never did.
I think I'm jaded, too, because I hear you just say that. I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, that's normal.
Well, I'm annoyed at myself because I knew her.
Right.
And she's sitting here talking, very cool. I'd leave. And then as I'm getting to the airport, I'm like, no, that's not her. And then, yep, it was her. She was a dom in New York, and she was seeing a guy, and one of her slaves, her, regular slaves, I guess was stalking her, shot and killed her boyfriend.
Who? Her boyfriend? Jade's boyfriend?
Yes. Kidnapped her, took her for a ride, was going to kill her. She talked her way out of the car, and she talked her way out of it, and then he shot himself when the police came. So it was a murder-suicide.
Wow. So what did she have to say about this? Jimmy's biting his own teeth.
Nothing.
That's pretty amazing. I've never seen anyone bite their own teeth.
What I would like is this. Can I have the prep sheet from that day? I know we have it. All right, yeah. Thank you.
I know people are going to say, but it's impossible to bite your own teeth. No, it's not. If you're looking at Jimmy right now, how do you bite your own teeth?
This is one... I sent off a very unpleasant email. This is one of the ones that really... But I was mad at myself too, because I'm like, I knew the name, but I knew why I didn't pursue it in my own head any further, because I knew the mistake I made was confusing her with Taylor Vixen. I was like, oh no, you just think of the chick Ant went out with.
Right.
And I didn't connect a penthouse girl to a dom. But it's annoying me that, like, a name is nagging you. Like, I know this person.
Now, that would have been some great radio to get into that.
Yeah, even if she wouldn't have talked about it. I found out after she wouldn't have because of pending litigation. But there was still a way to bring it up and bring it to the table.
Mm-hmm.
However, me and Ann had just asked for some chicks. Like, get some chicks here. I haven't had chicks in a while. So Steve comes back and says, well, this is one of the people I got is Jade Vixen coming in promoting Penthouse. And fine. So we booked her and he got her in. And we had the prep sheet. And I'll read the prep sheet to the audience. Not that it's interesting to you at home, but just...
it's interesting knowing that, that should have been on the prep sheet.
Yeah, murder-suicide. You might want to put on the fucking prep sheet. Kidnapping, murder-suicide. You might want to...
Well, a murder-suicide is so every day.
Yeah, it's old hat at this
It's really
point.
old hat. I mean, how many freaking guests are we going to have in to talk about their murder-suicide fucking thing?
I was on the phone. I called Ant from the plane because he had just come off the air. And, I was like, we had this girl in today. And I was...
Livid?
I was on the plane making a scene. I was so angry. I was afraid I was going to have an incident on the aircraft. But not with the people around me, but yelling into the phone.
How great would it be if they turned the plane around because you're losing your mind over the fact that we didn't have correct info on her?
On a girl, I know. On a girl who was going to pee on me. Cool. Thank you, young Sam.
But Sam, you usually do the one sheet. So are you to blame here? Because I know you do a fine one sheet.
No, I do not do the one sheets for the porno stars.
Why not?
Because another staffer has all the porno connections. He does. It was from the beginning. Every time a porno girl has come in, that's Steve C's gig.
Jade Vixen in studio at 9 a.m. This is not.
Wait, this one sheet sucks.
No, this is pretty good.
I didn't do that one.
What?
I didn't do it, and it's my fault.
Who's this one?
I had an intern do it.
Oh, that's good. That's smart.
Okay, so an intern did our guest.
We have 20 people
Research.
that work for the show behind the scenes. But
An
make
intern did our
make
guest
sure the
research.
intern does the one sheet.
Well, hold on. There is some information on here, and there's one thing I did miss, which I'm a little annoyed at myself for. Like, she said she goes to fetish parties. I should have made that connection. But again, whatever, I'm babbling. Appeared in the March 2010 issue of Penthouse. That was the big headline. Is a lifestyle fetishist model from lingerie and nylons to latex cat suits and hood. That's bullet point 1 for discussion. Bullet point 2 for discussion. Was approached to begin, and the begin is in capital B, because I guess that's how you read begin. Was approached to begin training as a professional dominatrix at 18 and specialized in boot worship, psychological domination, tickle torture, and corporal punishment. Was originally enrolled at the University of Pennsylvania in pursuit of a PhD in engineering. All right, so that one, I guess, you'd go, so what happened? You were in college and you were going to get a PhD in engineering. What happened? Yeah, I was in college for a little while. I wanted to get my PhD in engineering, but it didn't happen. All right, there's that. And then, of course, PenthouseMagazine.com and JadeVixen.com.
Well, there's a lot of space on this sheet to add the murder-suicide
Murder-suicide.
storyline. Really, look at this. There's a lot of empty space here.
A lot of room for a murder-suicide.
They even used a big font just to take up room on the paper to promote PenthouseMagazine.com and JadeVixen.com. And even with the big font, there's still a lot of extra room on this.
A lot of room.
To add, oh, by the way, murder-suicide. You might want to ask her about it. Not sure if she's going to talk about it, but you might want to at least ask her.
Because at least you could put the information out there so the audience knows that the woman they're hearing has been through this. It was an amazing story. It ended in 2008, and I remember it happening because I'm a perv, so I follow the domination scene. So what intern did the...
It was Charlie that day. It was Charlie, who's no longer with us.
Yeah, but Charlie should have never done this.
No, you're right.
We
You're
have
right.
way too many people working for the show behind the scenes. I mean, you got to get someone else to do this.
No, it was a complete fucking error on my part to ask an intern to do it.
It's the worst, honestly, dude, and I mean that. It's the worst miss I've seen in my professional life.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
Murder-suicide?
Murder? You're forgetting. It's MSK. It's murder-suicide kidnapping.
Kidnap. Yeah.
A murder-suicide.
Kidnapping.
Kidnapping. And was a BA, major in engineering.
Pursuit of a PhD in engineering.
Yeah.
How tough was the class schedule.
So what, were you living on campus?
Yeah.
Well, no, I was going to live on campus, but I decided it was relative. Oh, interesting. How many miles were you driving to get to school? If you don't, well, it was about 30 miles each way, which made me very tired.
Did you pledge a sorority? Did you have enough time to do that?
Well, no, I was a little bit busy with schoolwork. I was bogged down. Do you see what I mean? There's not a lot of fodder for conversation. Almost a PhD in engineering.
Almost means nothing. Yeah. Every single time. Almost means nothing.
That was a bad one.
All right. I got to eat now. Anybody coming in today?
Not a callback, but I did get a text from Jackie who said he's in Cannes and wants to call in and talk about how big his penis is.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Jackie the Joke Man?
You want to talk to him?
He's in France?
Uh-huh.
God damn, life's good for Jackie the Joke Man. Fucking, and he, whatever. I was going to say he showed up at my brother's restaurant and had a good time, but I think I already told the people that. Why don't we take a break and continue? Very excited. George Wendt coming by today.
He is, and he's promoting, I'll tell you... I'll tell you what he's promoting. He's promoting the Borgata July 2nd and 3rd, and Caroline's in June.
Is Steve bummed that I just did that? Why?
No, not at all.
Because we're going to get more fucking 1980s sitcom stars.
And then the next time we go to book George Wendt, there'll be like a whole rant about how he's a dick and he doesn't come in.
Yeah.
What's George Wendt?
I'm sure he'll be good.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers ended 20 years ago.
It's a pretty big show, though.
I bet you if you walk down the street, he's not getting a lot of norms these days.
Maybe not. But it's not his fault that STP are cunts.
I think I am taking
we don't
it out
want
on-
to.
Yeah, but it's not.
I think I am taking it out.
He's a
on
guy.
him
Look, you know what?
because
though?
of this STP situation.
He's in one of the biggest shows ever. You know, and again, if he's,
I like
I'm
George
sure he'll be
Wendt.
fine.
I'm sure the book's going to be terrific, and I'm sure we're going to have a good time with George Wendt. So I think Jimmy's right. I'm taking it out on him because of the STP situation.
We don't want to blow the Cliff Clavin booking.
What is he up to? What do you think he's up to?
Act Pixar movies.
Oh yeah, he does like voiceover.
Yeah, he does like every
Toy
Pixar
Story and
movie
all
that comes
right?
out. He's in
Oh,
at
yeah.
least one voice.
Oh yeah, sorry. He's got a great career in Hollywood.
It's cool.
And I'm trying to figure out who I'm doing the radio show with today. You're right.
So he does Pixar
Kenny.
voices.
Troy Kwan wanted to sit in Anthony's place. Yeah, he's got a lot of STP knowledge. He loves current events.
I like Troy Kwan. He's just a bright guy.
Kenny and Troy were talking about the possibility of Troy taking Anthony's spot today. I don't know exactly.
He just blew out his knee running down the hall.
See, he's a go-getter.
Come on in, Troy. Did you
Good, Troy.
You
Sit
just blow
down.
out your knee?
He's got a stress fracture in his heel. A lot of people don't know that. No, take Anthony's seat.
No, you're not taking Anthony's seat. No. Talk over there. Don't use his mic.
Hi, Troy.
He comes over and
All right,
he's
you
like,
can use his mic.
he goes, go in the studio. They want you in there. And I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, you got to fill in for Anthony today. So,
Do you have anything to add?
no.
Yes, you do.
He said no. Murder, suicide, kidnapping, and we missed it.
You have nothing?
Troy, don't embarrass me.
I need people to step up today.
Yeah.
Troy, you got to step up.
Troy, tell him that thing about Scott Weiland you were saying.
No, how about this? After the break, you come up with something.
Oh,
that gives you 10
show
minutes.
Topic.
Huh?
A show
Not
topic
a show
from Troy.
topic, because I'm not taking phone calls because he has a show topic.
What if
I'm not
it's a
doing
good
show
one?
topic shit.
Oh.
After the break, Troy is going to step up and give us something where the listeners go, holy shit, there's Troy Kwan. You got any story, anything. Anything.
He's got it.
You got it?
Yeah.
Go work on it, because we're doing it right after the break.
Sounds good.
You got something?
No, not yet. But I will.
No, he does.
All right, we'll talk to Troy Kwan next. We're going to eat some food. George Wendt coming in today, and who knows? Maybe other people stopping by. See, if I say that, then maybe the people will stay tuned.
Oh.
We know who isn't stopping by, though.
Who?
Stone Temple Pilots.
Oh, well, good for them. Let's go. Let's go. We got radio to do. Good news. We just got the George Wendt one sheet. It's called the one sheet in the biz. He's coming in to promote Drinking with George by George Wendt. Drinking with George, Jim Norton, is George Wendt's book about his love affair with beer. He chronicles... Who did the one sheet?
I did.
Huh?
I did.
It's cool. You spelled Chronicles wrong.
Yeah, that's a weird spelling of
Chronicles.
Chronicles.
C-R-O-N.
He chronicles.
It's the European spelling.
That's a European spelling?
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
Yep.
Oh, okay. He chronicles everything he loves about it and all the ways beer has affected his life. The book is half autobiography and half a book about everything having to do with beer.
Yeah.
He said he can't pick a favorite beer. He started drinking it as a kid when he would get his grandpa beers and get a sip for going to get them. He not only tells personally stories.
It's a typo. It's a typo.
He not only tells personally stories, but also gets into bar etiquette and theory, as well as ways to drink
With George.
beer.
We just got the book. When did we get these?
He says that a fire extinguisher can be used to get a six-pack cold. You all right? I'm reading the one sheet, Jimmy. You okay?
When did we get these books in?
I was handed one for the one sheet yesterday morning when I got in.
So maybe they just arrived.
No, they can't. When would they come, E-Rock?
I think like Friday afternoon or something like
And
that.
Why would nobody tell us that we have the books of the author that we're supposed to interview?
Steve just handed them to me to bring into
Well,
the
can
studio.
Steve come here, please? Can somebody ask why we have an interview? I don't want to bitch. We have an interview to do. How about the fucking book of the guy we're interviewing? Holy shit!
Wow. And why is it a soft...
That might just be the way he released it. Probably smarter to do.
No, this is the paperback.
Is the hardcover already out?
I believe.
Okay, maybe
This is paperback launch.
We're interviewing him on the paperback version
When
of
did these-
fucking Drinking with George?
That's correct.
Holy
I got him yesterday morning, Jim.
shit.
Okay. How come you didn't tell us?
When was
book
the
was
actual
here?
book released?
I think I watched a Today Show interview with him pitching it from like a little less than a year ago, June 2009.
We actually had him booked when the book initially was released, and then we didn't do a show. And
So it was probably last summer.
yeah.
So how come we didn't get these yesterday?
I handed one to Sam to do the one sheet, and then I held the other two to give you guys today because I thought you would. In the past, I'm not sure if you guys ever read these things.
Books?
No, not books in general. Do you usually read the books when I hand these things to you,
Steve,
Jim?
where have you been?
I'm serious.
It doesn't matter.
But that's not.
It's very obvious that
I know
Jimmy
Jimmy's I
brings
know-
the books home and peruses them, which is a fine word when you're talking about books.
Even if I
He
don't,
peruses them.
even if I don't read the book, the fact that I would
he'll go-
have it and want to go through it.
Yeah, he'll go through it a
Sometimes
bit.
I don't, but there are times I absolutely do.
Okay, then I will make sure that you get. As soon as I get a copy of the book, you'll get it. I was under the impression that you didn't want these things because you weren't looking at them.
We have to interview him.
I know you have to look at them. I know you have to interview them. That's why you got a one sheet.
Beer 101, beer styles. When I was a kid, it seemed like there was only two kinds of beers in America. Domestics and imports. The domestics were the yellow beers like Budweiser, Pabst Blue Ribbon, and
I'm not going to
Miller High
I'm not
Life.
going to. It's not his fault. We should have had these books in advance.
Imports are exotic beers from foreign countries like Heineken, the Moosehead. Real men drank domestics. Beer snobs drank imports. What was that?
I don't know,
think
but the
Steve made it
bottom line is,
That was the bear growling.
if we got a fucking author to interview, George Wendt, I should have at least had the book so we could look through them. There's nothing worse. I'm interviewed by a lot of different people on the road. There's nothing worse than when you walk into a room to do an interview and they give you some shitty Wikipedia fucking question.
100 ways to say that you're drunk.
Hey, look, he's getting praise from fucking
What?
Stephen Colbert and
I'm
some other
laughing.
people. I'm not going to shit on his book.
Annihilated, bashed, befuddled, bent, bibulous, blasted, blithering, blitzed, blotto, bullocks, bombed, boozed up, butt wasted, buzzed, and that's only the B's. Zozzled. It ends with zozzled. Reeling, ripped, rocked, ruined, on a bender, on fire, stewed, stinko, stoned, stupid, tanked, intoxicated, jacked, juiced, lit, loaded, looped. George Wendt coming in today in about an hour. Half hour? He's here? What? He's coming through the door?
Schedule for a half hour.
Huh? All right. Hey, Kenny.
Yes, sir.
I guess you're producing the show today, so you got Troy Kwan to help out the show today?
Let me tell you, he's going to take the show to a whole new level.
Jimmy, what's wrong?
Just irritated.
Yeah, man, but we got guys running the channel. We're in good shape. They know what's going on.
But it ain't George Wendt's fault. I mean, it's like this.
I'm not blaming
this whole
George
thing
Wendt.
is not his fault. He's the guy who wrote a book. The
I'm
fact
not
that
blaming
Stone Temple
George Wendt.
Pilots is not here is because the band are cunts.
Yeah.
And the fact that we don't have fucking research done properly is because things are not being done behind the fucking scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Troy Kwan will bring a smile to your face.
Yeah?
Yes.
So what did we request from Troy Kwan today?
Well, a lot of people are going to be interested in this segment because it's Tattoo Talk with Troy.
You even named his segment?
Yeah. Yeah, he's got a lot of tattoos. He's a very interesting chap.
Why is he shaking his head?
Because I'm sitting down to do my work, and this is what Kenny's like, oh, they want you in studio, and this is what your segment's going to be.
You know what, Kenny? You're producing the rest of the show today. I like Tattoo Talk with Troy Kwan. You come up with something for the next break, Kenny.
No
All right?
problem. I got good questions for George Wendt when he gets here.
Yeah, what's one of the questions?
I'm just going to compliment how I loved him in Seinfeld.
He was in Seinfeld?
Yeah, he was Jerry's friend. He does those Weight Watchers commercials. He was in Shallow Hal.
Oh, that's Jason Alexander.
It's the same guy.
Why is it the same guy?
Chubby, lovable fella. He just takes the wig off to play Jason.
Did we lose you, Jimmy?
I'm just irritated. Fucking look, I don't love or hate George Wendt. It's not the point.
No,
the guy contributed. He did a fight. He's one of the biggest shows ever done.
Look,
At least he did something.
We're just doing comedy. I have nothing against George Wendt.
I don't either.
And I'm sure the book did well. I'm just having fun with the whole situation.
I honestly don't love George
I hope he
Wendt
realizes that I'm not, personally trashing him. I'm just having a little fun and making some radio today. That's all. Or at least trying.
I don't love George Wendt. It's not like I'm a huge fan. Like I respect the guy, whatever. The stuff that's happening is way beyond him coming in. It's just
but we got guys running the channel. They're on top of everything. Don't worry about it.
But I mean,
they're going to take care of everything. Or so they said a year and a half ago. Kenny.
Yeah, keeping the show rolling. Upbeat, fun.
But if you're producing a show, don't you think you should have some intro music for the Troy Kwan tattoo segment?
Travis, what do you got?
No, you can't just say, Travis, what do you got?
What do you want, Kenny? You're producing.
Yeah, although Travis could come up with something on the spot.
Yeah, give me a little something.
No, you have to suggest something that would work with the Troy Kwan segment.
Well, Troy also has a show on Liquid Metal here on Sirius XM.
Yeah.
So give me something liquid.
How about, Travis, you want to take care of this?
How about I don't listen to Liquid Metal, so I don't know what the hell's playing on that channel.
Something with the word liquid in it, not metal.
Oh, you need something that...
Troy, what do you want as a theme song?
Oh, yeah, okay. See, that's good, Kenny.
Pig Destroyer, Piss Angel.
You want to come into that?
Sure. What's the band and what's the song?
Pig Destroyer. Piss Angel.
Yeah, I know. Which one is the song name and which one is the band name?
Google it.
The band's name is Pig Destroyer.
Pig Destroyer?
Yes.
And the song?
Piss Angel.
Troy's got a lot of good piss stories, too, as a backup.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, Troy is a rock and roller before he was my personal producer.
I think we lost Jimmy.
I'm sure he's sorry.
No, it's all right. Jimmy's there.
All right, go on.
I don't know what the hell's going on.
Really? You're not the only one. Now go outside the door. Kenny's going to intro you over your music. All right? Travis, whenever you're ready. Oh, great.
Wake up, everybody. For the first time on the Opie and Anthony Show, it's Tattoo Talk with Troy.
What's going on, guys?
Hey. Hey, Troy.
Jim just looks pissed.
I'm fine. Not.
Which is wow.
Troy, you got a lot of tattoos.
Kenny just moved over to Anthony's mic. You going to help with the segment? So, we're not talking about his tattoos. He's got a story for us?
Yeah,
Do I?
Do the story.
Well, it's
What
Tattoo
story?
Talk with Troy Kwan.
Yeah, but we break the ice with the tattoos because a lot of people got tattoos in this world.
All right.
So they're very interesting. It's compelling.
All right, ask him a tattoo question.
So, Troy, what's the significance of the flames?
I worked in a tattoo shop for 10 years, so I just
How to get tattoos?
worked with a couple different artists and got some different tattoos.
Are there any you regret?
Most of them.
Really?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, I started working there when I was 18, so we just started doing weird tattoos, and I have like a one-eyed baby with antlers hanging from hooks on my arm, and
Oh, can I see that one?
I have to take off my shirt. Is that okay?
Yeah, baby. Now we're talking.
So most of them are.
So you regret most of your tattoos because you're tatted up.
Yeah,
you got a
well,
lot of tats.
I wish they were better looking. So I got to take off my whole shirt here.
Look, he's V-shaping in the stomach, too, ladies. Look, Calvin Klein underwear.
What does it look like, Jimmy? It's a
can't even see
one-eyed
it.
baby on a hook?
Oh,
Hanging
yeah.
from hooks.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
It's just an odd baby. You can see the hooks are through his hands.
Yeah.
And the baby has got a one eye like a cyclops, and he's got like weird little ram horns coming off his head. And his hands have hooks through the back of them.
Yeah.
So Troy's hanging a baby off his arm.
People are...
That's original.
By the way, we woke up a shitload of people with your entrance music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People
Yeah.
pissed.
Yeah, that's the way it
Blue-
should be on a morning show.
Blue Healer writes, I'm guessing there's no way to play Pig Destroyer to the hook
No, there's no hook.
and give a little traffic and weather before the vocals
No.
kick in. No. All right. So you have tattoos that you regret. What else, Kenny? Before
Yeah, one of my favorites is the DeLorean symbol he's got on the back of his neck.
Turn around. Yeah, why would you have that?
I had a DeLorean. I had a fully
I don't have it on the back of my neck.
Well, I just like the car, I like the story behind John DeLorean. And,
Yeah, he was a coke dealer.
well, he was never convicted of coke, but...
Why do you like John DeLorean?
Well, he was the inventor of a lot of the muscle cars in the 60s. And then he decided to start his own company, and he was coming up with this idea of the next level sports car, and it didn't work out, unfortunately. And the car, it was a cool idea, but it never really took off, unfortunately.
Right.
So what were the cocaine allegations?
The company was going under, and he was doing whatever he could to save the company, and he was going to psychics and whatnot, and he supposedly was importing cocaine into the United States in the cars, supposedly, but he was never convicted.
But did that ruin him?
Pretty much, yeah.
Sure did.
It was a misunderstanding.
Okay, good.
What was he importing that was white?
What was he importing that was white?
Yeah.
Salt.
Yeah, what were they mistaking for cocaine?
I don't know. I believe it was actually cocaine, but somehow he got away with it.
Oh.
Yeah, he was set up probably.
Yeah.
Right, Troy?
That's what he says.
One tattoo that frightens me is that hyena on your forearm.
Why does it frighten you, Kenny?
Oh, it's ferocious.
It's
Look
actually a
at it.
mandrill monkey. It's not a hyena, but...
What is it?
It's a mandrill monkey wearing a bondage mask.
On his forearm.
Has anybody ever guessed that right?
No. No.
It's a good piece of work, though.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, I mean, the artwork's good.
Yeah. It's cool. And I have a fly head over here.
Yeah. Why does that tattoo scare you, though, Kenny?
Oh.
No, do you look at it? It's ferocious. He's got his mouth open. He's going like, ah.
This is a great segment, Kenny, by the way.
It sure is, Troy. Thank you.
Well, Kenny's producing the show today. Troy.
Yeah.
So are we ready for Troy's story? Well, all we did was we said before the break, come up with something that the people out there would find interesting.
Yeah, 'cause ladies,
some crazy story, something that I don't know,
Yeah,
something.
Troy's single now, too, ladies, so you could Twitter him at TroyQuan.com.
That's not what
Ah.
Or you could Facebook him.
All right, Troy, what do you got?
So, I mean, do you want to talk about tattoo stories? I mean, I have a lot of tattoo stories from working in a tattoo shop.
No,
for
your
10 years.
job was to come up with one thing that would keep our audience from going somewhere else today.
All right. Well, I've done a lot of Prince Albert piercings.
Yeah.
And basically what that is it goes in through the bottom of the penis and out the urethra. It's a ring. And
right below the mushroom head?
Right.
Is that where you go in?
Yeah.
Front or back?
On the bottom.
Does it come through the hole?
It comes through the hole. And what you have to do is
anesthetize it with your mouth.
No.
you put Luden's honey flavored cough drops in your mouth.
You have a receiving tube that's pretty thick. It's about that thick. And it goes down your urethra, and it has a bevel. And you bend the bevel to push that skin through, and you put a needle right through it, and it comes right out.
And you had to do this? You had to hold guys' dicks and do this?
Yeah.
How long does it take to actually make the piercing?
A couple seconds.
That's it?
Yeah. But
And how bad
guys
does it hurt?
scream, and it bleeds like a motherfucker.
Okay, but it doesn't just go through the urethra?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why would anyone want that done? And I'm sure there's a few people out there that have these, but why?
Well, supposedly
why would you get that done?
Supposedly it's good for sex.
Why?
Supposedly it hits things that your regular penis can't do.
Metal detectors.
Yeah. And then, of course, the shock value. I mean, you tell a girl that you have your penis pierced, she's going to be interested in seeing it. But
did you like holding guys' penises?
No.
No.
Not
I
at
imagine
all.
they shrunk a little bit when there's a needle coming at them.
Absolutely. And scream. I mean, the scream that comes out of people when you
Really?
pierce their penis. Yeah.
Can anybody not scream?
I don't think that's good for business. To hear someone screaming behind that door as you're waiting to go, back and get your tattoo.
Right.
Or
But
your piercing.
I mean, it's pretty painful, so it's understandable.
Mm-hmm.
But women usually take it better. Women genital piercings usually go a little bit smoother.
Did you get to do those?
Oh yeah,
Clits?
yeah. A
Any
lot
big
of them.
meaty ones?
Yeah, some pretty gross ones too. I mean, girls secreting all over everything and
What are they secreting?
just weird fluid.
Yeast infections?
Yeah. I was piercing a girl's vagina once, and her husband was over top of me going, "Do you like what you see? You like what you see?" And I guess they were swingers, and they were trying to get me involved and bring me home, which is kind of a bizarre thing. But yeah, I've seen some pretty.
Well, did you like what you saw?
She was an older woman, but yeah, she looked pretty good.
And
did you go there?
No, that's too weird, man. Like fucking some dude's wife while he watches is just a weird thing, man.
I've had my dick sucked one time by a chick. I met. It was an ad in the Home News newspaper, and so I went and met with her.
What's the Home News?
It was my hometown newspaper, or whatever, in North
in Brunswick.
Yeah, like a local Jersey paper.
Right.
And they used to do singles ads in the back. So she said she put an ad out for a woman who's looking to meet a guy to fuck. So I met with her, and she was, she had a husband, but she's like, I didn't tell you that because I just wanted straight guys. I didn't want guys. So I go over the house. She said he just wants to watch, and she's like 45, and he's probably like 50. He looks like a pizza maker. He's got like a weird horseshoe hairdo. And then he just kind of sat there and watched me fool around with his wife. And then we 69, and she sucked my dick. And then he just went down and watched her suck my dick. It was really creepy.
That's all he did was just watch?
Yeah, he didn't
jerk off or anything?
I think we tried to double stop her, but then I lost my rod. It was just creepy, fucking her with a pizza maker.
What, did he have his hands behind his back and just kind of like leaned in to check it out?
Yeah.
That is weird.
And then I went with started dating a girl, and I brought her over.
Yeah.
And the older woman ate her pussy, which is kind of hot.
Interesting.
That's my whole story.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. But
Kenny, do you like this segment? Tattoo Talk with Troy?
It's going well.
It's going well?
Yes.
How do we wrap this up?
Troy's just getting started.
I want to hear more tattoo talk. I mean, now we're just getting into cock and pussy piercings. That's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I worked in a shop for 10 years and seen some bizarre shit. I worked in a little college town, Kutztown, Pennsylvania, so it was just like horny college girls all the time, So
you got to grab the guy's penis.
Do you grab his ball bag? How do you grab a guy's penis?
Well, usually what you do is you take paper towels and you just sort of put a hole in it and then put your dick through it. That way, because he's going to bleed a lot, so he doesn't want to get blood all over his clothing.
Do you have to grab the base of it?
You have to.
And you got to make it a little hard so you got, so it's not flopping as you're trying to pierce it?
Well, you have to mark where you're going to go.
Right.
And then you sort of have to eyeball it. I mean, once you do a lot of them,
Did you go to school for this?
No, I did a piercing apprenticeship.
And next thing you know, you're just putting holes in guys'
Who
dicks?
does that? Donald Trump?
All right, Kenny. Apprentice, I got it. Jesus.
But, Yeah, you just work with a piercer and you supervise a lot of piercings, and then they say, okay, and then they watch you do it.
Who's the first guy? That's what I want to know. Who's the guy who's like, this is my first cock piercing? And he's like, oh, all right, well, good luck to you.
No, I wouldn't say that. You know what I mean? I've watched a bunch of Prince Albert's done, and I was just like, okay, I'm ready to do it.
Did you ever see, well, I don't even know. Like, I've seen pictures of guys that have split cocks.
Yeah, I've never done that. I have a friend who has his tongue split in half.
Right.
And he was going to split his dick.
How do you split a tongue in half?
Well, he had his tongue pierced, and then you take like fishing line wire, and you just start every day just tightening it a little bit more and a little bit more.
That's how they do that?
And then what they do is they slice it and then they cauterize it.
When did they slice it?
When did they slice it?
Yeah.
After about a month and a half or so.
Wait, so I never knew that, did you? So there's a hole in your tongue and then you put fishing line in?
If you want to split your tongue, that's how you do it.
Wait, you have to do it yourself?
I wouldn't do it, no. But you could go to a place and do it. I mean, it's illegal in Pennsylvania to do it, so you'd have to go to a like an underground place, or
right.
when the.
But how do you tighten the fishing line? You just turn it.
You just put a knot in. You just keep pushing it. You unknot it, and then keep tightening it and keep tightening it, and it just starts to slit and pull, make the hole bigger.
But doesn't that hurt?
Fuck yeah, it hurts. Yeah, it hurts really bad.
And then you have to eventually get in to just get it cut.
Then you take a scalpel and you cut it, and then you cauterize both sides.
How the fuck that? How what kind of pain is that?
Unbearable.
Is it good for pussy eating?
You are able to have...
you're missing the clit.
Well, you have control over both
right
sides. If people that have their tongues forked can cross them and move them around, they have control of both sides.
Right.
So I would imagine...
Figure 8 on the clit.
So I would imagine you would be able to do some pretty crazy shit.
Wait, so they slice with a scalpel?
Is that real?
Yeah.
This guy split his cock all the way down to his balls?
Yeah, sometimes people split the head, too, so the head splits like this.
Yeah, I've seen
fucking
that.
Twins.
Holy.
They split the cock. I've seen the inside of the cock tattooed. They'll tattoo the inside of the cock, and then they'll put like barbells or whatever all the way up the inside. It's really horrendous.
Yeah. Some people are into some crazy shit.
So wait, they split the tongue. The guy will, after a month, he takes a scalpel and cuts.
Yeah, cuts right down the middle of the tongue.
And it bleeds horribly.
Oh, it's awful. There's blood everywhere.
And how do they cauterize it?
I'm not quite sure how they do it, but they have to...
They use anesthesia or something?
I don't think they do.
Novocaine? What do they do?
This was like a place that was doing it in the basement, and they were sort of doing it like...
what
on the sneak.
fuck?
Yeah, I think it's hard to get licensing to do something like that.
Drink a lot. They also have a good selection of hangers for the ladies.
So, what? I need.
Yeah, there you go.
I need your help today.
That was an abortion joke.
Oh, okay. Jesus.
So what about they cut? How do they stop the tongue from bleeding?
I'm not quite sure how they cauterize. I've never seen it done. I've just seen
Is it
pictures
with
of
heat? The cauterize means they solder it.
Right. They burn it to create it's like instant scarring to the tongue, so it heals like that.
And then there's no way to go back once it's done.
Right.
All right.
I don't comprehend that.
No, let me go to Adam in Jersey. Adam.
Hey, I had a question for this guy who's piercing the cocks. Does he ever practice on, like, squash or cucumbers before he actually did a real one?
Yeah.
The texture's not the same, sir.
But did you practice? That's a good question. Or you just go in there?
Well,
and the person didn't know that you're doing this for the first time.
When I first started, I would tell people that, look, I'm a piercing apprentice, and I'll pierce you for just the jewelry cost, and I would be under the supervision of the person that was teaching me at the time.
Right.
Holy shit.
That's unbelievable. And this guy's saying you're full of shit. Aaron in New York.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, Aaron.
I don't want to bust your bubble there, Troy, but I did my own PA about 11 years ago, and I got an elephant tattooed on my stomach with a full trunk right to the end. Doesn't hurt that bad.
You got a what tattooed on your stomach? Oh, an elephant. Oh,
I have an elephant head tattooed on my stomach with a full trunk.
that's your cock is the trunk?
Oh, yeah.
Well, great. Some people take pain differently. I mean, I know people that get tattoos, and some tattoos hurt and some don't. I mean, everybody's different.
Yeah, but the PA is all soft tissue, and there's no exit on the body piercing because it's going out the urethra. It's really not that bad.
All right. Well, the people that I pierced were screaming, so I don't know what to tell you, sir.
All right, we're just about done with Troy, but Brett in Iowa, you got your tongues split? Brett.
Yeah, I do.
And that's how they do it with the fishing line, and you got to tighten it every day until they get a nice enough hole or something, and then they take a scalpel and split it?
Well, that's not the way we did it on my tongue. I know of people that have done it that way. The way we did it on mine, I had 4 straight piercings in straight line from the tip back, and I gently rose those in size, and then we took a scalpel and opened it up. As far as the cauterizing goes, they if you get it done in a professional shop that actually is licensed to do it, they have to do it laser-wise, but you can't, like Jim said before, you can get it done with basically a hot solder iron and cauterize the wound that way. I had it basically done professionally, but with a laser. And as far as the pain goes, yeah, it's a pretty good painful experience. But
how long did it take them to laser your tongue from bleeding?
Bleeding wise, if it's a rapid procedure like mine was done professionally, it was instant. I mean, I didn't go through the process of the torture with a fishing line and trying to basically all that does is rip your tongue. That is an old procedure right there, and that was back before they started really truly experimenting and getting the procedure down.
And how bad does it hurt?
I would say I've got a pretty good pain threshold. Most people wouldn't be able to handle it very good. I did a little bit of squealing, but not too bad.
All right, there you go. Thank you, Brett. Brett in Iowa.
Thank you.
And
have a good one.
And thank you, Troy Kwan. Tattoo Talk with Troy Kwan.
I tell you, got the phones ringing off the hook.
Well, we had 3 phone calls, Kenny. Let's not get too excited. Are you ready to produce the next segment?
I got to rest.
Well, we got George Wendt coming in next, and then you give us something else we could do.
All right.
After the break, could you at least tease what's coming up? You got 10 minutes to figure it out.
Tease now?
No, you got 10 minutes.
All right.
Right after the break, you'll tell us what's coming up on the show.
Sure.
Your next segment that you're just producing on the fly.
Okay.
All right?
No problem.
George Wendt next. Opie and Anthony. George Wendt making his way into the studio. It's Opie and Jim Norton today. You doing good, Jimmy?
No, I'm extraordinarily cranky today.
You're cranky?
I'm very tired, yeah. I didn't sleep well.
You're cranky. I'm not sleeping yet. Having an 8-day-old in the old house. We got other things going on today as well.
Mike Baker's coming in as well. He's spent 17 years in the CIA. Very smart guy. I've done Red Eye with him many times.
Yeah, with that Times Square incident, we had him on the phone.
Yeah,
he did a great job.
He's a bright dude.
And he's got a book or something he's promoting, right?
I don't know if he's just that or just promoting his security company. I mean...
okay, but he's in town, so he's coming by to say hi. Yeah, he was great on the phone, so...
And we got Nestor Carbonell calling in at 10. We only have him for 10 minutes. He's Richard Alpert on Lost, because it's Lost is tonight, and I think the season finale is Sunday. And he's been, I've loved him this year.
Kind of a drop-off with this whole Lost thing, huh?
Tremendous, dude. I mean, really bad. But him is one guy I don't have a problem. I think he's great.
I mean, I still haven't seen one episode of Lost, but...
You know who he is? He's in The Dark Knight. He played the mayor.
Oh!
Okay, that's
yeah,
him.
right
that's
on, okay.
Nestor. He's been, you know him as soon as you say it.
Yeah, sure. But we're not going to see him because he's going to be on the phone.
Right.
Sam? Oh, you're just coming into film?
Yep.
Oh, Steve's walking him down from the... Okay, we never know when to bring a guest in. Do we bring them in as, because Steve always wants to walk them in, look, I know they're not scheduled for 45 minutes, but they're here if you want me to... Which sometimes makes sense, but I'm getting a text from Steve.
Are you?
Oh, okay.
What?
He said, Wendt is in bathroom. Be right there.
Taking a beer shit.
Yeah, George Wendt's taking a good hangover dump.
Enough about the beer. George Wendt. Wow, man, it's a weird day.
It is.
The timing's off on everything, and then it's all right, well, let's do our George Wendt interview, and no, he's too busy taking a beer shit, so now we got to wait
No, just talk.
Kenny is working on his next segment.
Is he? All right, that's great because the first one was just amazing. So can't wait for the second one.
I don't know if it's great or not.
We got a salute to former intern Sean. We could play right now for everybody. Is Sean coming in though, so we could get his side of the story?
Yep.
As far as Troy Kwan going out with his girlfriend, Troy told that whole story yesterday.
Yeah, he'll come in.
He'll come in. What,
Maybe
Friday
later this
or
week?
yeah,
On Friday, Thursday?
Yeah, let's do that. Here's George Wayne.
Oh
my God, George.
How are you?
Good.
Sit.
How are you, George? Welcome to the Opie and Anthony Show. Fresh as a daisy?
Yeah.
How did the bathroom go? You all right?
Yeah. You have the cameras?
We have cameras in there, yeah. Did you take a good one?
It left my scent.
Huh?
I left my scent.
Oh, you had to drop a deuce before you came in?
Yeah, nice.
What do you, all right, here's the thing.
I want to talk about what he dropped.
Oh, yeah.
Was it solid or was it, was it messy?
It's solid.
Solid? Okay, that's good. That's healthy.
I love the fact that you actually answered that question.
Why not? What are we going to do? Talk about Cheers? He doesn't want to hear about Cheers. Let's talk about our dumps for a while.
Are you tired of hearing about Cheers?
Yeah, whatever.
You don't care?
I don't have an agenda.
All right. So what
other than I need coffee.
We could get you coffee.
No, it's actually
the
press rep is on her way.
What?
The press rep is on her way.
Okay. Is she bringing you coffee? So you tired of, you and who played Cliff? I don't know his name.
John Ratzenberger.
John Ratzenberger is sued because they were using your likenesses in these Cheers-like bars. Was it in airports?
Yeah.
Were they mannequins? Were they dummies or just voices?
They were
like
audio animatronic, like robots.
Yeah.
Do you get tired of being, as a guy who was, it became a very iconic character, do you get tired of being associated with that, like as an actor?
Well, I don't spend much energy like worrying about it, so it doesn't make me tired or anything. But it's not really anything I can control.
But have you gone out for things, or they said we want you for something, but they're like, no, we associate you too much with that?
Oh, yeah, I should think, yeah. Actually, they probably don't even see me, based on that, if that's what they're thinking.
Do you like television now?
Are we on radio now, by the way?
Yes, we are.
I just wondered. I thought we were shooting the shit.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's
actually a compliment.
That's a compliment. That's how we do our radio show. We don't need it all polished and nice, George. We like to talk about your dump, a little Cheers action, and we'll get you out of here so you can go back to bed.
George didn't know if he was actually on there. Yeah, we are on there.
Yeah,
this is where we kind of talk.
You're not a morning person, are you?
No.
Well, if you drink beer, it's tough to be a morning person.
I was actually, out with friends last night, and this really does not fit into my schedule.
What time did you go home?
Not too bad. I was 12:30 or so. But I left to my own devices, it would have been worse.
Really?
Yeah, but I'm a professional.
So you went to bed. You had a few?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. So you were.
How many is a few?
I don't know.
You don't really keep. You don't keep track,
I don't
right?
keep track.
More than 6?
Probably about 6.
About 6?
Maybe it would have been more if I had didn't have a 7 o'clock wake up.
Sure.
So you have to get up and do radio this morning and just promote the paperback. That kind of sucks when you're out and you want to have a few more drinks and you got to.
Yeah. But what are you going to do?
Yeah, the book's about beer.
The book's about beer. Yeah. So I was doing my resurch. That's what I was doing.
Yeah, exactly.
Exhaustive research.
You should come in here really hungover. It would help sell the book. I'm thinking.
So you like? I'm sorry.
Good. No, go.
Are you a hard drinker? I mean, I was at one point too.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it that hard, but I drink pretty much every night.
Every night,
unless I have some reason not to.
Yeah, that would be a hard drinker. I mean,
you think so?
Yeah, man. I mean, okay. Sure.
Good. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Then yes.
It's cool to not have to get up though. Like as a guy, like, you're an actor. You're obviously set because you Cheers an 11-year run you were on.
Yeah,
no?
I wouldn't call myself set.
Yeah,
but,
no. Look at
the
look he gave you.
Crazy.
Well, you have 5 kids?
Yeah, so,
So you don't get the residual checks? You get them, but they're not big checks, is what you're saying.
Yeah, they're okay. I need to keep working and all that.
So you get this impression that a guy does a show.
Like Cheers, you're set for life.
One of the biggest of all time.
Yeah.
Well, I could be set for life if I had, no kids and lived in a, double wide in Idaho or something, I'd be set for life.
Mm-hmm.
Do you are you a guy who's really responsible and smart with money? Like, I got to sock it away? Or are you one of those guys who's just like,
nah,
enjoy it while it's here?
I just enjoyed it, and I did sock a good bit away, but just enough for the kids' college and stuff. So I thought, but no, not even close.
Really? So as time has gone on, the college has got more expensive.
Yeah,
Cost of living goes up.
Yeah.
And now you're at a point where you're like, shit.
Yeah. I better write a book or something.
Is that really? That's a very. Are you scared?
Of
meaning, like, are you
broke?
at a point where you're like, I'm a little worried here about the money?
Yeah. Well, who isn't in this economy?
Mm-hmm. Ted Danson, probably.
Well, no, you'd be surprised.
Really?
Yeah, he's always complaining. I'm like, well,
He's complaining about money?
Well, he has in the past, yeah.
Wow, no kidding.
Yeah, I know, shocking.
You should have. Has Ted invited you to do his new show?
You bored to death?
Yeah.
No, but it's not his show, really. Thanks.
Well, he's the star of the show, though, right?
Yeah, Ted is.
Well, I guess he's the biggest name, but
biggest name
he's
on
not
the
like
show.
the lead guy or anything.
Yeah.
No, he's the second lead to Jason Schwartzman.
Yeah. Jimmy did his show.
I did one episode. Yeah.
So you have something in common. You both did work with Ted Danson. That's kind of cool, Jimmy.
He's actually very a nice guy. It's kind of
you've done
intimidating.
lines with Ted Danson.
Yes, but
that's right.
I had one liner.
As George doesn't get the phone call at home, you're hanging out with Ted Danson. That's got to be comfortable for everybody in the room.
But no, you know what it is? It's probably that it's awkward to use people from the same show in different projects because then all of a sudden it associates everybody with the own show. But I'm interested in the fact that you leave Cheers or Cheers is done and you think, all right, for the rest of my life, I can just kind of cruise, do some plays, whatever, right? Just do what I want to do. And when does the realization hit that, like, shit, the money, there is a cap on it?
It was a couple years ago.
A couple years ago?
Yeah. My youngest is 20 now, so.
You're getting there.
Yeah.
You're getting there.
Yeah. I'm almost off the hook. Almost.
So what happened? He was going to college and.
Yeah, everybody. Yeah, all of them, like.
Are you married?
Yes.
All right. I was wondering if there was a divorce in there because that could hurt.
Nah.
Right.
Ooh, yeah, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Now that might be why Ted was.
Bitches.
Oh, is he a divorced?
Right.
Oh, is he a divorced guy? I didn't
We don't
know
need
that.
to get into that.
Have you done another series since then, or have you worked a lot, or no?
Yeah, I've done a couple of short-lived series, and it's tough sledding out there. I don't know how to. If anyone knew how to make something work, they'd do it all the time. So it's kind of an alchemy thing. It's kind of although Ted's gone on 3 things.
So Becker and then this.
4.
Yeah.
Becker, Damages, this other.
Is it depressing at all? When you look at, you were an actor before that, right? You're going out, you're doing auditions, and then you get Cheers, and it goes to what it goes to, and then when it's over, does it become a point where it's like, it's not like the star treatment anymore? Is there a depression that comes with that?
No.
No. How long does it take to kind of hit home? Like, okay, that's done now. I have to move on to something else.
Yeah, that's a bit of an adjustment because, it was rather dizzying heights. There were parades thrown in our honor and stuff. You feel like the Pope,
right.
Thousands of people on the streets in Boston and stuff. And then, so it's a bit of an adjustment, but it was very sort of amorphous and vague and probably took, over the course of 5 years or something.
And then what was it? It must have been something like, was it something you wanted to do that you weren't able to do? Like a role you wanted to do? Or what was it that hit you that you're like, ugh, all right, now I have to kind of start over a little bit?
Nothing that I can think of right now that was a specific moment, but just in general, you kind of don't get as many meetings or something like that.
Calls don't come back as fast?
Yeah. Sure.
Do you watch the show when it's on?
No.
Why would he?
No, I mean, just like if I'm channel surfing and I run across it, I may just sort of stick with it until the next commercial, kind of going, what was that bit? Oh, yeah, that bit. And that's all.
Do you, when you watch it, does it feel good or is there a kind of a bitterness with it?
No, it's not bitterness at all. But it's just kind of, I guess I'm like any other American. It's just part of the landscape.
Sure is.
So the drinking. I want to get back to the drinking. I like the fact that George was honest. He said he drinks every night.
See, Jimmy stopped drinking and doing drugs at 17.
18.
18, I'm
Yeah, I
sorry,
was
18 years
when I
old.
quit.
He knew he just couldn't do the drinking thing there, George.
I was not a functional guy when I drank. Are you, as a guy who drinks every night, have you had gigs that kind of got messed up because of it? Like you're supposed to have a call at 6 and you get there at 8 or?
No, I don't. When I say every night, it's not, that's if I'm left to my own devices, you know.
Right.
If I have something, like for example, when my kids were in grade school, you know, like I would only drink on weekends because, you know, I had to like hit the deck at 6:30 or something and, you know, feed them, get them out the door, blah, blah, blah.
Because they don't understand hangovers, right, George?
That too. And then the night before, I was always like, you know, now did you do homework? And, you know, so, you know, I was a lot more responsible. But now I'm just sort of sliding back into my, like, college days.
Where you can kind of do what you want?
Kind of, yeah, unless I have a gig.
Does it feel good or does it kind of feel like floating somewhere?
It feels fine. I frankly, I wish I was busier, and then maybe I'd, you know, probably, you know, take care of myself a little better if I was busier.
You mean eating better, or do you mean drinking less, or
just
you know?
just drinking less?
Yeah.
Well,
I eat well.
Are you
probably why?
Are you a vomiter?
No. You mean vomiter
From
like
drinking?
No.
So you never throw it up?
No. Yeah, I have. Yeah. Actually, I did it when a couple summers ago. My brother poisoned me.
And you threw up?
Yes. It was so frat boy. It was like, yeah.
Are you a blackout drinker?
No.
No, you remember everything?
Yeah.
You have to make I used to make the phone calls. There's got to be some calls you make where you're like, what exactly? Where they call you back, you try to piece together the night before, but you have to act like, no, I remember that.
No.
No? So you drink a lot, but it hasn't really affected you that badly.
Well, I don't know. You know, I'm obviously grossly overweight. You know, maybe that's, you know, could have something to do with it. Could be an effect, but no, other than that, I wouldn't say. No.
Does the weight, is it something like, for me, it's sex. You know, I mean, eating is tough. I think eating and sex are very similar because you can't be abstinent. Like, you know what I mean? You can not drink, you can not do drugs, but you can't not fuck, or you can't not be sexual, you can't not eat. So has it been something that's always been a struggle for you where you're like, all right, I kind of want to fix this, or, I mean, how do you kind of take that on?
What? The
weight, yeah.
The weight? You know, just try to, you know, exercise a lot. And if I, you know, obviously I know how to lose weight. The hard part's keeping it off. So, I mean, it's kind of fun to lose weight, you know, because it's all very active and, you know.
When are you going to do that?
Yeah, you can do it pretty easy. It's just, you know, because it's just like maybe several weeks, and it's like, you know, people are like, oh my God, you look fabulous.
Yeah.
And then it just gets really boring.
And it kind of motivates you to lose more
beer.
and then you go right back to.
Yeah. Sounds like you need beer, George. I think that's what Jimmy's getting at. You need beer.
No, George, kind of, you seem like a little, I know you're tired too, because morning radio is a bitch.
Yeah.
But you seem a little bummed. A little
Really?
bit. Yeah, slightly bummed.
Jeez. I don't know. But, you know, maybe if we change the subject, maybe I wouldn't be. But
okay, all right.
But that's, you know, you can talk.
Well, it's hard to change the subject when the book is called Drinking with
I guess
George.
that's what kind of motivated me to talk about it.
Yeah, okay.
Because it leads into the book, A Barstool Professional's Guide to Beer, Drinking with George.
Yeah, that's kind of...
it's fun. Yeah, that's it. It's a laugh a minute.
Well, what could you tell us about the book there, George?
It's just a couple dozen anecdotes from my life regarding beer, you know, involving beer in general. And there's all sorts of tidbits, you know, little factoids about beer and stuff like that.
What made you want to write a book about, obviously you like to drink, but what made you want to write a book about beer? Because your life is probably interesting. I mean, you know, again, you're a guy that everybody knows. Mm-hmm. So what made you want to just tie the alcohol in with it?
Just kind of playing off my image from
his character
show,
was known
you know?
to tip a few back.
Do you get to a point when you're doing a show like where you're on for a long time where you start to want to change direction in the way they're portraying you? I think they said Larry Linville from MASH, who was Frank Burns, they said that was, the producer always said that was one mistake they made, was they never allowed him to kind of go beyond just being idiot Frank Burns. Like everybody else evolved, but he didn't really evolve as a character. When you're doing something for 11 years, do you get to a point where you want to, like, I want this guy to be taken more seriously, or I want this guy to do this, or whatever it is?
Didn't happen to me. I didn't feel that way. It was a big group of folks. There was, 7 or 8 of us usually, series regulars, and it's only 22 minutes, so you kind of had to, make do with your little angle of the show that week, whether it was,
sure.
Whether it was the story was about you, or whether the B story was about you, or, it didn't really matter.
How about Kirstie Alley? You mean, obviously know her well. She's making a weird living now. Like, it's a weird... It's kind of like it's something that obviously hurts her, is being the weight, and she keeps going like
she's pretty fat.
She is, but she's like trying to take it.
No one ever thought she would become a big girl, George. Did you see it on set at Cheers?
No.
Yeah, she's like a completely different person now.
But what's interesting to me is not the fact that she's heavier. It's the way that it's almost like taking something that hurts you and owning it to make it comfortable. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, for me, I'm a perv. I get hookers, all that shit. So a way of me not helping it, and a way of me of fucking owning it.
Yeah.
And using it in my... You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's kind of what seems
I
to
don't know. Yeah.
You don't talk to her anymore?
Yeah,
or?
I speak with her now and then.
Yep.
Yeah. She's hilarious.
But does she get tired of the whole the fat actress thing, or is she comfortable with it? Or
I haven't spoken with her about these issues. Whether she's tired of that, or tired of tabloids, and it's not really what we talk about. But so I can't speak for her. And she speaks so well for herself. So.
Yeah, she is. I mean, I'm just kind of, I guess, from my own experience, just interested. That's all.
Yeah.
I read half your book, George, and I didn't get to the end where you have a whole chapter on rehab, I noticed. I didn't get there yet. What's your thoughts on rehab? Because there's a quote that starts the chapter. It says, "Why is it that when you drink 7 nights a week in college, you're a partier, but after that, you're an alcoholic?" So you don't believe in rehab, right?
Well, yeah, no, I have lots of friends and family, indeed, in rehab. And... rehab. Well, in recovery is.
Recovery, sure, yeah.
And, and I think it's awesome. And, I've thought about it as a career move. Because I think there's some serious networking done at those meetings, But I've also thought about becoming a Cub fan as a career move, just because all the cool guys are.
But have you thought about quitting? Like, I'm not saying you need to. I just don't know you. But...
no, I've quit from time to time. Not in a comprehensive way where I've joined the program or anything like that, but just out of discipline,
Just because say, like, all right, I know this might be getting a little out of hand, so I want to see if I can do it for X amount of time.
No, not because I thought it was getting out of hand. Just because, I was on a diet, or because, I just felt like it.
What's the longest you're able to stop? Or that you chose to stop?
6 weeks, maybe a couple months, something like that.
How good did that first one feel?
That was great. I was in Amsterdam. I was like, I know I'm going to drink again, have a beer again.
Yeah.
So, like, if I don't have a beer in Amsterdam, and then
well, of course.
I'm going to be, like, down at the corner and just, have some crap beer.
When you were, you kind of, it's kind of hard when you're portrayed as a guy in a show who drinks. That's your thing. You're the guy who's sitting there with a beer, you're Norm. Did that kind of make you drink more, or were you like, was that the guy you were when you kind of came in?
Kind of was the guy when I came in. A lifetime in the making, the preparation for the role. And
it happened to work out, and it happened to give you a great role.
Yeah.
So you write a book about drinking. I don't mean to obsess over the drinking. It's just, it is the book.
Yeah, it is the book.
Because to me, we write what we know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've written stuff, and it's like you kind of write with the stuff that's good about you and the stuff that's bad about you. So to me, like, the fact that George wrote this, and you could have written about anything, because, again, you are who you are. It says something. It's like, I know you love beer and it's fun, but that to me, that's like, that's owning something that is, at times, maybe frightening.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think so.
Kind of like the Kirstie thing?
In a way, for me, the sex, yeah. Or in a way, owning stuff that is, we're somehow taking something that's bad and hurting me and making it work for me.
Mm-hmm.
That's just why. I guess that's why I'm talking on it.
That's okay. You can talk whatever you want.
Now this is the soft cover, right?
Paperback.
So, paperback. I mean, so did you add anything to the paperback that wasn't in the original book?
I added one more thank you or something.
That was it. The cover is softer.
Yeah.
Good for you, man.
Did you?
No, why would I add to?
Well, no, that's what people do to sell more copies.
Oh,
you
like
add a
the
little to the
special
paperback,
version,
so
the
the people, the people that bought the hardcover go, "Wow, now I need the paperback because he added a chapter."
I've added chapters to both books and paperback because it kind of motivated people to go out, because they're like, "Why would I buy the same book I have?"
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Just it kind of, all right, I'll buy it because it's $15 instead of $25. It's got an extra chapter.
I think that's all I was thinking. But what? I guess.
Let me go to the phones. Kevin from Connecticut. We got George Wendt in studio from Cheers fame, of course. Kevin, what do you got?
No.
He can't hear you, buddy. He's got George Wendt.
He yelled Norm, which is kind
I
of
could
fun.
hear that actually.
Yeah, it's fun, right?
The table.
Fun for everyone.
Yeah.
Kevin, what do you got?
When you were on Cheers, did you actually drink beer?
Nah, it was fake beer, non-alcoholic beer.
Couldn't drink it?
The director
real
thought
beer?
with cast might get sluggish, according to
I'm
our
having
director.
real beer right now for you, buddy.
Really? All right.
Now, there was never a time that there was a real beer just for the hell of it?
Oh, yeah, towards the end of the
course.
evening, we convinced the prop man to slip some real beers in because we were mostly done.
Yeah, they had their takes, and, sure. Why not enjoy a beer?
What's that, sir?
One last thing.
About the beer.
Loved you in Dreamscape, buddy.
Oh, yeah, Dreamscape.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Let me say hi to Greg in Jersey. Greg?
Hey, what's up, George? How you doing?
Good.
Hey, George, I was at I was a Paramount VIP for the last episode.
Mm-hmm.
What time did you guys start drinking? Because the whole cast, you guys were all shit-faced.
You talking about in Boston when the episode aired?
Correct.
We started drinking when the show aired. When we got there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it was a 2-hour show, and nobody thought to feed us, and we were just a little lit up.
Oh, a bunch of booze, no food.
Yeah.
Is it hard? Go, sorry,
Hey, Jimmy, stop being such a freaking downer, too. Let the guy drink.
I'm not being it down and not letting him drink.
Yeah,
Sir,
really.
it's like I believe me, I relate to George in a certain way, and he's written a book about something. So what kind of an idiot would I be if I didn't talk about the guy he comes in, he goes, and this I'm not saying how you doing? I'm hungover. All right, my book. What's it called? Drinking with George. All right, well, how do we not go there? To me, that's really interesting.
Of course,
that's great.
I didn't say I was hungover. I hadn't had coffee yet.
All right, actually, all right. You're correct. I did say
it's a big part of his life, the beer.
It is.
Do you drink anything else?
Yeah, the odd shooters.
The odd shooters, sure.
Yeah.
So what is your I guess what's your favorite beer? I have to ask.
Oh,
you that.
that's a great question.
Honestly, I don't. I'm a creature of whim. Like I just like.
Let's make
can
history
stand
today,
there.
because I know you've never
No.
said what your favorite beer is. Let's make history today. What's your favorite beer, if you had to say?
I swear to God, I can't do it.
I believe him too. I really do. What beer sucks? There's got to be one that you won't drink.
I don't really like the some of the new craft brews that are like seasonal and fruity and pumpkiny and raspberry. Those.
You want
sorts
to taste
of
like
types
fucking
of,
beer.
Yeah, I like beer and yellow or dark or in between. I'm sort of digging the craft brews, obviously, but I'll just grab a 6-pack of anything. Depending on how I feel.
I used to drink the beer I found was awful was because I was young. I couldn't have no money. So one of them was Meister. You ever drink Meisterbrow?
Meisterbrow.
Yeah, it's fucking terrible, but you can get a cake for it. Oh, but we never drank it cold. We only drank it warm.
Okay, see, that's a problem.
You gotta chill it up a little bit.
$8 for a case of beer. So you could drink Meisterbrow?
Yeah. Yeah.
George is definitely a fucking drinker. anyone who says Meisterbrow, that's not bad.
Sure.
It was terrible.
Really?
Oh.
When will you have your first beer today?
Yeah, what time? We don't have any here. We'd offer you.
Yeah.
It would be kind of fun if he was drinking a beer while talking about his Drinking with George book.
Right. I'll
Why
have the
not?
coffee. What? Because I don't drink in the daytime.
You started pretty much. You make yourself wait till.
Yeah, that's why I hate like daylight savings time. Like,
Yeah,
what the hell? Come on, go down already.
Are the shakes real bad as you wait wait for the sun to go
Yeah,
down?
I'm shaking away.
No, but have you had? Do you make yourself wait? Like, all right, like I'd like to indulge a little bit, but I better wait until.
Yeah, actually, like when the game comes on at 6 out west or something, I'm kind of like, it's like still 2 hours of daylight. I don't really, so you're a little bit thrown off.
Right.
Yeah.
Does the wife give you crap about it, or the kids like, yeah,
No.
come on? No, they don't care.
All right. Let me say hi to Steve in Florida. We got George Wendt in studio.
Hey, George, how you doing?
Good.
Listen, I saw you at the Great American Beer Fest in Denver, Colorado. Tell us a little bit about that. I know you made the appearance. I guess you kind of signed in some autographs or whatever, but did you get a chance to enjoy the beer, and what you think about the different regions and all?
It's really kind of shocking, the quality of the craft brew, movement in America, at least. I'm sure all over the world, but it just blows my mind. Like, everything is just ridiculously good.
What was this beer event?
Great American Beer Festival in Denver, and it's probably they give out awards, and it's probably the biggest award thing for America.
For the beer itself?
For beers, various categories of beers.
Did you go out there, or did they bring you out as a celebrity?
I think I went out there by way of trying to promote my book.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you went out there to kind of be around a bunch of other
drunks.
Yeah.
Well, my book wasn't released yet, so it was kind of not the best timing in the world, because I couldn't really sell any or sign any, or how they do,
How long before the book came out did you promote there?
Kind of just a few weeks before. So the timing was bad, but I'll go back, say, next year if possible, and be like selling the merch, if you will.
Do you think television now is what happened? I find this getting a bunch of shit now on Family Guy because of some anti-Vietnam War joke or whatever. But doesn't it seem like the only place we allow any type of edgy comedy anymore on TV is in cartoons? I mean, what do you think, as a guy who was in a successful show, about what is being passed off, I guess, as edgy comedy or whatever on sitcoms now?
Yeah, I don't pay much attention to a lot of shows, so I'm not a good person to answer that. But a lot of the comedy is very soft, and if they try to be edgy, it's it's really more fun on the cartoons, because they're just so fast. Like, for example, Family Guy, it's just hilarious, but they say stuff and it's over, and it's like, did he? Whoa, what?
Yeah,
and the references are so fast and funny that it's like a freight train. You just can't.
You guys want the clip that you're referencing, Jim?
Yeah,
so I have it if you want.
Okay, yeah, this was on this week's, I think, South Park.
Sunday's Family Guy.
Oh, Family Guy, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. If it ever goes.
There is it's actually a very funny part in this where they have it stopped playing. There's two they show the Washington Monument. Oh.
There it is, Washington, D.C., the seat of government for the world's former most powerful nation.
Wow, those are all the monuments I read about in school. There's the Washington Monument.
The Washington
There's
Monument.
the Obama Monument.
It's black, much bigger.
See, because.
And there's the Vietnam War Memorial.
Hey, check out that Vietnamese guy giving the business to those Vietnam vets.
Scoreboard! Scoreboard! Oh, what happened to your friend? Hey, I know that guy. I kill him. He cried like a bitch.
Holy
Vietnam,
shit.
undefeated.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a rough one.
Wow.
So you don't really watch most of sitcoms or anything like that?
Not really. What I think I've seen, like Curb Your Enthusiasm, I'll watch, and it's not judgmental or anything.
I'm judging. I think most of it's terrible. It's because I think they're too afraid of being offensive. They're too afraid of getting the letters from people. I mean, even Sam Malone. It's like he's just a drinker who wanted to bang a bunch of chicks in a bar. He's in recovery, but he wanted to bang a bunch of chicks. And the idea of wanting to bang a bunch of girls now in a sitcom, they'd probably go, well, it's not really likable. He should be.
Yeah, except for Charlie Sheen does that, and
in real life, yeah.
Well, in the show, come on now.
I'm hearing that George has to go.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah, they're saying you got to go.
The book is called.
I mean, we could talk to you all day.
It's called
He's gotta go. Yeah.
Drinking with George, a Barstool Professional's Guide to Beer. Have you done signings and stuff?
Yeah.
All right. Are you doing any for this now on the software?
I don't think that's...
Did you want to do promo for this? Or they kind of like, you got to get out and do some promo and you're like...
No, I think I wanted to do it. I mean, I definitely wanted to do it.
What else are you doing?
Not much.
He's drinking beer,
a lot of
Jimmy.
theater lately.
Oh, you are? I meant for the book.
For the book, yeah, various radio and that's about it.
Are you doing plays?
Yeah.
Do you like theater acting?
Yeah.
I think I'm terrible at it. I've tried it. It's fucking hard, man. Because you have to kind of project out, but not look like you're talking unnaturally.
Yeah, and then they mic you these days, which is a bit odd. So it's a bit of adjustment if you're not mic'd.
How much do you despise cell phones and beepers and all that shit?
It's all right. It doesn't bother me that much, but it's pretty funny how they go off sometimes.
He's got to go.
I really haven't hit one thing that George relates to. I'm suck. My apologies, Mr.
No,
Lynch.
it was a fine interview, but
you're a very nice guy.
They're saying he really has to go.
I don't know what you're talking about, but if you're giving me the hook, fine, whatever. I thought I was here till 8:30. We're waiting a word.
Unless I misheard, I was told he had to be somewhere at 8:30. So.
See, George, I wasn't giving you the hook.
Got to be across the street at 9.
Oh, they gave us the wrong information. We have you at 7:45, and we have Mike Baker.
There you go. See, you got somebody waiting in the wings.
No. But we have him till 8:15. But I think we were told that you had to leave at 8:15.
Whatever. Peachy.
All right.
Well, what's going
I do
on?
what I'm told. I don't care.
You don't care?
What happened?
I don't know. I don't think George is happy, and I like George. I don't feel like he's happy. I don't know why. I don't want you to be upset with us.
No, I'm fine.
I thought he had to go. That's all. I wasn't giving you the hook. Now I feel awkward.
No, I don't feel awkward. I got to pee anyway. I mean, we talked for a half hour. That's fine. But
cool.
Mike Baker is here, so I guess we should take a break.
All right.
Because I'm going to take a leak. But I have the feeling like you feel like you're annoyed at us. I don't want you to be annoyed at us.
You're right, George.
It's fine.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did we go too far with the drinking? Maybe.
Wasn't intentional.
It was all based on
Was it good
the book.
for you?
It was all based on the book. Drinking with George.
I mean, no, we weren't. Look, I wasn't talking about that to make you uncomfortable. It's something I talk about. We do 5 hours a day here, so you kind of cover everything for a long period of time. And
sure.
I've talked a lot about my own drinking, my own, I guess, demons. And I don't know. That's
You
fine.
think he's got demons?
Like any of us do. I mean, I don't think George.
What's your demons, George?
Gosh, I don't know. I never thought about it. Children.
You don't like children?
No.
I want to hug George. I really like George Wendt.
Could you give Jimmy a hug?
Before we go, I'll hug him. I don't know if he wants to hug.
We're gonna hug. We're gonna hug.
Like men. I don't mean in a soft. I
Like
want
a
you to-
Viking.
Yeah, like men.
Like men. How
All right.
men hug.
Yeah. All right. Well, this ended a little awkwardly. Let's be honest. It was an odd time for all of us.
I think George hates us now.
I don't want George to hate us for real. I want George to
Come
feel
back
okay.
and enjoy our show.
All right.
All right. Well, I do have to leak, so we'll take a leak. Hold on, we're all going to break.
Yeah, that was all right, man.
I don't want George just to leave while we're talking.
Kenny?
Hi.
Kenny.
I want to take a photo with you.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, what are you on a commercial break now?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Thanks for coming in, sir.
Sure.
Marge, can you photograph Mr. Wendt and myself? He's a very nice guy.
Jimmy getting a photograph with George Wendt. The great George Wendt. That's what I say, George.
Thanks.
Thank you, George.
Lid for my. Thank you. I'm gonna take a leak. My morning drug. Okay.
Huh? That was good.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem, man. Good luck with the book.
Enjoy it.
All right.
Be well, George.
There goes George Wendt. The great George Wendt.
I do have to piss.
Huh?
I do have to piss.
Speaker on the hallway. Eric's trying to get something signed.
Oh, okay.
Coming up, my next segment.
Oh, what's your next segment, Kenny?
Well, you'll have to sit through the commercials.
Are you excited about the next segment as you produce the show today?
Yes, sir.
It's one of those really, really weird days.
It's a great day.
It is a great day.
It's raining in New York.
Yeah.
The only thing that would make it better is thunder and lightning.
Yeah. What's up, Jimmy?
He's a nice guy. He just strikes me as very sad. He strikes me as a really sad guy. Like, I feel like we missed something with him.
He hasn't done a fucking thing since Cheers.
But I mean, like, he's on the edge of...
Dude, he's a mess.
Yeah, he is a mess.
What's wrong, Sam?
But he was a nice guy.
Sam?
Mr. Went chose not to do liners for the show.
Oh, no?
No.
All right.
Wait, ask him why. Bring him back.
No.
Bring him back.
Bring him back in.
Bring him back in here.
Eric,
E-Rock, get him. E-Rock.
He's not mad. He just has no idea what all this was. What happened? Yeah.
Wait, bring him back.
What's he?
Go get him. Go get him. Tell him we're back on the air.
But what was weird, though, is like, I was being very honest with the guy.
Look.
I wasn't being rude to him. Was I rude to him?
No. He's a very talented guy. He's not working because he's drinking too much. And that's sort of what you were trying to get at. Subtly, without being a dick.
But I was only like trying to get him to talk about it because to me that's interesting. It's like, I mean, I would talk about.
E-Rock's back.
Oh boy.
What happened?
Yeah, he's done.
All right, fuck him.
What?
You know, I asked him. I said we just came back. They just finished doing live reads. We wanted to see if you had more time. Would you like to come back on and continue? And he goes, "No, I really have nothing more to say here." So,
but he had nothing to say to begin with.
Yeah, he was
going to
very.
the bathroom,
I wonder if he heard any of the show before.
No, you see him; he's a mess.
Yeah,
he's tired and he's very hungover. In my opinion,
I think he's also probably hypersensitive to the
drinking thing,
alcoholism thing. Like,
I understand he is, and
like
I
he
don't.
doesn't want people to take drinking out of the context of it's a fun thing.
No, I understand that, but
he wanted us to just keep the drinking as a fun thing, which is
I can't do that. Like I don't.
That's tough for Jimmy
because it's not honest. It's like I'm honest about what I am.
And where you come from, that's almost impossible to do. You've seen what drinking could do to you personally and the people around you. So it's tough for Jimmy just to turn all that off and go, okay, drinking is fun, yay.
But you know how when Ozzy's here, he'll talk about the horror stories. But it's never a bummy interview. It's always a fun interview. And yet he's talking, he admits that he almost choked his wife. Or he talks about the horrific things. And when a guy comes in after writing a book about beer and says, I'm like too tired, you have to ask.
Sam nailed it, though.
Yeah.
His book is called Drinking with George. It's all just fun things about drinking. The rehab quote I read, we twisted that around. And he wanted us to just keep it all fun, like beer is fun. And
I didn't think
let's party, and And we took a serious approach with that, and he was not prepared.
Trying to ask him real questions, like what happens when, do you feel like the money's going to run? I'm interested in that. A guy's been on top for 11 years.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. I apologize if I fucked up.
I don't think you fucked up.
All right.
I mean, I think we did our best with him. I don't think it's one for the ages, right?
Not at all. But to me, the interesting part of that was his.
They're saying you got to go. What? Really? What? Who?
No, they didn't.
What happened?
Apparently, George Wendt's Wikipedia has been updated since this interview.
And what does it say? He's a nice
He's
guy.
a very nice guy.
It says
he looks like he's in rough shape, though, man. Ted Danson doesn't look like that. Even Fat Kirstie Alley doesn't look like that.
And he mentioned the weight.
Woody Harrelson doesn't look like that. Shelley Long doesn't look like that. Jay Thomas doesn't look like that. We see him every day. George has, in my opinion, a drinking problem that's getting in the way of some things. Maybe it's not our place to have an intervention with a fucking sitcom legend, but
I didn't want to have an intervention. It was just like if you're talking about, if you write a book about it. Again, I know what this is because I wrote a book about it. About the fucking perversion. I get it. She's doing fat actors. It all ties in. We're all fucking addicts on some level. So just come on.
Yeah.
Talk about what it's doing to you.
Yeah.
I don't know. To me, that's more interesting
What
than.
was he talking about? Like a workout program. What is he talking about? When did he? What?
The exercises.
I said, when are you going to start? I didn't know. Mars, did you like that interview?
It was a little slow.
A little slow.
Just a little slow.
To me, he didn't seem like a dick, though. He seemed really depressed and really bummed out.
I think because we took the serious approach. I think he really wanted to keep it fun with just beer. Beer, fun, drink,
But he
fun.
wasn't in a fun vibe when he came in.
It's true. He came in very low energy.
He came in very low energy, like a guy who had too many beers last night. So how do you not talk? What are we going to...
His eyes look like he's dealing with maybe too many beers last night.
All right, well, if the listeners are annoyed, I'll take the hit on this one.
They're all right. You did a great job. What are we going to do? We're not going to keep beer fun when there's another angle we could take. Your angle was great.
I don't even mind keeping beer fun if he was in a fun mood.
What?
Instant feedback made me laugh. Somebody on a cell phone says, "How does Coach look?" It just made me giggle.
All right, good.
If he came in like in a kind of a jocular, upbeat mood, when hey guys, hey, what's up, man? I'm just drinking. Then you do the interview. But when a guy comes in and he looks like he just needs to be laid down and have a fucking and be held,
where do you think it went wrong? When I mentioned that Ted Danson hasn't called him yet, but Jimmy has done the show with him?
No, he was bummed before that. The drinking got him, I think.
What was the first question? No, he sat down weird.
Yeah, no.
When we talked about his liquid dump?
Oh, yeah, because he was squeezing one out in the bathroom.
Oh, yeah, and you asked for a solid.
Carolina man says that was radio molasses.
I was also glad that he wasn't wearing headphones when you mumbled, "Ha ha ha, this sucks."
I mean, well, kind of did though.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to try to beat the guy up.
No.
He wasn't a jerk or anything, but it was just it was like the proverbial pulling teeth, though.
You want the beginning? Because Travis
Yeah,
has
what's
it
the
if you want.
beginning?
Yeah, let's see where it went wrong. George went. Wow, man.
He did go.
It's a weird day.
It is.
Like the timing's off on everything, and then it's like, all right, well, let's do our George Wendt interview, and no, he's too busy taking a beer shit. So now we got to wait.
Kenny is working on his next segment.
Is he? All right, that's great because the first one was just amazing. So can't wait for the second one.
I don't know if it's great or not.
We got a salute to former intern Sean. We can play right now for everybody. Is Sean coming in though, so we could get his side of the story?
Yep.
As far as Troy Kwan going out with his girlfriend, Troy told that whole story yesterday.
Yeah, he'll come in.
He'll come in. What,
Maybe later
Friday?
this
Or
week.
I'm sorry,
yeah,
I'm back
Friday.
Sure.
Yeah, let's do that. Here's George Wendt. Oh my God! All right, so
George.
can you pause that, Travis? Thank you. That was me reacting to what he looked like.
Yeah.
He came in here really slow. His eyes were like, he looked really tired, possibly hungover. I don't know. And that's why the Jesus Christ, like, oh, this is going to be rough.
Yeah.
All right, continue, Travis. Oh my God. George.
How are you?
Good. Sit. How are you, George? Welcome to the Opie and Anthony Show. Fresh as a daisy?
Yeah.
How did the bathroom go? You all right?
Yeah. You have the cameras?
We have cameras in there, yeah. Did you take a good one?
It left my scent.
Huh?
I left my scent.
Oh, you had to drop a deuce before you came in?
Yeah, nice.
All right, here's the thing.
But I want to talk about what he dropped.
Oh, yeah.
Was it solid or was it, was it messy?
It's solid.
Solid? Okay,
Yeah.
that's good. That's healthy.
I love the fact that you actually answered that question.
Why not? What are we going to do? Talk about Cheers? He doesn't want to hear about Cheers. Let's talk about our dumps for a while.
Are you tired of hearing about Cheers?
Whatever.
You don't care?
I don't have an agenda.
All right. So what
Other than I need coffee.
We could get you coffee.
No, it's actually
the
press rep is on her way.
What?
The press rep is on her way.
All right.
She bringing you coffee?
You can stop this.
He didn't realize that you guys were on the air when he was talking about his dumps.
Well, how about the on-air light was on?
I mean, I'm not saying you're to blame.
I mean,
but
you said welcome to the Opie and Anthony show.
I did, right?
Yeah, we have headphones on.
See, that was rough right from
We
the
have headphones on.
Well, you're talking into mics, which is not
right. Which is not a normal practice when you're not doing a radio show. That was rough. What do you do with that?
The first minute was like, all right, we joke a little bit and then get into...
Right.
But he seemed very down.
Yeah, we were trying to get the energy up and get a rhythm going. It started out okay. It could have went much better from that point, but never did.
Oof.
Are you just annoyed by it?
No.
Yeah.
He's not, because he wasn't being mean or he wasn't trying to be a dick. He's just hung over and a little bummed. I think it really gets to him. He's probably running out of money. I don't know if he is or not, but that's the indication I got.
Right. Well, you got to do something about it.
It's rough. It's rough when you're fucking on top for all those years.
Right. Yeah, he had a great run. All right, why don't we take a break? We got Mike Baker coming in, right?
Yes, we do.
He's going to be a great guest.
Hope he's hung over. How great would that be?
That would be wonderful.
He's just sad and bummed out.
That'd be wonderful. And Club Soda Kenny's next segment as he attempts to produce the show today a little bit.
Yes, sir.
Could you announce the next segment just so people could look forward to it? So they have something to look forward to today?
Coming up on the Opie and Anthony show, Opie and Anthony, blind item gossip.
Really?
I'll say.
You're one of those gossip people now?
Oh, I got some doozies.
You got a few of them?
Yeah.
All right, good. We'll do that next. All right.
I'm not on.
Oh, yeah, we're on. It's me and Jimmy today. I was telling these guys I loved the George Wendt interview because it was so weird and
bizarre,
awkward, and we all remember Norm from Cheers as being the fun guy. Everybody wanted to be around him, and we got a much different Norm today. We tried everything.
Yeah,
we really did. And now he's mad at us, and I don't even know why. Why is he mad at us? What were we supposed to do?
Because he's hung. Here's why he's mad at us. Because he's probably tired. Maybe he's not feeling up to sorts.
Yeah, we don't know.
And then he's immediately confronted with questions about alcoholism.
And people are like, why couldn't you keep it fun? Like, you know.
Oh, fuck. Whoever said that.
I'm just saying.
Dick.
No, I laugh, though, because they're like, why couldn't you just keep it fun? You know, beer is fun type of thing, because it's George Wendt.
That's boring.
Thank you.
Who gives a shit?
Thank you. I think to go the other way and make it uncomfortable for everybody was the way to go.
But to me, it was only what interests me. Like, I didn't think that you can do a lot with somebody who just thinks beer. Like, yeah, beer is cool. Yeah, I love beer.
Beer.
Right.
Right, Danny?
I'm 40.
What, were we supposed to keep it fun? Huh?
Well, some of them other kind of beers we got.
No kidding, but I said he couldn't even name a beer that he sort of likes the best.
Budweiser?
I even go, hey, what's your favorite beer? I go, if you had to say, Danny, if you had to say, what's your favorite beer?
I'm a Guinness man.
If I would say Corona, which is, I know, but I would say Corona.
I think you know, especially if you're writing a book that's based around beer and drinking it. I'm pretty sure you have your favorites and your least favorites.
I should have asked, what's your top 10 favorite beers? Then maybe. Maybe he didn't want to commit to any beer because he's waiting for that big endorsement still.
I know what beers I don't like.
Yeah.
You know?
Did he do the Miller commercials? Did George Wendt ever do a beer commercial?
I'll have to look it up. I'm not sure.
Because maybe he's holding out because he was like, well, if I mention Budweiser, you know, then I won't get you know, Coors or whoever, you know, calling me for the big beer endorsement. I don't know.
Coors.
Hey, Kenny, what's going on? Kenny's producing the show today, or sort of producing the show today. He's helping us out because everyone has to step up today.
Yeah, good morning, and let me tell you, it's a terrific show.
Yeah, what do you like about it so far?
Just the awkwardness of everything.
I don't want to hear that. What, Sam?
I'm just saying, I don't know why you guys are saying that the whole show has been a bizarro show from the get-go.
Yeah, you're listening to one of those. Look, and call last minute. We're making this up as we go. I could have said fuck it. Jimmy could have said fuck it.
No,
I got a newborn at home. I could go home.
I'm just,
and no one's going to question it.
I would have been in this mood with Ann here too. And it's, honestly, I would have been. I'm
not in a bad mood. I'm not in a bad mood or anything. I'm just saying that, you know, that started the bizarro show today.
I feel terrific.
You do?
Yeah.
Was George a little? What was it like behind the scenes with George?
Fuck that fat fuck.
Oh, Kenny. He seems like a nice guy.
No, fat guys are usually jolly, rotund.
Right?
You know, he came in. He probably doesn't like talking about shit. Personally, I love talking about shit.
I thought he kind of went with that. I thought
he didn't think he was on the air.
Oh,
for
that's
a million
why
people to hear.
Well, what we're supposed to explain? We're on the air. There's an on-air light on.
Yeah,
we
and
have
we're holding
headphones. We got
mic we're talking
microphones in
into.
front of us.
Yeah, the hell with him. He's yesterday's news. Let's talk about Opie and Anthony blind gossip items.
All right. Ian Halpern does this. By the way, Ian Halpern gave us the scoop on Matt Lauer, but didn't mention him by name when he said TV host having an affair. And Matt Lauer is denying that is the case, but that's the guy that Ian Halpern was talking about in one of those blind items a couple weeks ago. Yeah. Yes. But Lauer's saying no fucking way, it's just not true. So, but we got our own blind items with Club Soda Kenny. Go ahead, Kenny.
Yeah.
What's the music?
Do we need dramatic music for everything?
Kind of do. But you don't. How about a dance song? Because you like the strobe.
Show tunes, anything.
No, what dance song would you like for your blind item, Danny?
Yeah, how about one of those faggoty disco songs that Kenny listens to?
Oh, Kenny, see what Danny just did there?
I know.
That was a shock.
It's all right. It's okay. It's par for the course for Mr. Negative Energy.
I'm negative energy when this guy's falling asleep on the couch. I'm negative energy. That's nice.
Yes,
Sleeping
Kenny?
has nothing to do with being, a
Kenny,
negative Nancy.
It's no big surprise you don't like me. Say whatever you're going to say.
You keep insisting that.
You think Kenny doesn't like you, Danny?
I know Kenny doesn't like me.
How do you know?
The way that you've treated me over the last 4 years.
How is that?
Kenny, why don't you do your little bit?
No. Let's do this bit.
Let's do blind items.
No, people love
Kenny.
this nonsense. Explain to me how and why I don't like you.
No.
You brought it up.
That's a fair question.
Let's see. I'm not allowed to get breakfast, my order in here anymore, so I have to actually leave the room. Kenny has instructed interns to not come in here and get anything for me or bring me anything in here. Maybe that has something to do with it.
Okay, incorrect.
Well, point counterpoint there.
Well, what's Kenny? What's Danny's thinking something? What's the
he's blaming me for something I shouldn't have the blame for. All right? It was brought to the executive producer's attention that it was distracting for interns to come in and for you to order breakfast.
Okay,
so why I get the blame for that is beyond me.
There's so many things that I should have kept a list because now they're in one ear and out the other.
Okay, well, your first
so
one was
things.
Incorrect. What's your next one?
Kenny, just
But there's
do whatever
so
you're gonna
many.
Do whatever you're doing, Kenny.
No, there's so many. You know what? I'll give you 5 minutes to think.
Thanks, Ken.
Are you mad now? You took your headphones off?
No, I'm not. Go ahead.
Oh my goodness.
You brought it up. How am I Mr. Negative Energy if we're going to come up with lists of things to talk about? Go ahead.
No, the ball's in your court.
No, I want to know because that's what was brought up first.
No,
so
you
how am I
said-
Mr. Negative Energy then?
You said I don't like you, and I'm waiting for the reasons to justify your statement.
Well, where did your statement come from? Where was that? Where'd you
Mr.
pull that out
Negative,
of your house
ask
from?
anybody on the staff.
No,
All
ask
do-
you because
All
you
right.
don't like me. So I'm Mr. Negative Energy to you.
You mean nothing to me. It's not that I don't like you. You mean nothing to me.
Okay.
All right.
But
But the thing is, take a poll. All right. If Danny doesn't do it, Danny doesn't like it and thinks it's a shit idea.
That's not true at all.
Take a poll.
Where should I take it?
With the staff. That's where you should take it.
Okay.
All right, but I'm still waiting for you to justify why you think I don't like you, because one time they were talking about you,
Kenny.
and I piled on just to be funny, and you go, "Oh, I never knew Kenny didn't like me." I was just
I've told this
piling
story
on
before.
to be funny.
We used to joke around at CBS all the time, and it was always Sam time, and you didn't want to. There was never any friendliness with me, so I just let it go. It's obvious, Kenny. It's obvious.
Said the blind man. If it's so obvious, how come you
How about
can't
we take a
justify anything?
Okay.
Wait, do you have your own poll?
No, I don't.
You said how about we take a poll?
It's true.
Who's supposed to talk? You?
George went back in here.
So there's no problem between you and him?
No, look. Does it bother me he doesn't say hello to me every day? No. A lot of people despise me. It's okay. It's all right. He thinks I don't like him. That's fine. He tells people he thinks I don't like him. I know he tells people. But it's fine. I don't think anything of him not to dislike him.
Danny, how come you think Kenny doesn't like you, though? I mean, that's a fair question. I mean, you know
just the way that I've interacted with Kenny over the last 5 years that I've known the guy, that's the impression that I get.
No. I've had one bad interaction with you that I can remember, which you can blame on alcohol.
What happened?
He was sneaking people backstage at
First
a
of all, that's not
Traveling
true.
Virus show.
First of all, that's not true right off the bat. So if you want to talk about truths and non-truths, that's not true. There was no alcohol involved, first of all. Second of all, if you really want to get into this, there was no sneaking at all. The pass was an escort pass. I had some friends at the show. They said, hey, can we go? I wasn't bringing 1,000 people backstage. I was escorting a couple of friends of mine and then escorting them out. And it was to my knowledge that was okay. And then I got dragged aside by Kenny, who screamed in my face. And that was the end of it. Kenny? And since that day, I don't think me and Kenny have ever gotten along on anything.
That was it? Before that, it was nice?
That's not even worthy of me to debate about him.
Why?
Because he knows he was drinking that day.
Wow,
right?
Kenny, really?
Yeah. You weren't?
Maybe I had a beer or two, but you make it sound like I was some fall-down drunk. Just going, all my friends can come back and party. It was nothing remotely close to that.
All right.
Yeah, all right.
Who are you trying to convince, me or you or the radio listeners?
Kenny, I'm just telling you what happened. I don't give a fuck what you think. I'm telling you how it happened.
I'm wrong. You're right. Excuse me.
Dude, I'm just telling you. I don't give a fuck what you think. I'm just telling you. That's how it went down. I remember it quite clearly.
Of course you do.
And that's how it was.
That's why you didn't bring it up, because you remember it so clearly. When you said there was so many reasons.
Yeah,
What's next?
Your bid, apparently.
See? He just wants to change the subject.
Would that be negative?
No, he just, he doesn't want to talk about it.
Maybe because Danny's saying he wasn't bringing people back that were. So what made you think that he was bringing back people that weren't supposed to be back there? Because I honestly don't remember.
Because I was standing right next to him when he was whispering to all his friends, bringing them through the stage door. He didn't even realize I was there.
Dude, what are you even talking about? How many of my friends were backstage at one time?
That I don't know.
One, because I was told that you could with the pass or whatever it was. It was explained to me that you could escort somebody back there. That's how it was explained to me. I wasn't leaving a group of people back there. I would escort them in and I would escort them out. And then for some reason, all of a sudden, it was a problem, and then it didn't happen again.
It was a problem because you were wrong and you were spoken to about it. That was a show. It wasn't a free-for-all party.
I understand,
backstage.
and I don't feel that it was a free-for-all. I felt that given the parameters that were in place, I didn't feel like I was doing anything wrong. When you had alerted me to the fact that it was not appropriate, I stopped. But I felt that
that's true.
In the way, well, that's fine, and you have, and you could run, you could run your security however you'd like, and that's fine, and I respect that, and I did respect that. I felt that maybe the reaction was a little over the top, but your view of your recollection of the account is nowhere close to what actually happened.
Sorry.
Okay, sorry.
And this is where
I wasn't drinking that day.
Excellent, Ken.
What's that, GH?
That's where it all went wrong?
No, I forgive and I forget.
But before that incident, you guys got along?
Yeah, I always got along with the guy.
Was that when it all went wrong? After that day?
I don't know. I've tried, like I said, I've tried to be very nice to Kenny, and I've always been met with indifference.
How do you try? By not saying hello to me every day? Is that how you try?
When should I say hello to you, Kenny? When I'm in the office prepping for the show? When should I say hi to you?
No, like when you walk down the hallway.
Travis, do I say hi to you when I come in the morning?
No, we're all very quiet in the morning.
Do I say hi to D-Boy or Sam? Sam, do I say hello to you when I come in the morning?
I think you guys should be saying hi to each other. You see each other every day. Just
I'm not a big good morning guy. I don't say good morning to the security guards. I'm not one of these cheery good morning guys.
And I yell a big hi, even though you guys got headphones on, hoping you hear it, just to start the day off nice with a little hi. You guys really don't say hi to each other?
Yeah. Maybe people won't think you're so negative if you give everybody a big hearty hello.
I'll have to try it, Ken, because I need to make sure that I make you happy during the day.
No, not me.
I'm sorry that you think that I'm Mr. Negativity, but I don't know. You're allowed to have your opinion of me. I'm allowed to have my opinion of you. I don't understand why this is even on the air.
But you got to back it up.
What do you guys used to do? Joking stuff?
That's the thing. I would try to joke with Kenny, and Kenny he would have no
from day one. You guys didn't get along?
No, him and Sam will have back at CBS, because that's back when I was in the back office where it was a little more social.
Right.
And you try to have your fun. And
are you jealous that these two get along?
Oh,
Kenny
not at
and
all.
Sam?
I could give a fuck.
Kenny,
what was the question?
Do you like Sam better? Is that the problem?
No, Sam's a little prick. I don't trust as far as I can throw him.
But you get along with him.
Yeah.
So it's not that.
Yeah,
he doesn't trust me. It's not that at all. It's just that it was blatantly obvious that, like, if Sam threw something out there, Kenny would run with it. And then if I tried the same gag, it was just like, he'd look up from the computer screen and like that was it. So I'm like, all right, I guess I'm not joking with Kenny.
Is that true, Kenny?
I can't recall.
Your brain's too small?
Yeah.
You don't have that ability?
Yeah.
Jimmy?
So
I have to back up stuff, but he doesn't have to. Okay.
I can't recall.
What is this all about?
Yeah, because we work in very close quarters here. I mean, we're around each other a lot.
I think it's weird that even people that get along don't say hi in the morning. I understand why you two aren't saying hi, but you obviously get along with Travis and Derek and Sam, right?
I get along with everybody.
So, all right, but why don't you guys say hi to start the day?
I just think
weird
that
to me.
It's early, and we're just not. Even if none of us are that guy.
You're being cordial is overrated.
Really? Even if I'm in a bad mood, I'll at least give a nod like, hey, what's up? We're about to do radio together.
You do say hi to Steve, to your credit.
Yeah, and, Steve.
I hear you.
I even give him a hi.
That's just, when we get in, it's early. We just want to sit down and get our shit done.
I really think that's weird. But, I mean, that's just me. Not saying you guys should have a, hey, what's going on? How you feeling? Blah, blah, blah. But
we typically don't say goodbye either. We're in, we're out.
I say hello to you every morning. I got nothing else to talk about because I'm not that bright. I'm not a good conversationalist.
Tomorrow, can you make sure my seat is clear, by the way?
Oh, yeah. I had a little lapse in judgment.
I sat on something that maybe I shouldn't be sitting on in Kenny's car. And it made the doorman very uncomfortable this morning when he saw what I sat on.
Yeah.
But it's not about that right now. So how are we going to solve this?
So, Kenny, what do you think?
Maybe this is a good thing. Maybe Danny and Kenny could solve their differences. Kenny, what do you need from Danny?
Nothing. We could just be cordial and work together and be
Kenny,
nice.
I'm cordial with you. I don't think that I've ever been uncordial with you. But when you come in here and you make a comment, I'm going to make a comment back because I didn't bring it. I didn't start this. I didn't start any of this stuff. You had a comment to make, so you made your comment.
Okay.
What's
the point?
What was the comment?
The point is that I didn't start this. You brought it up, so have fun with that.
About being negative?
It started with Danny poking fun at Kenny's musical taste, and then Kenny responded by calling him
because
negative.
I can't. Everybody could joke except for me.
But now
then it's me. It's personal.
Well, now we can't do Kenny's bit because you kind of just said, well, do your bit, which makes it awkward for everybody. Because now,
Were you offended?
now we can't do Kenny's bit.
Were you offended when Danny said that? Did you think he was kind of taking a shot at you?
Which part?
Not offended, but do you think he was taking the music? Because saying Kenny responded with something that was kind of like,
Oh, yeah. And I'll tell you something, Kenny. It wasn't smashing you, but it is a known fact. Like when you did your DJ thing, it was the disco songs, and no one really expected you, the big, Maluk Kenny, to listen to 70s disco music. And it was a goof. And then you responded with something that was really real.
All right, then I apologize. I didn't mean it.
You see, cordial.
I love it.
This is
I just love it.
So I should say good morning to Kenny. Yeah, all right.
No, you should start by saying good morning to the people you do like around here. That would be a start.
So you don't think Kenny's apology was sincere?
That's a good question, Jimmy.
Oh, is this a real question?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we were just joking.
Yeah, no,
no, I don't think so.
Of course we're joking. Kenny,
No, I always take the high road and do the right thing.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. So you and Danny seem good now.
Yeah.
What will happen tomorrow?
Tomorrow's another day.
But what will happen? Do you think there'll be a high or something? Maybe this breaks the ice and gets you two back together. Does it sound like you guys had fun before the big incident?
Time
at the
will
virus
tell,
show?
GH.
And that's when it went wrong for good?
What?
The virus show?
I don't know. I told you, man. I don't think Kenny... I could recall some other things that was, like, real early on.
Well, what? Sam,
like
because
what? Let's get it out. We're not going back to this anytime soon.
Yeah.
We'll actually have a radio show to do tomorrow.
Let's see. I remember there was one time I called Kenny because Zig, you guys know Ziggy. I mean, for the radio fans out there, it's a long story. But anyway, he called me for some virus tickets, and I'm not the guy who divvies out tickets. So I said, well, let me go through the proper channels and let me talk to Club Soda. I'm not going to promise you anything until I talk to Kenny.
Right.
So I called Kenny and I said, hey, Zig is looking for a couple of tickets. He said, how many? And I think it was, I mean, it wasn't a lot, but it was more than the normal +1. I think it might have been like +3 or 4. Mm-hmm. And all Kenny really had to say was, oh, that's a lot of tickets for one person. I'll tell you what, I'll give you, and then whatever Kenny thought would be acceptable. But instead of taking that approach, Kenny just decided to say, well, if he thinks that that's appropriate, then I guess that it is. And, like, it went back and forth, like, 4 or 5 times until I was like, Kenny, look, can you have the tickets or not? Like, I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm just asking for a friend. And then you're coming back to me, with snarkiness. And I'm just trying to ask a favor for a friend. Either the answer is yes or the answer is no.
That wasn't a good answer, what I said?
No, I didn't feel that it was.
What? Because I wasn't going to say no to the guy.
Yeah, but you're also coming across putting it in my court, making it a judgment call for me to decide whether or not that his request is valid or not. And it's not my business to make that call. You tell me, you're the ticket guy. I went through the proper channels. I said I have to go to Kenny. So you're the man to ask about stuff like this. So either you approve or you disapprove. There's no middle ground. Either you say yes or you say no. I don't need to sit on the phone for 20 minutes playing games about 2 tickets. I could give a fuck. Either it's yeah or it's no.
It wasn't 2 tickets. You said it wasn't 2 tickets.
I said it was, above and beyond the norm of 1 + 1. So let's call it 1 + 3.
Right.
So if you felt that it was an inappropriate request, that's all you have to say. I don't have to sit on the phone and play little games with you. You just say, no, I don't think that's an appropriate thing. He could have this, and that's that.
Well, if I thought that, that's what I would have said. I said what I thought. Why is it? Well,
anyway, that's I think that's one of the first.
I still don't know why you guys
things.
don't like each other after 20 minutes of this, half hour of this. I really don't.
It's just vibes, man.
You want Kenny to pay attention to you?
What's that?
I don't know. Do you want Kenny to pay attention to you? Like, I don't really understand why.
I feel the same way as Kenny, where he doesn't give a fuck if I exist or not. I'm pretty much the same way with him. I mean, if he's here or not.
Why are we talking about this?
I don't know.
Jimmy?
Well, you guys obviously both have certain feelings on it. I mean, it's like they both are not completely indifferent. We work in too close quarters to be totally indifferent because literally 20 hours a week we're together.
I'm starting to think there's a man crush.
25 hours a week.
And Kenny might have his man crush on Sam and not Danny's.
I think it has nothing to do with that. No, I mean,
was a joke.
I just come in. I know, but I'm saying I come in. I do the stuff that is assigned to me to do. And I don't feel that one of my show duties is being super nice and friendly with Kenny. I don't give a fuck.
Kenny, do you want Danny to be super nice to you?
No, not super nice. He can be the same way he continues to be.
What's that?
Ignores me. It's up to him.
Sam?
I think Danny and Kenny both feel that they are owed a certain amount of respect from the other. Not above and beyond what anybody else gets, but Kenny feels he should have X amount of respect from Danny, and Danny feels he should have X amount of respect from Kenny, and neither...
Why don't you shut up? You're so
Kenny.
wrong.
I'm not...
I got a big head. I got to walk around here demanding respect. I get no respect.
I think...
I'm the big O for the show.
Right, that's your line. You say these things, but I think that you feel you're owed a certain respect from staff members, and Danny feels that he is owed the same respect, and neither of you two think you're getting it.
That's not true at all. That's not true. I don't care.
Both disagree.
I don't care if Kenny respects me or not. It's just that I have a problem. I have a problem with Kenny when it almost seems like he goes out of his way to make sure I don't like him, Is that weird?
But you don't care if he exists. You
How do I
go out of my way?
Well, you call me Mr. Negativity. That's number one.
Yeah,
and I've heard that from another.
I didn't go out of my way for that. I was already here.
I heard that from another source that was called that had used that exact phrase. So like I kind of know where it's coming from. All right.
Who?
Kenny. You obviously you've said something to other people about it, so that's fine. I would appreciate if you could come to me if you feel that way. I'm sorry that you actually had to go elsewhere to get your point across. About how you felt. That's fine. Whatever.
It's a two-way street. You didn't come to me and say,
"What do I have to come to you with? What do I have to come to you with?
Why don't you like me?
I don't care. That's not something that I care about.
If you don't care so much, then what are you caring about?
I don't care. I don't care.
So there's a negativity in the air?
Kenny seems to think so.
Everybody, they can come to their own conclusions.
But you're saying?
Yeah, like Danny said, everybody's entitled to their opinion. That's all. Maybe it's me.
In the end, maybe it's just you?
Yeah.
Now we can't do your bit because he called do your little bit, which makes it
we have to do it. There's good stuff here. I would like to do it on
We have a guest waiting as well.
On the Opie and Anthony show.
Then you going to keep it positive while he does his little bit?
Of course.
Yeah? What if it doesn't go well?
Well, then it'll speak for itself.
Yeah, it's not going to go well. It's not supposed to go well.
Oh, my God.
The bit. That's the bit. To not go well.
That's your bits, right?
Yeah.
They're not supposed to go well.
Yeah.
That's an easy place to be.
That's the beauty of me.
See, I hope my bits go well. Maybe I'm looking at this wrong.
No expectations.
Is the best way to go, right?
Yeah.
All right. So how do we get into this awkward bit?
I just start.
How long was the bit?
Quick.
Okay.
And then we'll get Mike Baker in here?
Yeah, we got him. Mike's in.
All right.
Serious
maybe
man.
some music should start the.
Yeah, but that's where this whole thing started because Danny said something about, what was it? Faggy dance?
Disco music.
Was it faggy in there?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Faggoty.
Faggoty
disco music.
So why would you bring the music thing up, Sam?
Just to start everything. Just to start the bit, I guess.
Who do you think is less cordial to each other? For real?
Yeah, Sam doesn't hold back. What's going on here?
I think what I said about the respect thing is more accurate than they're letting on, because I think that neither one of them are cordial to each other. They both, I think, make it so that they don't care that the other one knows that.
There's a lot of caring going on here, though.
Yeah, I'm not going to beat a dead horse.
Right. Kenny doesn't like it when people disrespect him or don't like him.
Yeah, I know when to cut my losses.
And Danny doesn't like that
still
Kenny
going.
doesn't like him.
Yeah, I'm still going because there's a show.
Is this interesting to anybody?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, man, we officially said this is a bizarre show, so when you make it official, then you just go with all the weirdness, and you try not to bring it back on track.
Anybody who doesn't like conflict is no friend of mine.
Yeah. In the end, I blame Anthony for calling in sick last minute. We'll blame him tomorrow.
And George went.
And his stupid beer and his dumb hangover. I think. All right, Kenny, now the awkward bit that everyone's been waiting for, including Danny.
Hit the disco music.
What disco song do you want? That might bring everyone back together. A nice, happy disco song. Faggoty disco song.
Yes,
I don't know. What about Sister Sledge? I wonder why I'm the greatest dancer.
Travis, do you have that? And Danny did not roll his eyes, so that's good. He's going with this.
It's up to him.
I apologize, Kenny. I don't have that.
But don't they play that on the Stroh? Maybe it's called something else?
Of course they do. Where's Joe Causey when you need him?
What'd you say the song is called?
Maybe that's not the name of it.
The band is Sister Sledge.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the name. It's like I wonder why is the greatest dancer. Yeah, maybe.
We are family.
You want We Are Family?
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Well, that's what it's called.
All right.
All right, here we go.
I'm
Kenny's
not
bit.
smart.
All right, this is Blind Items with Club Soda Kenny.
Get into it.
Kenny's little bit.
Which O&A producer coincidentally took a sick day the same day as Nicole Bigham's of the Morning Mashup?
Really? This is a blind item?
Juicy.
I know Sam was out Friday.
Sam had a sick day.
I'm not a producer. I was out Friday.
Yeah,
are we looking at Sam? Sam and Nicole Bingham's are hooking up?
Oh.
No.
You didn't hear from me.
You didn't hear from me? Why? She was out and Sam was out.
Oh, coincidentally, they both had sick days.
Hey, good for you, Sam.
I guess she was sick. I was not in. We were not even. We didn't even speak to each other that day.
All right, if that's what you say, if that's the story you're sticking to.
Yeah.
We have another blind item.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, this little bit's continuing, huh?
Yeah.
Now you're mad at Kenny, too?
Yeah.
By the end of this, I think we're all going to be mad at you, Kenny.
Fine.
Jimmy, are you mad at Kenny yet?
I'm not actually, no.
No, you're good with him?
No.
He will be after this one.
Go ahead.
Which O&A show member will be in Seattle on Friday, May 28th?
Danny's not laughing, though. Danny, you could have laughed at that. He's giving you a shit-eating grin right now. See, this isn't supposed to be good. Right, Kenny? That's what you said?
I'm confused. I thought it was because I thought it wasn't supposed to go good.
Is it going good?
I don't know. It's not for me to decide. It's up to the fans.
Yeah, he didn't think of it, so it's no good.
Oh.
See, why you got to be Mr. Negativity, Kenny?
Wait, what does that mean, Kenny? Sam, do you know what that means? I'm really confused.
Kenny's implying that Danny doesn't appreciate bits that Danny is not involved in.
Danny?
I don't have to like this bit. That's my opinion. But at the same time, that isn't true.
Do you like bits that other people do?
Bits are fine.
Name one bit that you weren't part of that you liked. Just to prove that Kenny's wrong.
Well, all right, well, what kind of bit? What are we talking? Like a...
No, Sam is saying that Kenny's saying...
Like cherry darts is fun. I didn't invent cherry darts. That's a fun bit.
But you were involved in it.
Why? Because I showed up?
I mean, you organized it.
Someone had to show up Friday.
Well, because people emailed an email address that I was checking. It doesn't. How am I involved with cherry darts?
You organized it and you played.
I don't see how you
family.
All right. Next blind item from Kenny. We got Mike Baker standing by.
Yeah, apologies.
Which O&A intern left a bar in a huff after Bobo called him a red-headed faggot?
I don't know the interns' names.
The one that looks like Bozo, Dustin.
His name's Dustin.
Is that really what happened?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Bobo said what?
Called him a red-headed faggot.
The interns went out drinking, and Love Buzz was coaxing Bobo to speak badly of Dustin.
This was after cherry darts?
Yes.
Okay. Danny threw his mic away. He's not liking this.
No, I shouldn't. It was in my way. I put it to the side.
And I saved the best for last.
All right.
Which O&A show member is celebrating a birthday next week and wants everybody to give him lots of presents?
Ooh. I got a birthday coming up Sunday.
Pingo, we have a winner.
Bingo. Not the listener.
I was imitating Voss.
Yeah, because Voss says Pingo.
Yeah.
I don't mind presents.
Yeah, no, I think the listeners should show their appreciation and send you a lot of gifts.
What's the address?
It's Sirius XM Radio, 1221 Avenue of the Americas. Attention, Greg Opie Hughes, New York, New York, 10020.
Is that it, Kenny?
That's it. That's my contribution.
Danny, was that good?
It was excellent. I thought it went very well.
Thank you,
Did I?
Daniel. I accomplished what I needed to do.
What was that?
Kill time.
That's all we're doing.
Let's get Mike in here. He's been waiting 45 minutes. We can't.
I got to take a leak.
I'll talk to him. He can just come in.
All right. Mike Baker is entering the studio. He does Red Eye with Jimmy. He served 14 years with the CIA. Mike,
17.
how are you?
Sorry for the late, Mike.
17 years with the CIA?
Yeah.
17 years.
Sorry, it says 14. Why would our one sheet be right?
That George thing went really well.
Oh, you heard that?
Yeah. That was,
oh, man.
that was good.
Really?
I was in the other room trying to slash my wrist.
Oh, you were here for that?
No, I caught the tail end.
Oh.
I caught the tail end. And then the post wrap-up, which was very entertaining.
We just, we didn't know what to do with the guy. Like, he came in here sluggish and, like, he didn't want to be here, and he's got a book about beer, so we're talking about beer with the guy.
We didn't know what to do.
beer seems like the logical place to go when George went. I mean, that's
well,
what I
we
would've
tried
done,
to go
but-
other places. Like, a lot of.
Well, you're a guy he was interrogating people, like for real, right? Like, I'm sure you've been in those rooms.
I mean, you could have tried beating the shit out of him, but I don't. I mean, it would have made it possibly more entertaining. We got some information.
I'm the guy that usually beats the shit out of him, but I usually don't like beating the shit out of guys that don't deserve it. Like,
Yeah.
he didn't deserve to be beat up. We were a little frustrated by him, but, you know.
Well, they showed me a couple of stills. He just looked tired. He looked, he looked like he was dragging, and
All right,
as opposed to us, we look very perky.
How do you get a guy like that to open up?
You know what? Actually, that's a really good question. We could spend all day talking about interrogation. I'm sure that the listeners would love to do that. But there's a lot that goes into. I mean, if you sit down with a suspect, for instance, whether it's law enforcement or whether it's intelligence. Hopefully you walk into that room with a lot of information in your back pocket, right? I mean, you never want to go into an interrogation or a debriefing without some understanding as to where you want it to go. But then you've got to start making a lot of very quick split-second decisions, and that takes some skill in being able to read what that person is thinking and what they're doing, what their motivations are, what their agenda. You look at everything from their body language to, just the way that they deliver a response. And, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But your best, I'm sure it's probably the same thing in radio. Your best, offense is good homework.
I bow to guys like you because why answer any questions? That's all you have to do is not answer anything.
Yeah, I mean,
while you're in that room.
Well, I tell you what, now
so
people
that's
know
why it
that.
takes a skill to freaking get these guys to open up.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to say this, I don't want to go off on a rant, but I mean, now Al Qaeda knows that. They understand that we're not going to take them in the back room and beat the shit out of them. Because they've seen everything that we can do, because the administration's released everything that we can do. They released all those DOJ memos, and literally it spells out, this is what we're able to do. Now, mind you, the agency, the CIA, spent a long time trying to get certain procedures cleared. And they were very careful. They keep going back and forth with Washington saying, can we do this? Can we not do that? And then Congress, as they always do, they always play this game. They always act surprised. Oh, we didn't know you were doing this. Well, bullshit. There's a huge file.
Was Pelosi,
traffic
you think Pelosi was
going back and
bullshitting when she was implying that she hadn't been briefed about what was going on with waterboarding?
Sure. There's a game that gets played, and it gets played with the intelligence committees and other members of Congress, where it's plausible deniability. Right. The understanding is, we're going to go out as an agency, as a CIA, they're going to do certain things that have been approved. If there's blowback, if it gets discovered, fuck it. The people up on the hill are going to go, we don't know. We're outraged. Oh my God, how shocked are we? And it's going to come back on us. But that's understood. Right. No big deal.
Right.
Did you guys feel like, it seemed to me like the CIA was kind of thrown to the wolves a little bit during this waterboarding stuff? It's almost like he said, everybody just kind of ran for cover. Well, we didn't know what was going on, and they weren't guys being put on trial. They really kind of douched the CIA at this last.
Yeah. I mean, the CIA is the best scapegoat on the planet. I mean, I don't want to, and I love the outfit. It's a great organization, wonderful people. So naturally, people are going to say, well, of course he's going to say all this shit. But frankly, the agency over the decades has always been the best scapegoat in Washington. Anytime something goes wrong, because why? Because the CIA won't defend itself, because it can't. They're protecting sources and methods, they're protecting secrets, they're protecting identities. So, their inclination is not to be political, which always surprises people. It's a very apolitical organization, and they're not going to go out there and say, well, screw you, this is what happened. They can't. So, Congress knows that, and they know it's a cheap shot to take a swing at the agency, because they're not going to fight back. They're just going to turn the other cheek and say, fuck it, okay, fine, we'll march on. Right. Give us another task to do. We'll go out and do that with the understanding that at some point you may toss us under the bus again.
Yeah, they really are. When you think CIA, it's such a secretive thing. There's a lot of intrigue with it, but it's something that everybody knows about, and yet we all feel like we know nothing about. Like what are you doing right before you go in this CIA? Like what's the next step? Like, okay, next I'm going to be a CIA agent.
Yeah.
Where are you before that?
Yeah, before that, I thought I was going to go into journalism. Actually, I'd gone to school, gotten a journalism degree, and that's done me a whole lot of good. And then. I started doing some work. I don't want to be too coy, but eventually I ended up in the agency. And it was a circuitous route, and I didn't set my mind to it. A lot of people do now, particularly after 9/11. I mean, the number of potential recruits that we get has tripled, probably more than that, since prior to 9/11, when we had a hard time filling slots and getting enough people in there, because we have a high washout rate. You put people through this training program, and some people get in there and say, screw it, it's not for me. Some people, just can't cut it, whatever it is. A very high attrition rate through the training. And so getting enough people prior to 9/11 to fill the slots we needed was very difficult. And they talk about this all the time. They say, well, oh my God, how did 9/11 happen? Well, I'll tell you, 9/11 happened because we kept getting our budget cut at the CIA, and we didn't have the people coming through the system to staff up the case officer slots. So we were lacking in human intelligence naturally, and the focus had been for a while on technology. Get the satellites up in the air. That'll answer all our questions.
Sure. How much did you know before 9/11? Like there was some intel out there.
There was intel out there. You know what? There wasn't an understanding as to how serious Bin Laden was. I mean, we knew about Bin Laden for years, right? And to some degree, we were tracking what he was doing. We were tracking his associates. And there was a period of time when, we could have whacked him. There's no doubt about it. But there was, hey, great hindsight. There was no collective understanding as to how dangerous he was and what the intent was. I mean, clearly, if there was, we would have taken care of him. But
Didn't they back off on killing him for I think it was during the Clinton administration. There was the shot where they could kill Bin Laden, where they fired missiles in response to something, whether it was an embassy bombing, and it was like an empty a training camp that wasn't being used. And he could have been killed, but for political reasons, the government didn't sign off on it.
Yeah, I mean, there were a handful of times when it came up that maybe that was the solution. But again, the political blowback, the concern being obviously that, once again, do we have justification to do this?
Just do a hit, basically.
Yeah, to do a hit. And can we take the blowback from whatever host country he was in? And for quite a while, he was over in the Sudan and hanging out there. Well, we knew that. We knew exactly where he was. We knew the compound he was in. Sure. And, it was, there was opportunity. But again, without that collective understanding, you can't take the next step. So I don't necessarily fault the Clinton administration or any administration. I mean, you've got to have some level of agreement before you take an action like that. But yeah, looking back in hindsight, we should have whacked him while we were out there. So.
But leading up to 9/11, what was out there that you could talk about?
Well, I mean, think about what happened before 9/11. You had the Beirut bombing. You had the coal. You had the African embassy bombing. So we had a long history. They didn't need Iraq and Afghanistan to hate us. I mean, they're going to hate us regardless of what we do. We can do everything possible, as the current administration is trying to do, to deny the fact that Muslim extremists are out there trying to kill us. They're still going to want to kill us. But there was a whole series of attacks that took place, and because of that, I mean, we spent a great deal of time in counterterrorism well before 9/11, gathering information about what Al-Qaeda meant, what it was, who the people were involved, and disrupting quite a number of operations, and also tracking down and taking care of the people involved.
You guys don't get credit for all the ones you make sure don't happen, unfortunately.
No, you get. I mean, and that's that's the way it works.
I'm sure there were some biggies, but people
there were a lot.
People but it didn't happen. So
you hear about a couple of arrests. A house was raided, and but what's going to happen didn't happen.
Right. What could have happened was a biggie, and then these guys are at the bar or wherever going, "Holy, can you believe we were able to take care of that one?"
Yeah, no,
right.
That's right. And people will look at like Richard Reed, the shoe bomber, and they'll go. Usually, what happens is when it's something like that, and you don't get somebody who looks like Lex Luthor, people think, fuck it, it's not a big deal. Well, it is a big deal because a couple of little things go right and suddenly a plane goes down, or the SUV blows up in Times Square, which would completely change the mentality of America right now if that had actually worked. But yeah, it's no coincidence, or it's not a bit of luck. Well, there is some luck involved that we haven't been attacked again since 9/11 on our soil, successfully attacked. There have been a great number of plots that have been picked up on, that have been disrupted, minimized, whatever. A lot of people arrested. A great deal of the leadership of Al-Qaeda has been decimated, either killed or captured. And, those are great success stories. But you're absolutely right. I mean, people don't talk about that. No. Either it's not interesting or you can't talk about it.
Does the CIA and FBI, there was a lot of speculation when 9/11 happened that the CIA and FBI, one of the problems was both are very territorial organizations and don't share information well. So certain things that had they just been kind of sharing information, which no one's to blame for that. Sometimes just systems are in place and that's the way it is. Was that a part of the problem that just nobody seemed, or at that point wasn't telling each other anything?
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you, I remember back when we started working with the other agencies. The FBI is a good example. FBI went out in early 90s. They started sending people out overseas to work on terrorism. Well, you can imagine, I mean, the agency, the CIA guys, we're overseas working counterterrorism. We're thinking, what the fuck? Who are these guys? They're coming out in the field and pissing on our turf. So, we didn't play well together. The Bureau, they felt the same way. They felt they were coming in with their own ways of doing things, their methodology, and it was better. And so, I remember at one point being called in overseas in an office out there where they said, we're going to meet with some guys from the Bureau. And we were running a big operation out there at the time. And so I remember coming in and walking into our offices, our war room, where we had all this shit up on the walls about this operation, and stuff being taken down and shoved in desk drawers. And I said, what's going on? They said, well, the Bureau guys are coming over. So we were actively hiding all the information we had about what we were doing. And of course, they were doing the same thing. They weren't telling us everything. That was sort of the mindset, and that was a big problem that led up to allowing 9/11 to happen. The inability to share information from the state to the local to the federal, authorities and and that's still a bit of an issue. I mean, not a bit of an issue. I don't want to make it, simplified, but it's still the holy grail. If you can figure out a way to get actionable intelligence to move around through all the different organizations that need it, including the military, then, hey, you got the brass ring. That's the big score.
What is I guess the only way to do that would be to make them 3 branches of one thing and have one guy run it. What is the, what's the reason for it? Is everybody wants credit when it goes right? Or what's the reason for not sharing? Because I guess on a certain level, you could trust each other. You know that he's not going to go to the paper, or he knows you're not going to go to the paper. What is the real motive?
Well, yeah, you hope so. But you pointed a good... people can't keep their yap shut anymore, right? I mean, every time you open up the page, it used to be the New York Times, wouldn't write a story unless they could attribute the sources. Now you can write a story based on 5 anonymous sources. And how many times do you read something that says a senior official from an intelligence agency, who doesn't want to be identified? Well, because he shouldn't open his fucking mouth. Now he's talking.
Yeah.
But the problem is, with sharing of intelligence, of actionable intelligence, part of it is the protection of your sources and methods. If I go out and I spend all this time and I recruit an asset in some, terrorist cell, and he's providing me with some detail, I am really reluctant to send that out into the ether or share it in meetings where I don't know how it's going to be controlled after that amongst all these various organizations. Even though I know these people are all on the same team, it's still a concern because
you don't know who to trust.
You don't know. Well, you know who to trust. You trust your team, but it's just
beyond that.
Beyond that, it's just the nature of the beast.
I got you. And with that said, why is it like the Times Square bombing happens, right? Us just average schmucks. Why do we know so much about what the plan was in Times Square? How does all that info get out there?
Yeah.
Well, and how is the news and the media all over it? I'm sure they're not getting it 100% correct, but there is a lot of info.
A lot of it. Yeah, there's a lot of info.
Who's talking?
Right.
If it's just the NYPD and CIA and FBI on the scene.
Yeah, it is.
That's always bothersome to me. It's like, why don't we all just shut the fuck up until we, arrest the people we need to arrest?
It's a cultural shift. I don't know what you're like. My dad was in World War II, and he didn't talk about it. Yeah, it wasn't anything he discussed. He didn't feel the need to talk about it when he came home. Not that I was around when he came home, but. You know what I mean? Older times, you'd go there, you'd do your job, and you'd shut your mouth, and you wouldn't talk if it was sensitive information. I think in part because the world's a lot smaller and because you got a lot more, media outlets. But there's something that people can't help but talk. Now, what I don't get is you can talk about the Times Square thing and generalities, but if you're involved in the investigation and you start giving out specific details, like we're seeing in some of the reports.
Sure, it seems like that.
Yeah, you got to wonder what the hell's wrong with these people. But it is amazing. The Times Square issue, one of the great things about it was that obviously SUV didn't blow up, and that gave us a great deal of information. Then Faisal Shahzad started talking a lot, and he can't stop talking, as it seems. And so that's providing us with a great deal of information. We pick up these other individuals.
Why is he talking so much?
Some people love it.
Because he's hoping that he doesn't go to... Maybe he does less jail time. Is he hoping to get something out of that, obviously?
Or is he Americanized and kind of seeking now fame that he has a platform?
That's right. He's probably thinking he's going to get a show out of this. And it could be. It'd be a hell of a show. But, I think part of it is he's Americanized. And I think I think you're right. He's grown up in a way watching everybody get on TV and have their 5-minute, interview. Part of it is... You never know the personality. When someone sits down, sometimes they do really want to talk, and you got to figure out how to get them to talk. And also don't forget, Shahzad didn't want to blow himself up, right? I mean, that's a different mentality. Right. If this was a suicide bombing, the guy probably would keep his yap shut. But he's in there, he's talking, which is great. Now we pick up these other guys because they're following the financial trail, they're following the communications trail, and all of this leads to, you don't know where it's going to lead. You pick up a guy who provided some money. Well, maybe he knows somebody else out in Pakistan or Afghanistan or wherever. That sets you off on an entirely different investigation, gives you more opportunities. all of these things, lead someplace else. It's very labor intensive, but we're gaining a lot, I guess is the way to put it, from the Times Square debacle.
You must have a lot of you must have a lot of frequent flyer miles. All of a sudden, you're on a case and like, all right, we need you in Afghanistan tomorrow.
Right. All right, get yourself out to Pakistan. These guys.
A lot of that happened in your career. You were based in Washington, obviously.
No, I never did a tour in Washington, which was great. Okay. I spent the whole time overseas. Yeah.
Can you say where?
All over.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was very specific. You know what we did? The agency follows the money. So, and in terms of the budget tasking from the administration. So, when I started, it was counterinsurgency. We were doing work in Central America was a big theater for us. Southeast Asia was a big area for us. And so you're beating back communism. I mean, that's how old I am. The Soviet Union still existed, when I joined. So, which was in a unique perspective, and it fell shortly thereafter. But
how do you blend in?
How do you blend in? In a lot of these things, in counterterrorism and counterinsurgency, you don't really care about blending in. I mean, you care about identifying a target and taking care of the target. And some of the other concerns when you're talking about surveillance in a place overseas, then you got to worry about blending in.
Right.
But the agency isn't quite as homogenous as people make it out to be. I mean, we've got a real mix of people in that group. We also rely on local assets. So I go someplace that's some fourth world shithole and I need to do surveillance. Likely I've got assets in that country that I can rely on, that I can count on to get out there, get on the street, and do a lot of the surveillance work on our behalf.
All right, you're in one of these shithole countries, and you have to go to work. Like, you know what I mean? Like
where do you stay and where do you go? Are you in a hotel or how do they keep you?
You have to go somewhere so you can do the work for that day. Like, that's weird to me. Do you make believe you're a small business guy? Maybe I'm talking. Maybe
I'm staying at the La Quinta Inn in some fourth world place.
Well, how do you not stand out like a sore thumb?
No,
you got to set up.
Question.
You got to set up your shit in these countries. And
well, it depends on what you're doing. In some places, we reside, or officers will reside overseas, permanently on for a couple of years, 3 years, 4 years, whatever at a time. And
what about those real rinky-dink places?
Yeah.
Though? I mean, are you making believe you're?
Yeah, it depends on the requirement. I mean, you could, you use whatever cover will facilitate whatever operation you're working. So, is it business? Yeah, who knows? Could be. Is it tourist? Could be. I'm not giving any secrets away, by the way, in case anybody's listening. Yeah. It just depends on what you need to do. Now, you may be staying in a safe house. Maybe you're staying in a hotel, as if you're a tourist or a businessman. Sure. I mean, it depends on the environment. But you're right. There are places out there where A, we don't blend in, B, we're not supposed to be. And so the last thing you want is the local authorities to find out that you're there doing something that would piss them off.
Oh, that sucks as far as the social life goes.
There's no social life. Although I will say, I don't know how many, not a lot, but there were times when overseas working with some folks, on clandestine operations, you'd find out that one of your compadres, one of your team members was banging some local, and you think, really? You think that's really smart from an operational standpoint? And some people just couldn't help themselves.
Yeah, but, I mean, it's pussy though.
Well, yeah, it is, and it's foreign.
You're sitting next to one of those people.
It's foreign strange.
Yeah, Jimmy would be really bad in the CIA.
I would really give some Russian woman could suck every secret out of me. I'm a weak man.
Yeah, Jimmy would not be good in the CIA.
Yeah. Well, but you know what?
He would be banging the locals.
You'd be using alias documentation. You wouldn't be under your own name, so nobody would know. You'd come back and you'd be clear.
Well, let me ask you. You got a guy like Khalid Sheikh Mohammed. There's all these questions about waterboarding, and look, if a guy is up for bank robbery or whatever, even harsh murder, that's one thing. But the threat of a guy, when the crimes they're committing are going to kill thousands of people, and they're involved. What is the mindset in getting information out of them? And what about waterboarding? Because there's so much negative spin on that. Did it help get stuff out of Mohammed?
Yeah, I mean, I'll say this, and I don't want to sound like some sort of dogmatic asshole, but the far left grabbed the whole interrogation thing, and to their credit, they did a good job of taking the high ground, right? From their perspective, it was either torture or talking. There was nothing in between. So they grabbed all that stuff in between that are legitimate, harsh interrogation techniques. It's not pleasant, but it's not supposed to be pleasant, frankly. But is it torture? No. Honestly, absolutely not. And, we put our own people through that training. So whether it's sleep deprivation or whether it's the waterboarding, and but they grabbed it, and to their credit, again, oh my God, I can't believe they're doing this. Well, so what happened was, something like KSM comes in, somebody like that comes in, and it's the threat, right? When you go into an interrogation, what you want that detainee to be thinking is he doesn't know what the hell to be thinking, right? It's the surprise, it's the threat of the unknown, it's the fear. You want to keep them off their guard. Well, if they know everything that you can do, then all of that's gone.
So what happens? You'll sit like him in a room. You get him wherever you get him. Say they bring him to Jordan or somewhere, wherever they bring him. And now he's in a room. Is it like we think, where it's a light bulb over him? Or, I mean, what is the interrogation room like, or what's the vibe like?
It's actually a very labor intensive facility. There's a lot of control involved. People think of Abu Ghraib. Just throw Abu Ghraib off the wall. That was like a frat party gone wrong. There was not enough senior management there overseeing people who didn't have enough experience in a law enforcement setting. That was not an interrogation facility. That was a detention facility. An interrogation facility is a very, very controlled environment. And there's a tremendous, most of the work is done before you walk into that room with a detainee, and there's a huge amount of effort put into each session when you've got one of these guys. And it can look like you described. It can be just sort of a bare bones room, a couple of light bulbs hanging down there, and it's not necessarily for the effect. It's just what you've got in terms of resources, in that particular location. Some of them are very sort of sophisticated looking environments, but the point being is that you get that person in there, and if they understand. And believe me, Al Qaeda, they're not made up of rocket scientists, but at the same time they pay attention to what the hell we're doing. They understand what it is we're able to do. They've read the Army Field Manual. They've read through all those DOJ memos that were released by the administration. And they understand what it is that we can and can't do now. So your element of surprise, the element of fear, the unknown is taken away from these guys. Any one of us in here now is just going to sit there and keep our mouths shut. There is no reason why you're going to feel, because you're going to know, okay, at most maybe they're going to knock me around a little bit, but they can't bruise me. They can't even, it is incredible. I couldn't break my teenage daughter with what's in the Army Field Manual. I guarantee you.
Really?
Wow. And I've tried. So it's a little bit scary. The Army Field Manual relies on a variety of things. It relies on good cop, bad cop. It relies on playing on their emotions. It relies on being their friend. And, it is, that's great.
Does that work sometimes or no?
It can. And you know what? Here's the thing. The agency, the CIA got kicked around, saying, oh my God. And it made it sound, because the left grabbed the argument and the media ran with it. It made it sound like, all we did was pick people up and torture them. All we did. The first thing we do is go to the harsh interrogation techniques. Well, bullshit. The vast majority of people that we picked up and that we've picked up over the years have been through this effort to try to develop a relationship with it, talk to them. The same thing that the Bureau's been doing, right? And the Bureau, a couple of times, they didn't do us much favor. They threw us under the bus a couple of times saying, well, we talk to them and we get good information. Well, no shit, Sherlock, we do too. Mm-hmm. And that's how we got most of our information. But you will have a handful of people like KSM that's not going to work. And you can spend years trying to develop a relationship or try to use psychology on them, and they're not going to talk. It's
He's just never
going to
give you anything.
Right? Not going to happen. So you've got to have other tools in your kit, right? And unfortunately, as I've mentioned before, now everybody knows what the hell's in our kit bag.
How about drugs? I mean,
no thanks. How
about drugs? Like, there are drugs that weaken your defenses. That type of stuff must be employed.
No, because you know what? I mean, if you think it's tough to get approval from Washington to engage in a very limited amount of sleep deprivation, try suggesting
you're
drugs.
Not even allowed to keep them awake.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was for a very short window. Right. You could keep them awake. Now, I can't tell you, even that short window can be very effective if used within a program.
But what's the problem with that?
Yeah, you know what? Look, we can't even.
You make sure they have a good night's sleep before you ask them a few questions.
We're agonizing right now. Not to get too far up there in the ether, but we're agonizing right now over whether we should yank the citizenship of Anwar al-Awlaki, right? The guy who's recruiting people to come over here and kill us, and. So that's what's wrong with it.
Is he the one
we've lost our balls.
They put the Predator drone hit on him. Is that the one? And there's the big question, like, should it be put on a citizen? Is that the guy?
Right. I mean, there's been authorization to try to kill him. Well, again, you're going back to your comment about, how does the media know all this? Well, for God's sake, why do we have it out in the open that we've authorized, an attempted hit on somebody?
That's just crazy to me.
Yeah, and now he knows it, and now they're reacting
course.
appropriately.
Of course.
So, but the point being that now that
how much sleep are you have to allow them to have before you're allowed to wake them and hopefully get something done?
Well, you got.
Is that in the manual too?
Yeah, I mean the Army Field Manual prohibits that sort of thing. It also prohibits temperature change, and sensory deprivation.
Temperature change would be that. You'd get me on that one.
Yeah. I tell you what, you go from a hot box to a cold box.
Oh, fuck.
And then they're playing. I tell you what's the worst thing is when they do the audio. Well, and the worst thing was the Arabic music. I could have listened to metal all day long. And one time I was in for training, and they did nothing but played the Barney theme song.
For how long?
Oh, for hours. And just I love you, you love me. We're best friends like friends should be. It will never leave my head. I remember this song. I'll be sitting on a train, and that will pop into my head.
So yeah, you guys have been through all this.
Yeah.
What was the worst one for you?
The Arabic music.
Really? Why were they playing it to do what?
Well, it's a combination of elements. It's the sleep, it's the temperature, it's the audio, and what they're trying to do is basically disorient you. They're trying to keep you off, from sitting there. Because if you're sitting there in silence and you're comfortable, what are you thinking about? You're thinking about, okay, this is what I told the guy the last time. This is what I'm going to tell him the next time. Now, I wonder, and you're plotting strategy. You want to keep them unbalanced, right? But we can't do that. My point being is that the administration now has laid all that bare. All these people out there in Pakistan, they're fully briefed on what the hell to expect. And without that uncertainty,
makes it a lot tougher.
Good luck. Yeah. Good luck. But anyway.
Where do you think, I mean, again, it's pure speculation, but guys like al-Zawahiri and bin Laden, first of all, do you think they're together? I doubt they're together. Or are they together? And where you
mean romantically, or they could be?
They would be. That
one
really
really likes little boys.
That would shake. Does he really?
Yeah, you didn't hear from me. Oh, wait a minute, you did.
Bin Laden likes little boys.
Who knows? I'm not saying it. I can't go any further.
It'd be funny if he sued you for that.
Yeah, I know. Oh my God, there's probably gonna be a fatwa on me now because I've just said that.
Where do you think they are? And are they somewhere in Pakistan? Do you think, or have they just got everybody bamboozled and they're smart and somewhere completely different?
No, you know what? There is really limited opportunity for bin Laden to move around. But you look at the size of the reward out on his head all these years. Nobody's talking. I mean, this guy is well protected. And people do say, well, oh my God, he's the tallest Arab in the world. How can you not find him? Well, good luck.
He's also got $1 billion too. He's got enough money to keep people around him comfortable and money. And
exactly. That's a very good point you raised. He came from family money. His father was enormously wealthy out of construction and development in Saudi, and so he's got the cash, and that was how he originally came to what he does now. I mean, he was a financier. I mean, he was funding a lot of the Mujahideen effort out in Afghanistan when the Soviets were there. But no, they're in Pakistan, and at some point, we'll either get him or he'll die of natural causes.
Will we know when he dies of natural causes?
Yeah, eventually we'll probably get word of it. Yeah, but it won't be immediate. Our human intelligence is not. It's improving, but it's always a problem when it comes to the inner circle of what's going on around bin Laden.
So you think he's still alive?
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, at the end of the day, would I rather have bin Laden or would I rather have an operational guy who's actually out there plotting this crap? I'd rather have the operational guy. And that's what we've been doing. We've been picking up a lot of the lieutenants and the majors, the secondary structure, and you kill enough of these guys.
But you know what? For us, it's very symbolic to get bin Laden. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, for you guys, it's like, it's more important that we get these guys that are planning the next attack. But for pretty much all of America, symbolically, we want him.
No, you're right. I mean, that'll be a national holiday. You're right. You're right. And I don't make light of getting him. That'll be a huge get from a morale purpose. But from the operational side, there are people there that are calling the shots or that are making plans. Bin Laden is sort of the high figure, the high priest, or the wazoo, or whatever of Al Qaeda right now, and they look for him for perhaps a blessing on something. But at the end of the day, this is devolved. So you've got individual guys out there like you didn't before who are able to make decisions about doing an operation. You've got and it makes it more difficult, for us to intercept because it's like roaches. You got them all in one place, you can kill them quicker. They scatter like this, and they're all out there. You got to step on more of them in more places.
They can't even get Adam Gadan. He's the American spokesman. Again, one of these alternative upbringings. Him and who was the other one? John Walker Lindman. These guys are always from the same kind of fucking shitty. Hey, let him do what he wants upbringing. And he's over in I think Pakistan, and they can't get him. It's like he's an American. You know, he sounds like me, and they can't get him.
Cupertino or somewhere like that.
Yeah, from California, right?
Yeah. No, and we're seeing more of that. We're seeing more. And people that tends to worry people when you see folks like Faisal Shahzad or whatever with some level of upbringing here in the U.S. and people think, well, what the hell's going on? Well, you've got it seems like a bottomless well of either undereducated, unmotivated, troubled individuals who, at the end of the day, Al Qaeda's not raising the bar. They're not saying we got to have a microbiologist, we got to have some rocket scientist to recruit. They don't care. They want somebody who they can manipulate. So, again, you look at the underwear bomber, or you look at the Times Square bomber, and people think, oh, well, the guy's an idiot. Well, yeah, but that's who they're recruiting, and that's all they need. They don't need much, right? I mean, they just need somebody willing to carry out the plot.
Right.
And so those are the people they're looking to recruit. There's a lot of people out there like that fit that bill.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I got to take a
I got to
really
pee,
bad.
too. Can we take a break?
Yeah. Sorry. I mean,
no.
Really good interview and to end it with, I got to take a leak really bad. It's probably not that professional.
Yeah, that's not
See,
the
now,
way
if this was an interrogation, I wouldn't let you go take a leak.
Oh,
Yeah.
my.
I know.
I
What
would
would you make the
answer all
person
your
do? Just pee their
questions.
pants?
Yeah, you'd have to just pee in it. No, we of course.
Actually,
we would not be allowed to not let you go to the bathroom. We would have to authorize you a
How
bathroom
hot
break.
to how cold?
There are very, very set limits. I don't want to go into that, but there are very set limits about temperature. Again,
Before everything changed.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Yeah,
Pretty
but I'm
hot
not-
to
yeah.
pretty cold?
You know what? Not brutal. It's not like you're going from the ice box to the desert, but you don't need that. It's the change which really affects you and keeps you, uncomfortable, which is again what you're looking to do. And then you go into a small, enclosed space. Then you go into a room. You don't know what's in the room. You get a sense that there's other people in there. I mean, because you're usually you can't really.
Right.
I mean, it's a very difficult process, but again, it's a necessary process. And I guess my point would be, yes, there's torture, and of course we shouldn't be torturing because, and not for any moral, ethical reasons. I'm not going to get in that argument, but just for operational reasons. Frankly, you torture somebody, you're not going to get good actionable intelligence. But there are other steps, and they spent a long time trying to figure out what did and didn't work. And there's a very small set of procedures, these harsh interrogation techniques that they spent all this time developing. There's nothing new under the sun. And so when the current administration releases all that information, it's not like they're going to go out and develop new ones. There are no new ones. Yeah. Right? So that's it.
Figuring out polling seems that would work well.
Yeah. Speaking of that, Jimmy, you know how they tortured Rambo? Any of that go down?
Torture Rambo.
Remember how they tortured Rambo in the movies?
What did they do?
It was pretty brutal stuff. I think it was electricity was involved and water.
Oh yeah. If there's electricity and water, I'd be talking right away. Who needs that? And that's like the deer hunter. Remember that? Put him in the cage in the
Rambo
water.
took a lot.
Yeah, that was tough. But no, it's nothing like that. It is. You would be surprised. I mean, and as with the general public,
sure.
If you went in there and you saw exactly what we put these shitheads through, and what they're responsible for, and what they're trying to do to us, and their brutality, and their love. But again, we love this self-flagellation, and this country seems to be wrapped up in sort of, oh my God, we'll lose our humanity if we mistreat people in even a certain fashion, which is bullshit. I have no trouble telling us from the terrorists. Doesn't bother me at all. And if you engage in a harsh interrogation technique to get valuable, actionable intelligence from a terrorist suspect, you don't walk away and think, oh, geez, I think I lost some of my humanity.
Yeah.
What a load of crap. Anyway.
I got to take a shit, too, now.
All right.
So we're going to continue with Mike Baker, who's now becoming a TV star.
Yeah.
We'll get into some other things with you.
Oh, good. Hang on. All right.
You're filling in for Greg Gutfeld on Red Eye. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
we'll get into that.
Yeah.
Some other, So the journalism thing is working.
Yeah, it seems to be coming back around. Yeah. I took a very circuitous route.
Yeah.
Hang for a bit?
I will, yeah.
Okay, I like
great.
this Mike Baker.
I got to pee, too.
He's a good guest. We'll continue. Got a busy show. We're going to continue with Mike Baker in a second here. But, Jimmy, what do we got going on, man?
We have Nestor Carbonell. He is, everyone knows, Richard Alpert on Lost. He only has a few minutes because he's doing a big push today. Lost is tonight. It's the next to the last episode, and season finale is Sunday.
Nestor.
Hey, guys, what's up? And thanks for having me on.
How are you?
No problem. Thank you for calling.
So what are you doing, like 30 or 40 phone calls today?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
How do you...
Just one after another, right? So you're not even going to remember talking to us.
No, I'm going to remember that last segment I just heard.
He heard the FU line. Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, we got the satellite going, so you get to curse a little bit.
So your episode was hailed as the best one so far of the season. A lot of people are feeling very mixed feelings about this season, and yours is the one episode that's gotten pretty much positive reviews across the board.
Thanks. It was they wrote me a great. I mean, it was a great episode that they wrote, and I got to play it. So I got lucky. I mean, it was, and I got to ride a horse, which is pretty cool. But yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. But I you know, there've been other really well. I mean, for me, the whole show, top to bottom, has been a dream to get to work on. But the writing's like nothing else I've seen on TV. And you know, Desmond's episode this year, it was another really good one.
Yeah, his was very good as well. How does it feel that this show is coming to an end? I mean, what season did you come in?
I came in season 3. I came in a flashback with Juliet, where I recruited her to the island. So,
right.
Yeah, I just came in as a guest, and then it just kind of, you know, like 6 weeks later, I get a call. Hey, they want you back, and I was like, really?
Kind of like Michael Emerson, you became this. You became one of the most interesting characters and one of the leads coming in kind of late in the game.
Yeah, definitely. It was. It's like one of those things about this business. You guys know, you just never know what's going to happen, and this is definitely one. I mean, I got to move to Hawaii this year with my family, which is a big treat. So, that's the beauty and the curse of this business. You just don't know what's going to happen.
Sorry, Ernesto. What's it like when you know the show is ending? Like you guys have been together for a while now. I mean, it's a tremendously successful show. The long shoots, obviously, for an hour show, and there's a lot of episodes every year. Is everybody kind of sad, or is there like a weird cloud hanging over? How are people kind of feeling?
I think, you know, people feel differently. I mean, like I said, I've only been on since season 3, and really just recurring, flying back and forth. But for me, I mean, I could stay here for a lot longer. I mean, we just moved to Hawaii, and it's, you know, I mean, this is paradise. So, if the show were still continuing, I'd be thrilled. But a lot of people, you know, they're ready to sort of move on, and you know,
right.
I would imagine. So, yeah, it's sort of bittersweet for everybody, but I'm still here. I'm in Hawaii right now. So.
Are you going to keep your house?
Well, we're renting here, but we're trying to find ways to stay here.
Did you take the helicopter ride over the volcano while you're over there?
You know, I haven't done it.
I hear it's terrific.
One of these days, right?
Yeah.
Now, the question you get a lot, which I know you've denied too, I have to ask you about your stare, and it's odd to ask another man this, but you really do have a very, very intense stare, and I know people have asked you if you wear eyeliner, and that's just, you don't.
No, it's funny. I did a couple episodes, and someone said, you know, you might want to check out, you know, this little stuff online that's going on. I go, what do you mean? So I went online, and sure enough, I was being called Maybelline Man and Guy Liner and all this stuff. And I've been dealing with this since I was a little kid. I mean, I remember my mom's friends would sort of comment on it, and one day I just cut my eyelashes off. You know, I took some scissors to it, so I guess they grew back. But no, we've had a lot of fun poking fun at the whole thing. It's been fun, you know. And the fans they're really intense, so they get into it. So it's been a lot of fun.
So I mean, I'm sorry, not the eyelashes, but it is actually just the eyelashes being thick and long.
I'm just a hairy Cuban. You know, I got a lot of hair, and I got a lot of hair around my eyes. Yeah, I've got my youngest boy has the same affliction, so he's going to have some things to deal with. No, we just just got a lot of eyelashes. So.
Well, it makes you look very ominous. It makes you look very intense, and you look like a real character. I mean, I really thought that they. By the way, off something, do you have any idea what's going on? Like, do you know where it's going to? Because there's still a lot of things I think they need to wrap up, and I know you can't say how the show ends, but how much do you know?
I know nothing. I really don't. Week to week, we just get the scripts, and we just kind of have to put our faith in the writers. But I mean, I know how it ends. Actually, I don't even know how it really, really ends. I read 10 of the 11 acts, and if you were in that last act, did you get that last act? So I don't even really. I'm going to watch with everyone and find out how it really ends.
That's so weird. Every Lost guy we ask, they just don't know how this is going to end.
No, I mean, I have a sense, and what they're really what they're gonna resolve, and you know, and tonight is actually a really big episode. Tonight reveals quite a bit, so it's one to, you know, I mean, you know, everyone who watches now will continue to watch.
Now, Nestor, I'm embarrassed to say this, I've never seen an episode of Lost, so could you fill me in so I could enjoy the last few episodes?
Like in a sentence or less?
Yeah, like in a minute. Could you just give me
Could you catch them up really quick?
Yeah, you got a couple of seconds to tell us what the show's about.
And a plane crash on an island. Yeah. There you go, man. Just
I acknowledge it's my loss, excuse me, that I didn't see it. I should have seen this show.
What do you do? People say to you, "What's the show about?"
You know, it's at this point, you know, you can't be a casual observer of the show. Although I got to say, this weekend, if you there's going to be so much recap that you could probably watch the finale and get most of what you're going to see. I mean,
I should try that.
Recap.
I should try that
recap the
to
whole series.
see if I'm right there with you guys.
But doesn't Hollywood always say, oh, it's like this and this? They always try to combine two things. It's like the X-Files and Gilligan's Island. You know,
it's true. Well, I think that the original guy at ABC wanted to do a show blending Survivor and some other show, so it has Survivor elements, and then it obviously grew from there, became something mystical. But it has all obviously the notion of plane crashing on an island, and what would you do on an island, but that whole mystical stuff was introduced by Damon Lindelof and J.J. Abrams, and they created this incredible world that we got to play in, and it just grew from there.
What is of all the Lost episodes you've seen? Because I'm not going to lie, I cried like a sissy watching many Lost episodes. I really have, and I'd say that without shame or pride. What
you're gonna cry in the finale because I've talked to the editors and they say it's a very emotional finale. So yeah,
of the ones you've seen, because I mean, obviously, I believe I read that your wife was a fan first, and you.
Yeah.
So what was something that you remember standing out that really got to you about the show?
Oh, The Constant. I don't know if you remember, is the one with Desmond and Penny, where it's sort of the first time we get into time travel, and those, the actors are tremendous, and the writing was just so good, and that episode was, to me, stands alone as probably the best episode of the show that I've seen.
Wow.
It's a tremendous episode, and there've been so many. These writers are so inventive, they're so smart, but that episode was just, it had everything, it had all the elements, and it was very emotional too.
I want to go back. You were talking about the last episode, and the editors are digging and stuff. We're not going to have one of those "don't stop believing" moments like The Sopranos did, right? Are they going to wrap some stuff up for us?
They're definitely going to.
I'll
wrap
say
up
for us, for
stuff,
the fans, because
stick around. But stick around for Jimmy Kimmel because he's got some funny stuff he's got some alternate endings on Lost, which are pretty funny.
Yeah, because a lot of you guys are going to be on Jimmy Kimmel right after the finale, right?
We're going to do Jimmy Kimmel right after that.
That'll be cool.
All right. Well, that's all.
Is there going to be a Lost the musical afterwards if this thing wraps up? Are you going to do that?
I got nothing else going, so sign me up, man. I'm all over.
I was going to ask you that. Do you have your next project after Lost?
Well, actually, no. I'm going to do. There's a film I'm going to do in Mexico in July, so I'm looking forward to that with Andy Garcia and Ruben Blades and a really cool cast. But outside of that, man, I'm back on the folding chairs looking for the next one.
Well, and with that said, me and Jim Norton have a little advice for you, sir. Never write a book about beer.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yes, trust me on that one.
Yeah, we had somebody who wrote a book about beer, and it just
trust
didn't
me
go
on that.
well.
It goes so well, all right?
Yeah.
Well, I like beer, but...
but never write a book about it.
No, never write a book. All right.
Okay.
Great job in The Dark Knight, by the way.
Oh, absolutely.
Tremendous. Look, it's on tonight. What time is it on tonight? 9 o'clock. And it's the next to the last episode.
Yeah.
And the finale is... What's that?
Tonight's big. You got some big guest stars too. You got two people returning, which make great turns. They're really good.
Oh, good. Because there's a couple of people that have not come back yet. Juliet's not been on this year. I know they never got Michelle Rodriguez back. They never got Mr. Echo from season 2. They may not get him back. But there's a lot of people that I've been kind of wanting to see who I haven't seen. And the season finale is Sunday at what time?
Sunday, is it 9 o'clock? No, it might be 8 o'clock. It's 2.5 hours.
I think it's from 9 to 11:30.
This lady is saying it's from 9 to 11:30.
Okay, well, there you go. And in fact, it's a whole night, and so you're going to get recaps before that. I think 2 hours of recaps before, from 7 or 8 o'clock on. 8 or 7 o'clock, I can't remember.
All right, well, thank you, Nestor. Thanks so much for taking a few minutes. We know that you're jumping around, but good luck, man. I think you're a great addition to the show. 'Cause I have mixed reviews about this year, except for you. I think you've been tremendous.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
That's nice.
Take care, Nestor.
I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
All right, there he goes, Nestor from Lost.
He really is great, man. He's just a solid actor. And his episode, I mean, I was being too nice, but his episode blew away the rest of the season.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like this season, but he was tremendous.
Yeah.
They got a time machine? Is that what I understand?
It's
I've never seen it.
It's not a time machine, no. It's a weird, the island has something to do with time travel. It's an energy source. And it was actually, it's the most brilliantly written show until this year. It just kind of shits the bed. It's really weird. Like there are episodes.
Does Travis agree with that? I know he's a big Lost fan.
No, I don't agree to the extent that Jim thinks that it's bad. I'm holding off my judgment until the end of the series.
That's because you don't like me.
No, I love it. Do you remember The Constant? You remember what episode he was talking about?
I do, yes. That's where he's in the military. He's in the phone booth.
It's the first time Desmond talked to Penny. Since
it was very sad. It was great.
It probably is the best episode.
I think my favorite episode is fucking in season 2, Dave. I love Dave. Dave was great, where Hurley is seeing this fucking guy. Trying to convince him to leave them.
I'm looking over at
And then
Opie.
he's trying to convince him to jump off the cliff.
Yeah.
He's trying to get him to kill himself. It
Yeah,
was great.
I
And Libby, they pan to her in the mental institution at the end.
A mental institution?
Yeah.
Because of the booker, I had some of the information, and I do know who is on tonight's episode, and I do regret reading that.
Don't tell me.
I'm not going to tell you, but it is 2 good guest stars.
Ricardo Montalban?
Yes.
Yes.
Nice.
Hervé Village has this.
That's who I would bring back.
The pillow he covered his stomach with. Poor little fella.
He might have shot himself in the gut because he couldn't take it anymore.
Yeah.
But we got Mike Baker still in studio. He's filling in for Greg Gutfeld, a friend of ours, by the way. You're doing
Red Eye.
Red Eye, May 24th through the 26th for Greg.
That's true. He's out there
Fill-in host.
schlepping around trying to sell his new book, which is terrific, by the way.
It is great, right?
It is really good. Yeah, it's really good. So I'd encourage everyone to go out there and buy at least 3 copies of it.
I'm on one of those with you.
Yeah.
I'm on. Me and Anthony are on the 24th.
At the same time?
Yeah, we're doing it. It's the first time we've done it together.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's going to be really good. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Red Eye, Fox News. It's late. It's on at 3 a.m. on the East Coast, but midnight on the West Coast. So
Yeah, they DVR that show though.
yeah.
And it kills CNN.
Yeah, it's got its its audience.
It
so.
does very well. I mean, I remember like the first week. This was years ago, 3.5 years ago, whenever it got started. And doing the first couple of shows and thinking, there's no way in hell this thing's going to stay on Fox. I mean,
Right.
It was completely different than anything they've ever done before. And I give Fox a lot of credit, not just because, I got a good relationship with them, but because they sat by this thing. They let it happen, and they let it develop. And, it's been paying off for them now.
Do you think Fox gets a bad rap? Like, we get accused sometimes because, I do more Fox. I do a little bit of CNN, but I do more Fox, or I'm actually headline news. But it seems like they get this bad rap, like they're irrationally or unreasonably conservative. And there are things that are said on Fox I totally disagree with. I think, it's too conservative for me.
Mm-hmm.
But just as a guy who performs on the channel a lot, I've never had any shit from the network or anybody associated with it with the opinions I give, which a lot of times I agree with them, and a lot of times I don't agree with them.
Yeah.
I've never had flack for the opinions from the people that work there.
Yeah, it's funny because the people who complain about it being, too far to one side, they'll sit down and watch Rachel Maddow or somebody on, MSNBC or CNN. And, no, to fair go. I think CNN, makes an effort to be, somewhere down the middle of the road to some degree. But they've got the same thing as Fox does. They'll have opinion people, right? And then they'll have the news side. And I agree with it. No one's ever, pulled me aside and said anything about, something I've said which, it could be construed as being to the left of center. I don't have a dog in the hunt, frankly. I want small government. I want government to stay out of my kitchen. And, that's pretty much it. Do what you're supposed to do, but don't do anything else. But as far as, right or left, I don't give a shit. Just do your job if you're up on Congress, on Capitol Hill.
Right.
What is your security company? I know you do some. Is that stuff you do for private citizens, or do you not do it for private citizens?
You know what? We'll, only if they got a lot of money.
That's a lot of money?
Yeah, they got to be high net wealth individuals. No, it's diligence.
By the way, when anybody says net wealth, you got to have a shitload of cash.
Oh yeah, it can't be gross. It can't be gross. It's got to be net.
What is that? A couple 100,000? Is that what we're talking?
Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah, you could hire us to overthrow a small neighborhood or a country. Diligence is an intelligence and security firm. And I don't want to bang on about a marketing spiel, but it's been going for about 10 years. I started it with a buddy of mine who came out of the British version of the SEALs and MI5, and we do. It's information, it's intelligence, it's risk management, it's security, it's all those things you'd expect. It's been a good ride, since getting out of government.
You don't do individual stuff, like if somebody needs information on somebody?
Not usually. We don't do divorces. We won't, sit and follow somebody for an insurance rap. That's not what we do. That's a private investigator's job. But
by the way, is that so easy for you guys? Like that kind of stuff is so low level.
Well, you know what? It's not what we're geared to do. I mean, if somebody comes to us and says, "Look, we're worried because we think the Chinese are stealing our secrets because we've got facilities over in China," then we'll pay attention. If a company,
really? We're on that level.
Yeah, I mean, if an opposition party comes to us and
cool.
says, "Look, there's going to be an election in Chile, and the opposition party would like us to, uncover dirt. They think the current party is stealing money." Then we'll look at that. I mean, it's that sort of thing.
So, how many languages do you speak? Do you just speak English?
I do speak English. Yeah,
no, but I mean only.
Yeah.
You speak it very well, by the way.
Thank you very much. I've been working on it. I speak Greek
Do you understand, by the way,
French,
you don't want to say it like that. I speak Greek is a Craigslist term.
Yeah.
For women.
Yeah. And when I did that, I just reapplied my eyeliner and winked at Jim.
What does that mean on Craigslist?
I speak Greek is a way a girl. This is when they try to convince people that they're fooling the cops into not thinking they're hookers. Instead of $300 for it, they'll say, "I can see you for 300 roses, and you're paying only for my company. And I do speak Greek, which means I do anal sex. And I'm looking for French lessons, which is oral sex." You know, I mean, I've heard
300.
You did a
roses.
thesis on this, didn't you?
I certainly did. Yes, it's called "Destroying Every Relationship I've Ever Had." So you're I'm sorry. You speak Greek?
No, I don't. Not now. I don't. I completely forgot how to do that. Yeah.
What are the languages?
No, I forget it. I'm not going there. Let's just say I speak a handful of languages.
But you speak more than one?
Yeah, more than one. And you know what? And that's when if people are out there and they're considering, if you got young folks out there and they're thinking about a career in the CIA, and hopefully there was going to be some music underneath this advertisement, then one of the things the agency looks for is language experience, language capability. If you come to the agency as a young person, you got out of college, your grades are decent, you haven't been, doing meth. If you speak Arabic, Urdu, Pashtun, Chinese, Russian, whatever it is, then you're going to get a serious look. I mean, that's what they're looking for. International experience, overseas, some military time.
I took a few years of Spanish.
That's good. That'll work.
Good, right?
Yeah. I mean, now,
don't know shit about it.
Well,
I know a couple dialogues about messy rooms and dirty kitchens. But
I can order a meal in a restaurant.
No, I can't even do that after 6 years. 6 fucking years, I can't do shit.
I took 2 years of French. I know none of it.
I did French too.
Really?
I couldn't give you one phrase. I passed though.
I took 7 years of public school French, and it did me absolutely no good whatsoever.
My French teacher was really hot though, and had some of that nice French perfume, and she had fucking cleavage, man. When the teachers were still allowed to show their cleavage, big bosoms, blonde hair, bleach blonde.
Do you remember her name?
Nope. Oh. A stereotypical French teacher. I had it
because my company could look her up and maybe put you two in touch.
Sure.
Yeah, but I was
torture her for information.
I was suffering and wanted to drop, but she was so just wow that I hung in there for two classes. Yeah,
man, I know that. I had a teacher 7th grade. I went to school overseas in Australia, and 7th grade, Miss Brighty was a French teacher, and I remember she walked in, and I never paid so much attention in class since then. It was unbelievable. But again, I learned absolutely nothing from the French. Mm-hmm. So,
how many languages would you say that you're comfortable, or that you could be conversational with?
3. Yeah, but we've got. My company's got. What do we got? About 50 some odd people, and we've got 25 languages spoken at a native fluency. So it's a very international company. It has to be. I mean, so in a way, we're kind of. I suppose you could say we're doing a lot of the things that I used to do in government sector. We're doing it's for profit. We're in the private sector, but it's it's a good ride. It's entertaining. But, the agency prides itself on people who are generalists, basically. You can throw them overseas. They're going to be able to develop sources. They're going to be able to, handle themselves properly. And language is a big part of that. So.
Hey, I got a couple good...
Sure, no.
I got a couple good questions coming in. Well, let's say hi to Sal in Chicago. Sal.
Hey there, you know who's responsible for killing that guy who invented the water-powered car?
Right on.
Damn good question.
Yeah, I do.
What?
Oh, that's the end of your question?
No, see, there was a guy that was bragging. What year was it, Danny? This goes back a while.
A few years, right?
Yeah, but
I don't think it was that long. I think it was like 95, I want to say.
A guy was bragging
10 years, something like that.
He figured out how to run cars on water all over the place, and it's going to shut down the freaking gas companies, this and that. And then doesn't the story go that someone from the CIA paid him a visit?
I think some military general went to have lunch with him or something like that, and then 6 months later he died of food poisoning.
Yeah.
He died very suspiciously, and it's something we're obsessed with, and we bring up from time to time on this show. Here's a guy bragging.
Meyer.
Here's a guy that's Stan Meyer.
That's right.
You know Stan Meyer?
No.
No, I killed him.
You mean Stan Meyer? No, I was thinking of a different guy.
But this guy was bragging how he's basically gonna, he's gonna shut down oil companies. Next thing you know, he's dying of food poisoning.
Yeah, no.
That was a little creepy to us.
It is a little creepy, but you can make anything into a Byzantine conspiracy if you work. If you work long enough for the U.S. government, you quickly stop becoming a conspiracy theorist. Because you realize it just ain't gonna happen.
If we could run cars on water, that would not be good for a lot of people.
Yeah, no,
it would be great for us.
Yeah, no, it would be great. But you know what? In a sense, People love, it's like the grassy knoll. It's, how many of these conspiracy theories are out there? But I go back to what I said. Just say that. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
but
that's
how many times has that happened?
Is that hack spy stuff?
It's
kind of hack.
Yeah,
There's other ways to do it.
If they were going to kill Stan, they wouldn't have used food poisoning. But they probably would have drowned him.
My favorite is the old pusheroo.
The old pusheroo off the bridge? Off the building?
It's hard to prove the old pusheroo.
Somebody got pushed, you're right.
Yeah.
Unless you have paint on your hands, which is a rookie mistake.
How do you prove the old print on it from the paint?
We had a theory about the cruise ships when someone goes missing. I'm like, that's a guy killing his wife.
Yeah.
With the old pusheroo.
I think anytime you look at that, but you know what, honestly,
how do you prove it?
Yeah, it's tough, but people love this stuff. People love one world government. People love conspiracy theories, and why not? They're entertaining. And
what's your favorite conspiracy theory?
Oh, good God. There's so many of them.
Well, I
think, there's the most recent ones. The idea that we went into Iraq for the oil. I love that one. That somehow we thought that's a good idea, and that's the reason why people think we were doing it, or that.
Why did we go into Iraq?
Bad intelligence and, a heavy push from the neoconservatives who had a Jones about Saddam Hussein. I mean, it was just it was a perfect storm of bad information and bad influence and overdue influence from the neocons in Washington.
That ruined Colin Powell's career.
It really did.
Shit, yeah, absolutely.
Hung him out to dry in the UN.
Yeah.
You remember how powerful he was.
Oh, yeah. No, and also kind of, I think it's the reason why he decided, screw it, I'm not running for president. No interest after that and opening himself up to anything afterwards. But now that was a really flawed decision. But again, it's hindsight. The funny thing is that we had a lot of our allies on board with that as well. Not to revisit the whole Iraq situation, but we weren't the only ones out there thinking that there was WMD. I mean, we had a consensus of, now the problem was that consensus was built on one bad source for the most part. I don't want to oversimplify. Wow. But, you could argue that, Afghanistan's the same problem. We spent a lot of time getting the Soviets out of Afghanistan. Now we're doing the same damn thing the Soviets did. And right after 9/11, great idea. We went in there. We had a hell of a time. We kicked ass. Now, should we be there? Is it important to our national security to be in Afghanistan? I don't think so. But we're not having an honest discussion about it. And,
you think it gets too politicized? Like, it just becomes, all right, kick the shit out of the right now, or the right, kick the shit out of the left. It's like nobody seems to be
right.
Point, counterpoint for real. It's just politicized and people just kind of killing each other politically.
Oh yeah, no, I think that's exactly it. Everybody, you can't have a non-emotive discussion about anything in Washington anymore. It just won't happen. Both sides get hysterical, and out goes all reasoning. Now, if we said to ourselves, is a stable democratic Afghanistan, is it even plausible in our lifetime? Based on what we know and the history of that country and everything else that's gone on there. Bullshit. Of course it's not. Logic dictates that it's not going to happen. But every generation we come around and we think now this current generation thinks, well, we're going to do things smarter and better. Right? And McChrystal comes out and says, I got this idea about counterinsurgency. Well, there's nothing new under the sun for counterinsurgency. It's the same old crap. Soviets went through the same thing we're going through. They retrenched. They pulled into the cities. They couldn't hold the countryside. They spent 5 years trying to get the hell out of there. They were worried about leaving an unstable government. Well, what does that sound like? So we're doing the same thing we did before, and it's not necessarily important to our national security.
Didn't this? I heard that the Iraqis, when they were fighting, the Afghans, when they were fighting the Soviets, would lift the tank. One of the guerrilla methods they would use is lift the top of the tank, open it up, and throw beehives. That was maybe it was only done a couple of times until the Soviets caught on.
Going to be handling the beehives?
You wrap a beehive in something.
Suit.
You wrap them in something.
It seems like a big pain in the ass that you're in charge of the beehive.
What a brilliant way to bring down a tank, though.
But also, you got to stand out, right? I mean, you're approaching the tank. You're wearing a bee suit. Aren't you going to know? Isn't that
you're
a clue?
Swatting a lot in front of your face.
Can you imagine?
Is that just a myth? Like, what did I do?
No, I've never heard of it, but it'd work. It maybe work only once.
I would imagine they probably tried that a couple times, but as far as something they did on a regular basis, that would just be a nightmare.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably easier ways to do things, but we're
you gotta make sure
there's
honey around at all times,
and keep the bees from flying away. Oh no, you have to have a lid on it. Imagine if you just carried the hive loose like an ass. So Mike from the CIA is just talking about basically I'm a complete asshole, and he's correct. What a fool I am to believe that.
I think we actually looked at using bees to kill Stan Meyer, and that wasn't going to work. And then we tried the pusheroo, but that didn't go. So.
Jordan's upset in Scranton. Stop with Stan Meyer crap. All of his plans are linked to from the Wikipedia page, so any conspiracy to suppress it failed miserably. 2, he was trying to create a perpetual motion machine, which makes him a complete crank to begin with. All right, but we're obsessed with the story.
Don't need to yell at us, sir.
Jeez, yeah,
It's a great little story.
Take it easy.
Oh, he's bragging about how he discovered how to, run cars with water.
What was that guy's name?
And then the guy dies of food poisoning. It's a great little story.
It wasn't actually food poisoning. I thought it was because it was after he ate at a restaurant.
Right.
So I thought it was food poisoning, but it says here that Stan Meyer died after dining at a restaurant. An autopsy report concluded that Meyer had died of a cerebral aneurysm.
All right, what drug do you give him to make that happen, Mike?
Well, you give him some bad steak, and the next thing you know, he's got an aneurysm. That's a new one on me.
All right, let me say hi to Matt in New Jersey.
Good
Matt.
evening.
Hey guys, how's it going?
So the food poisoning thing's bullshit. I like to think he.
No, the theory was that he was poisoned, but
Right.
the autopsy says aneurysm.
Aneurysm.
Yeah.
All right, let's say hi to Matt.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Hey.
Hey, Mike, I had a question. I'm a combat vet Marine, and when I was in Iraq in the beginning, our ROEs, our rules of engagement, were pretty simple. When we felt threatened reasonably, we would squeeze and fire back.
I think most people would say that's reasonable.
Well, yeah, but by the time we left, I basically had to know where the shot came from, who did it, what his middle name was, what his fucking favorite color was, and whatnot. I want to know what your rules of engagement when you're with the when you're in the field. What was your ROEs? What were your rules of engagement?
Well, you know what? Our rules were essentially, before going out, we would have lawyers come and sit and talk with us, and they would say, we're lawyers, and we're not here for you. We're here for the agency, and we're here for the director. So if there are any problems out there, then you shouldn't make the mistake to think that the legal team here in headquarters is here for you. And that was kind of the way that we would start anything. Our mission was different. If there's shit blowing up and people getting killed, usually something's completely fucked up. And our goal was to stay off the radar screen. So it's tough to compare. I really sympathize with what you guys go through out in the field now, because you're right there, right at the tip of the spear, and you're engaging the enemy constantly. And they're putting all these fucking rules on you. With the agency, we're supposed to be in and out. Nobody's supposed to know we're there. And like I said, if shit's blowing up, then we got a problem. But I do remember to this day the legal team, and I'd love the agency, but the legal team sometimes could be very funny when they'd come in and say that. We're not here for you.
Even these guys
have to deal with lawyers. We hate effing.
They ruin
everything.
God.
You ever take anyone out, Mike?
Sipping his coffee.
I'm sipping my coffee.
A little scope action.
We don't talk about anything like that.
I know. I figured I'd try.
Yeah, but I will say this: anybody listening out there, the agency is a great career. I highly recommend it.
Wow. What did your family and friends know about what you did?
Most didn't know anything. Immediate family knows.
They thought he sold Mets hats.
But they at least knew you were in the CIA, right?
No, most didn't.
Most of your family members didn't know.
Only your immediate family, would know. Like parents,
very close,
brothers,
very close inner circle.
Yeah,
but
if you met my extended family, you wouldn't trust them.
What
either.
do they think you did?
Yeah, government. Most of them assume that you're, working for the military or for government or they just don't care. That's the funny thing. If you get on a plane, and that's a good point. I get on a plane.
How do you not brag about what you do now? People around you.
I know. If I
got a dumb radio job and we brag.
Well, yeah,
you're flying around the world taking out guys with scopes.
Look
and
at this. You guys
had
anyone. George Wendt on this morning. I'd brag about that.
Yeah, we'll brag about the George Wendt interview for years.
I'll be talking about following him.
We'll make it better than it really was. Give us a little time.
No, but it's a good. You get on a plane. I would get on a plane, and I don't like to talk on a plane, right? I don't want anybody to get in my space when I'm flying. But someone would turn to you, and inevitably they'd say, "So, what are you into?" And the best thing you can do is give them the most boring job you can think of. I'm a, whatever it is.
What
I don't
would
want
you say?
Oh, geez. I'd start talking about import export of, some parts or some bullshit, or some financial analyst, textiles. I'm a textile salesman. And you just want them to shut up and not bother you. And so that's kind of, in a way, in a strange analogy, that's how you live your life in the agency. You don't want you don't want to stand out. You're just blending in, right? And the more you can blend in, the better you can do your job.
It's funny you say that, because CIA agents agent to me is a tremendously interesting job, and very few of us know them.
It beats textiles.
By a long shot, as far, on the interesting scale.
Yeah.
So if I sat next to a guy who was in the agency, I would want to talk to him. Being a comic, you get the same shit. I mean, not on that level, but you get enough that people want. So I've told this story before, but a comedian named Vic Henley I know, who's a very funny guy. There's nothing worse when you're on the plane, you see the guy's got a bourbon, and he's like, so what do you do? It's just going to be a long fucking flight. And Vic had the best answer. He's like, I work for Meineke Muffler. And he said that he would go from store to store and just make sure that the Meinekes were set up properly. And he said he never got a follow-up question. Nobody gave a shit. Nobody. It's the greatest. If you don't know who Vic Henley is, he was in the movie, what was Sacha Baron Cohen's newest movie?
Bruno.
He was in Bruno. He was the ring announcer in Bruno.
I didn't see.
He
I did the buzzer. I don't get the points.
Yeah, he was in the ring announcer. Sure. Best answer ever though. I work for Meineke.
I gotta have a better answer. I always just go marketing.
Marketing's good. Nobody wants to
it's
hear
very,
about that.
very.
It's too broad though.
Yeah. I know that's my problem.
What do you market?
Because then they follow up. What do you market exactly?
Yeah. Try doing that with prostitutes, and you think they might have seen you on television. Where do I know you from? I got photos of myself hanging with celebrities all over the. They're like, how do you know these people? I'm a stalker.
Try IT. Just say IT.
IT?
That would work for me. If someone says
answer,
IT, I'd be right asleep. I wouldn't worry about
when
it.
I fill out, what do you do for a living? Because then they always want to. I mean,
yeah. No, you know what? I just hate
which
it.
Which is nice because I got a cool job. You know, you can't even call it a job. But if you write radio personality or something like that, they all just want to talk.
Oh, good.
And now you're at a doctor and you're concerned about some dumb rash or something. Like, how about my stupid rash? And then maybe we'll talk about what I do for a living. So I always just write marketing.
You got a rash?
No, actually, no. They're just for this bit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
His genital issues change from bit to bit. It's rash one time.
I mean, I'm far enough away on the table. I think I'm okay. But
I did ask Jimmy in the bathroom during the last break. There were a lot of guys in the bathroom. I go, hey Jimmy, I got a blister on my penis. Could you tell me what this is? And a lot of people got a little awkward in the bathroom, but that was just for our amusement because Jimmy said I certainly will look.
My friend Walter, who is sober now, he said that when he was drinking, he was in Shea Stadium, and he was like he was a postal employee drunk, and he said there was probably 80 people in the bathroom, and he just goes, anybody want a blowjob? In Shea Stadium. Love Walter.
And Jordan wasn't upset. Okay. Hey, Jordan calls all the time or writes whatever, but blah blah blah.
You talked about conspiracies. Is it harder, because we would talk about this with I think Bill Burr is a comedian buddy of ours.
Loves a good conspiracy, this Bill Burr.
But we have this myth that the government is or whoever it is that the conspirator is this mechanism. They all wear white coats and they are flawless and they don't make mistakes. And I said, these are the same people that get the shits from the wrong food, or they get car sick, or their wife is a bitch and she's getting fat. It's like there is no upper echelon of human.
Right. No, that's a good point, because people watch. I mean, you watch Lost, not that I ever have, or something else, and you get this image of, again, of one world government, or somehow the government agency it's controlling the world. And honest to God, I mean, I think everybody should have to work for the government for at least a year or two. I mean, I think that should be a requirement, because the first thing it would do it would end all conspiracy theories, right? I mean, it would just stop it. Half the time, it's tough to organize a ham sandwich when you're working for the U.S. government, and it's a very good environment in a sense, but you got the same people. It's like you said, you got the same people as you have out in the private sector, right? There's no, the training is different, your functions are different, yada yada yada, but. No, it's the sort of thing where I think if you could do that, if you could insist that people had to spend a year or two in government service, we'd straighten up a lot of the screwed up misconceptions straight off the bat. Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, interrogate, right? That's what we're learning about you today?
Yeah.
Could you interrogate Danny and find out why he doesn't like Kenny, and interrogate Kenny to find out why he doesn't like Danny?
I caught that first episode of the Kenny Hates Danny show.
Yeah, there's something.
That was really good.
No, we spoke outside in the hall for.
You and Kenny did?
Yeah, like 25 minutes.
I'd rather have that on the air.
Yeah.
That awkward talk after the conference.
You guys seem to end on a good note.
We'll see.
Yeah, you seem to end on a good note.
Yeah, I mean, we tried to, have a real discussion as human beings.
I think that.
I don't think there could be any promises made, but I think that.
I think what the fuck did you say about me?
See, I called you a scumbag, actually. Under
you guys
my breath.
made up and you don't even tell me? That shit has to be on the air.
No, we just came to a conclusion.
What's the conclusion? Oh, it's going to ruin everything. It's going to ruin 25 minutes. Watch this. Yes, Kenny, what's the conclusion?
No, you got a legitimate guy here.
Mike Baker.
Is Kenny's mic on?
Yeah.
It sounds really.
I think it's because there's too many mics on right now. Yeah, I can't do anything about that.
Are those
Kenny, I'm
guest
sorry.
mic on? Because usually they take out.
No.
Okay. No, I saw them. They had a nice little conversation after the show. Everything went well. Danny walked away. Kenny looked at me and said, "What a fucking douche."
I knew it. What's your take on the conversation that you and Danny had?
I'm terrific.
Misunderstanding?
That was what you took away from that conversation. I'm terrific.
He took away that he's terrific.
Was it a misunderstanding?
Yeah, who's better than me?
I think somewhere along the line, I think the show got like split into teams and stuff. I think we got to bring the whole team back together. I think we all got to start by saying hi in the morning.
I
did
start
with a good old hi.
I did mention to Kenny that we all do work for the same show here, and it just seems a little odd that there would be, bullshitty little infighting like that. So let's just all make the show as good as it could be.
Kenny, you good with that?
Yeah.
I got to tell you, as a former CIA officer, I'm not really buying his body language. He didn't look like he was selling himself completely there. There's an underlying issue. I don't want to play Dr. Phil, but it's an underlying issue. If I were you, I wouldn't get in a dark room with this guy because he's going to beat the shit out of you one day. There's a lot of rage.
I just have to. I mean, I don't have to trust Kenny. I just have to function with him.
Yeah. But Mike, that's a very good point. Now, by this body language that Kenny has, if you could even call it that. What can you tell us about Kenny? What can you say?
You know what? He's first thing. He's a stand-up guy. He's standing there. He's open, right? I mean, if he was standing there, his arms were crossed. He was kind of looking down, kind of looking at you sideways or whatever. But the way he's standing, very open. I don't think he's trying to hide anything except for his dislike of Danny. And frankly, I've just met Danny. I understand. But no, I think just taking him right there, his posture is basically an open, honest stance. The way
unapologetic, almost. He's not going to bullshit.
Yeah.
It's very accurate.
Mm-hmm.
Kenny's a guy who the interesting thing about Kenny and Kenny when he was Dice's road manager and security guy, Kenny at times is hard for people to take because Kenny can be very harsh. But I've never met a guy who was less phony when it came to wanting people to like Kenny will tell you, and I might talk about your situation. Kenny will go, no. Like, I'm such a weasel. It's hard for me to say no. It's really hard for me. But Kenny will say the things that we all kind of want to say.
Yeah. He loves saying those things, too.
Yeah, the fact that he has a tenting in the front of his pants is the problem.
Yeah, we think he gets boners when he
says no.
When he ruins someone's day.
But it's an ability that I kind of admire because I want to be liked so much. And it's not that he doesn't, but Kenny's willing to do things that are going to make him not liked. And I'm really not talking about this situation. I'm talking about stuff that's happened on the road with club owners. Like, when they'll try to fuck you for an extra few tickets. And I'm like, well, don't you think? And Kenny's like, I counted 350. You're saying 330. He just calls the guy out. It's like, you have an ability to do that I don't have.
And Mike, if that's your real name.
Yeah.
If you're looking for new guys.
I changed my name after that Stan Myers incident.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Kenny's one of those guys that should be running a...
He's an interrogator, too.
Yeah.
You
should be running...
Are you cutting him loose and he's going to be looking for a job soon? Is that what we're doing?
I
don't know.
No, not at all. But, I mean, Kenny's trying to get his own little thing going. So I'm just saying.
Well, a lot of people have a hard time with the no.
He's amazing.
A lot of people don't want to say no. I mean, a lot of people. That's a natural thing. And I mean, even in the agency, you get personnel reviews. We have the same systems internally. It's like you were talking about. It's not a different world, right? It's same processes and it's a bureaucracy, even though it's a small and it's a great operation. But personnel reviews, you get people coming in and even CIA guys would hate, or women would hate to sit there and say something negative about the person they were reviewing. So what do? You get the same thing you get everywhere else. You kind of pass them along, because, what the hell? Okay, no, you're doing a fine job. Get them out of here. Just get them out of my office or my team or whatever.
What does Kenny's dry hair tell you?
I think he's the sort of guy who likes to get up in the morning and just kind of, get going. He's not fussing a lot about his hair.
I'm probably vitamin deficient.
I'd have to know you a lot better before I could judge that. Yeah.
Kenny stepped up his game today, which
Kenny's a very
which I appreciate.
Guy. Yeah, you know what my problem is, Mike? It's not what you say; it's how you say it. That's my problem.
Is it? Have you ever said anything to somebody like for instance?
Oh, everything.
So you think your delivery needs to work?
Yeah, it's all in the delivery. That's always been my curse.
Didn't you one time, he walked up to a woman who had a little baby, and he's just trying to be nice. He goes, "Nice baby." I thought that's where you were going. It's one of my dumb jokes from my act I used to do.
Yeah.
And you never know when Kenny's going to torture you with your own material.
Yeah.
Well, if you can diplomatically, say no, that's a hell of a skill. And about 2% of the people on the planet have that ability.
Here's a good example. like the first time I worked with Jim years ago when he was opening for Andrew Dice Clay, big show, 5,000 people, a lot of pressure on the guy, right? Being the opening act. Yeah. You got to warm up the audience. You're walking out there cold, right? He's fairly, new in the business, trying to step it up a notch.
Hoping the Dice audience is going to warm up to him, all that stuff.
Oh, biggest comic on the earth at the time now. He's the opening act. And right before he went on stage, and there was a ritual where Andrew had a stool, and I used to set the stool with 2 bottles of water, and I used to put a towel on the rung of the stool, all right? And you didn't mess with that, with Andrew's water. And Jim, his little crutches, he sips a lot of water while he's on stage.
I call it an asset.
Yes. See, it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
See what he did right there.
Look at that.
So Jim wanted to walk out with his bottle of water, and he was going to put it on the stool while he was doing his act, right? And I told Jim right before he walked out, right, big pressure, I said, if you forget that bottle of water on the stool, when you come off stage, just keep walking.
Yeah, because he likes to make you comfortable. I almost quit the tour because of Kenny. This is like, we were in Florida, I remember, and I had never done the Vegas. That was the big gig every year, was Vegas. Dice would do Bally's every year, Kenny's family and Dice's family. And so Kenny said to me, because I had never done the gig with the families, Kenny just took me aside and went, "You would never hurt a child, would you?" I was like, what?
Well, Dice had small children at that time.
Yeah, but it was just...
Jim was a little more promiscuous back in those days.
Yeah, and you would probably run the crim check on Jim, and so you knew to ask the question.
Yeah. So,
that's smart. Yeah,
did you run a background check on me when I first started? I didn't care. Now it's smart if you did.
No, I called Florentine, and he stood up for you. He vouched for you.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
All right, one more phone call, then we're going to get out of here. We got John in D.C. John.
Hi, what's going on?
Thanks for waiting. You waited a long time, I see.
That's all right, man. I'll live. I'll wait longer. Hey, listen, bud. I'm in D.C., Westfields area. That should sound familiar to you, yeah?
Are you asking Mike?
Yeah, I'm asking Mike.
Yeah, it sounds familiar.
All right, good deal. It should. Listen, man, I mean, there are 2 kinds of ex-CIA guys, okay? There's the guy that gets out, he makes a living, he drags his knuckles like everybody else. Because up here in D.C., when I tell people I'm ex-agency, I mean, and everybody is ex-agency up here. Or they're ex-NO, or they're ex-something.
Right. I'm ex-Mossad, yeah.
Yeah, but you go down to Houston, where I'm from, and I tell people what I used to do, nobody shits their pants. Well, you're making a living making people who don't know better shit their pants, and I'm just curious. Do you ever feel like a douchebag? Because to people like me, you kind of sound like one.
Yeah, I sometimes I do feel like a douchebag, and sometimes, you know what, I am a douchebag.
Here's the good news. I agree with you 100%. You
Perfect.
are 100% accurate about everything you say, so you know from what you speak, which is nice.
Right, well, that's good. I appreciate you saying that, yeah.
Well, hold on, why are you insulting Mike, though?
Mike would never get on a radio program and talk about the shit that you're talking about, man.
Well, now, can you cite anything that I've talked about that you'd consider to be classified information?
Oh, dude, listen, you can talk about classified information without talking about classification. We both know that.
I think that's... you got to run that one past me again. That was... No, you got to run that past me again.
No, you can talk about the non-specifics of where you went and what you did, but you're talking about what you did. That's the same fucking thing, man.
No, I'm missing it. But by the way, how long were you in?
I was in for 13 years, and I did every stitch of my time overseas. I never did a single stitch in the States.
That's good. Do you enjoy it?
Oh, dude, it was fantastic.
It was good, wasn't it?
Yeah, actually, my wife and I is former NSA. We were both in.
Hold on.
She was NSA, I was agent.
John, I'm a little confused because I thought that Mike was speaking pretty vague.
Very generally.
I was wishing that he would have been a little more specific.
Listen, he was being vague, and we're all very good at being vague. The difference is some of us get out, and we're not vague. We don't talk about it. We keep our secrets.
But hold on, buddy, let me ask you a question.
It seems like he kept all his secrets.
Mike has decided he's going to make a living going around talking about it. And to people like me, not you, not Jim, not Ant, I know Ant's not there, and not Opie. I mean, hey, Opie, you got a lot of agency people who listen to you on a daily basis, brother. You have a big following here, okay?
Let me jump in for just a second. What was your name again? What was your name again? John. I appreciate what you're saying, but a couple of things. First of all, I make a living by a company that I started 10 years ago that does a shitload of business in the in the intelligence and security world. And the second part is that you know.
Now you get to the celebrity if you don't know any better.
Hold on, John. Let him finish.
Well, yeah, exactly, John. Yeah, lighten up just a little bit. The second thing is I've got a very good relationship with the agency, and I do that because they know I'm not going to be a douchebag and talk about anything, sources and methods. And also, when I left overtly, so I've got the ability, and they worked with me on that. I've got the ability to talk about, to the degree that's responsible, what I did. Now, you've got a Jones about it, and I can appreciate that. But
it just makes me feel. I get douche chills from it. You know, it's like you're very accurate about a lot of it, but sometimes, like when you're talking about torture and you're talking about all that stuff, it's like these are certain things I just don't think should ever be spoken publicly by people who are in the know.
Well, but John, I agree with you. If you listen to what I had said, I talked about how we shouldn't be giving away the information that's in our kit bag. We shouldn't be talking about that shit. But at some point, it's not a bad thing to have people in a vague way defending what it is that we try to do in the national security world.
All right, man. Listen. I understand. I know what it's like to leave. I was never in a position to where I had to negotiate what I could and couldn't talk about. I just made a decision as in my wife that we weren't. So when I hear someone like you, I have to ask myself a question. Is this guy doing this for the better good, or is this guy just trying to impress somebody? Right now, I'm on the fence with you. But I hope you're on the show more, because I'll listen to you. Trust me. And I like you. You're a nice enough guy, man. And plus, I too wish everybody did a little time in the government. That way we could just wipe all this stupid conspiracy shit off the map. It made good sense. But some of the things, I just got a little queasy.
Well, you know what? No, but I appreciate that, because I mean, at least, you got something going for you that a lot of people don't. You've moved from thinking I'm a complete douchebag, which again I can be on time, to saying that I'm an okay guy, and so that I appreciate. But
listen, we're all douchebags. It's just the question of which one of us are going to be okay. You're a good dude. I'm pushing out, fellas.
All right, thank you.
Okay, take off, man.
Thank you.
I think Mike spoke very vaguely, and
I guess I read that wrong, because I really was kind of not frustrated, because I thought it was still good radio, but I think from a personal standpoint, I was hoping you would give me a little more.
Yeah, John, you can, and like I said, I understand what John's saying, I suppose, but at the same time, believe me, if I was coughing up anything I'm not supposed to be talking about, I would have a conversation with my old outfit, but I'm not going to do that. And I've said consistently since I've been out, you can't open your yap, you can't talk about things that you shouldn't be talking about. You sign a deal, you've got paperwork out there saying I'm not going to disclose classified information, and you don't do it. And I've been pretty clear about that, but I think John, interesting guy.
What a weird place to be, though, man. You guys have a very interesting job, and you can't talk about it after you're
John
out.
said something that I'm sorry, Ken. John said something that bothered me. Though. He goes, I don't think that stuff should ever be spoken about publicly by people who are in the know. Now, all those Department of Justice things that were released, it's out there. It's out there because of the administration had this stuff released. So basically, it's all this information thrown out there with nobody to speak about it. So if you're here talking about it and giving it a human point of view, like this is why that stuff was not as bad. Well, I think that that's fair to want that point defended. There's no reason to say that someone who knew it, he's like saying that shouldn't be talked about by anybody who knows what they're talking about.
Right.
It doesn't make sense.
Basically, yeah. And what I'm saying is that to the degree that's appropriate, it's not a bad thing to have some people on the other side of the argument who's saying, here's why you shouldn't be releasing this fucking information from DOJ. Or here's why you can't just rely on the Army Field Manual for what we're talking about as an interrogation. Or, this is all the good work that the agency and other members of the government, in the intel community, this is what they do. That's not a bad thing to be banging the drum on occasion when they deserve it, and they often do, without going into specifics.
And you haven't said one thing that was releasing information that wasn't released in Department of Justice documents.
Yeah, he doesn't want ricin in his lunch.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to end up like Stan. Kidding me?
All right, we should wrap up. Wow, Mike, thank you. Mike Baker.
Sure.
Mike rules, man. He's on
You'll be back.
Eye next.
You'll come back, right?
Make me your official national security advisor. I'd love to come back.
That's great.
Yeah.
Sure, why not?
I'll speak just in general terms.
You'll be the
piss
host.
off, John.
Nah, he turned around a little bit.
Yeah, I think he's good. He sounds like a good guy.
A little bit. Yeah. I want to hear from John more as well. And we know we have a lot of people listening in Washington.
Yeah.
I met Secret Service with Voss. The freaking Secret Service liked the show.
Yeah,
well the guys under Bush anyway.
Yeah.
We ran into them in Arizona.
Oh,
Phoenix.
believe me, yeah, your show is really popular down in Washington and Virginia.
Yeah, right on, man. So you're going to be hosting Red Eye May 24th through the 26th, so 3 days when Greg Gutfeld is out. That's cool. Jimmy's going to be doing
Me and Anthony are doing that Monday the 24th together.
Excellent.
And I'm supposed to do the show. I guess I got to start doing it or something.
You should give it a go.
Yeah. It's a very
show
fun
up
show.
on Monday, then we'll have the whole team there. Yeah. We get Kenny and Danny back for a quick 5-minute segment.
Not a bad idea.
Nice fight.
Anything else you're promoting, Mike?
No, you know what? We talked about we banged out about the company. That's good.
You're doing an episode of Deadliest Warriors, right?
Yeah. We'll keep that one. We'll keep that one under wraps. They wanted to do a CIA versus KGB Deadliest Warriors on Spike. It was entertainment. It's something I figure it's something the kids can watch when they get older.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah.
And today was a very weird show.
It was.
It was a little bizarre. So if you're just tuning in, you might want to.
Yeah.
I don't know. Listen to the George Wendt interview and other things. It was very, very strange today, but I kind of liked it.
Yeah.
Jimmy, what are you promoting?
Borgata tickets, July 2nd, 3rd. It's actually selling very well, on sale now.
Okay.
And Seattle, May 28th, and June 3, 4, 5, 6 here in New York City at Caroline's.
And also tomorrow, Slash. I'm looking at this.
Yeah, I'm happy he's coming in tomorrow.
I'm looking at this solo record he did. He did a song with Ian Astbury. Ozzy's featured on one of the songs. Fergie, Chris Cornell, which I think has just one of the most amazing voices in rock. Adam Levine, Kid Rock,
Lemmy.
He freaking got everybody. Lemmy, Duff McKagan, Dave Grohl, Iggy Pop.
Yeah.
An all-star lineup for Slash's solo record. And it's getting some good reviews, right, Steve?
Yeah, it's an amazing album.
What's it called?
It's self-titled. It's just
Slash. Okay. Oh, yeah, Snake Pit was his last band.
Yeah, Slash
Okay.
Snake Pit was the last album. But this is an incredible record.
I'm going to go home and listen to this today.
All right.
So Slash on the show tomorrow. Guys, thanks for listening today. We
Thank
appreciate
you,
it.
Mike. Thank you.